All right, can you hear me? Val, are you there?
Yes, I'm here and I can
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
And a few other people I invited just to be there to speak. At some point, Chris is going to come on whenever he frees up. I think he's tied up with family for now, but we'll get started in just a minute.
Okay.
Do you, I don't know if there's anybody else you want to send to have speaker for whenever it's appropriate, but
Okay.
just the people we talked about. This isn't going to be like a free for all like the one the other night.
Right.
We can have one of those another time where anybody can go in and ask questions, but at this point, I think just a few people are just going to have a conversation about this. And yes, like before everybody flips out, the comments are off after this week with fake DCF reports, my work being contacted, and just some of the threats I've gotten. That's just I'm not good. I don't have time to babysit the comments and go through them all and delete things where my
Yeah, I
work's
think
being
I think
tagged
it's
and stuff.
important not to even pay attention to the comments because when you're speaking, I think sometimes the comments I don't always read them because it just it can throw you off and it's not important because people are gonna say stuff. I think just
Yeah.
focusing on what you're saying and there's a lot that people don't know and I think it's important to speak your truth. You're the person that lived it and there's a lot that we don't know and I'm interested also in hearing a lot.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And people can go to there's other channels or pages where they can go if they want to talk crap about me and everything. That's been
yeah.
open all week. So that's where it can be done. So and I also have Meredith here who was on that space the other night that kind of went sideways. But so she'll probably chime in as well as a few other people. And just the purpose of this first one. So as a lot of people here know, the last week my ex-boyfriend has gone on, I think now over 20 hours, revealing really private details of our relationship, which I feel are pretty one-sided and spun to manipulate his audience. But before I go into any of that, I don't even know if we'll get to that tonight. I think it makes sense to talk about the recording because that's really kind of the core lie that started all of this breakdown that led to this very public meltdown of disclosing private things about our relationship to begin with. This lie that had been held back for a while. So the people that I've invited to speak on tonight there was a purpose to that. They're people who have been kind of at it from the beginning. Val, my co-host, was one of the first people who was brave enough to speak up about the recording and immediately got just publicly bashed and torn apart by Aiden and his followers just for wanting to speak the truth. So I'll have Chris on eventually, who was the evil Australian who was kind of leading the charge on revealing it. He'll talk about that as well. I think he got a bad rep, mostly because of Aiden, because he's one of the few that he lives all the way across the world, and Aiden can't hurt him, and he just doesn't give an F. He'll just keep going at him nonstop. He's relentless. So, but one thing he's been kind of diehard in and hasn't wavered from is supporting Karen at the end of the day. Even with Joe Flipperhead kind of going back to Aiden, his support for Karen hasn't wavered, even though I got off on the wrong foot with him. So yeah, he'll be coming on too. So, anyways, I think it makes sense to start with just talking about the recording since it's the core lie that Aiden kind of built everything on. The recording, me hearing it, who else heard it, me getting blamed, Aiden wanting me to lie about the recording, all of it. It's a relief kind of to be able to speak about this and not have to say alleged recording anymore. And this is a spot I really hoped I never had to get to because I did want to protect Aiden for a while, but unfortunately he's pushed things to the point with his bashing of Karen, with his bashing of me, not only by him, but his other YouTuber friends who are kind of spreading all these false narratives. They've just unfortunately left me to the point where I'm not calling it an alleged recording anymore. I'm not going to get blamed for things I didn't do. And yeah, so it's refreshing because I think one of the last times I was on one of these spaces, I had to keep saying alleged recording. I had to be very, very careful about what specifically I said and revealed. I know a lot of people were bashing Larry and Jason for kind of speaking for me, but there was a reason for that. It was because I was still kind of being silenced by Aiden behind the scenes. I couldn't tell the full truth of what was happening, and they had to kind of keep me from saying too much, if that makes sense. So the bashing of them was not warranted. They were really good friends throughout all of this. I'm not going to ask them to publicly defend me and take a side and go to war against Aiden now. That's not fair to ask anybody to do. Honestly, just with everything what he does when anybody speaks up. But Aiden's gonna wish that he was still having others speak for me and he didn't push me to this point, because what he did with especially the last week and what's been happening the last month with him behind the scenes, he stupidly awoke a sleeping giant, as they say. So um, he wanted to go here, so we're gonna end up going here. So let's kind of talk back just on the timeline of the recording. So as a lot of you know, Aiden and I broke up in July. It was a pretty simple breakup. I left. I didn't talk to him again. I wasn't the one to reach out. I ignored him most of the summer. I think there were a couple of times, but like giving stuff back, we talked. Oh, I also told him when Chelsea was calling me, that was another time we talked. I'm just trying to think, but for the most part, I ignored him. So this narrative of like me not being wanting to move on, being like some score decks, it's just simply not true. I wasn't the first one to reach out to him after our breakup, and the majority of the contact after our breakup was initiated by him. So he's had like a series of kind of just bad decisions and meltdowns over the summer. Most notably the one throwing a tantrum over Karen going over on the Howie Carr show. I remember that day well when it was announced a couple days before the actual show. I hadn't spoken to him obviously for the most part since our breakup, and I got a call from him, which I didn't answer. And I texted somebody. I was like, I bet it's about the Howie Carr show. He saw the announcement and he's upset about it. And hopefully he just reacts normally. But honestly, it's not my problem. I'm sure he's calling me to ask me for advice about what to do. And I want to tell him to not react how I think he probably will react. But again, we've broken up. I'm not his emotional support anymore. That's what I was texting a friend as this was happening. And then flash forward an hour later, we see Jess Machado tweeting how awful and disrespectful it is that he's going on, and all of his usual people that he has to do his bidding, and he'll deny it that he told them to. Actually, he's told me since that he wasn't that upset about it, but Jess Machado called him and egged him on and told him that he should be upset about it, which I have my own theories about that. I think Jess's history with the Howie Carr show and hating Howie and his wife, of course she was going to fuel it. Again, another person in his life urging him to make these impulsive decisions that aren't what's best for him. He really, before he reacted to this Howie Carr news, first of all, he should have let Howie get off the air before making the tweet that he's now deleted, complaining about it. And second, he should have thought about this from his business perspective. Is it really the best decision to burn down my relationship with Howie Carr? He's the only remotely mainstream media reporting on my case. I mean, he writes for the Herald. I know, like, he's upset. He feels he's entitled to the interview with Karen, which is another thing we can talk about later. But you need to think of things like a business decision. Like, you need to not react impulsively. And like clockwork, he's doing the tweet at Howie, complaining about going on the show, saying Karen's ungrateful, Jess is hating on him before Howie's even off the air and has a chance to say anything. He's going at the producer, posting his DUI records, whining on his show later that night about how Karen's ungrateful and he should be the show or whatever. And he wonders why Karen didn't thank him once he goes on that show. So that's later in the week. The show is the 28th of August. The next day, the 29th, Karen calls him, and she's upset. He's been bashing her. He's been hinting at it for months now behind the scenes, and also not even behind the scenes, little subtle hints to his followers about how ungrateful she is, how he's entitled to the first interview. He went to jail for her, when in reality he went to jail because he couldn't listen to his lawyers and do what was right and not go to Lindsay's. Yes, he was on bail because of witness intimidation charges, but again, he takes things too far. The charges that he has, that for stuff he said on his YouTube show, those are dumb. Those are dumb. Those should be thrown out. But he takes things too far. Nobody told him to go to people's houses like that and go to rolling rallies. He has nobody to blame but himself for that. So again, his reckless behavior is what ended him in jail. He loves to say, I went to jail for Karen Reed. I did everything she owes me. But you know what? Before Karen Reed's story, you had a very small following that, and there's a reason why it was a small following, because they saw him for who he was. And he exploded with Karen Reed, and he couldn't even afford to get divorced before then. He was sleeping on the couch. He made far less than I do before the Karen Reed story, and this thing that he made her, or he did everything for her. He greatly benefited from the relationship with her far more than she benefited from him. So, of course, she's upset. He keeps making these jabs at her that she's ungrateful, that this and that, and it's slowly escalated to the point where we're now at the point where it's okay and even encouraged for people to call Karen Reed a cunt. Can you imagine the person that you guys have been supporting for the last 2 years? How do you think her family feels when they see this? They see people on Twitter saying this, and all just because Aiden says so. You've heard nothing about the details of their behind the scenes relationship for the last 2 years. The way he's constantly proven himself to be a liability to her. He's threatened things to her in the past about like I think there's an audio recording that was leaked from a group chat where he's talking about addresses, and that's his big smoking gun. That's it. Karen didn't tell him to do any of this stuff. I've seen all of the signal messages between them because he shares everything with everyone. I shouldn't have even seen them, and I'm not the only one he sent them to. He sent them to other people. They're all over the internet now since he sent them to Joe Flipperhead recently. Yeah, that was a fun time when Joe Flipperhead tried to make it look like I was sending them to Kate Peter. I don't know. Some people might not know what I'm talking about, but it was about a month ago. Anyways, he shares everything with everyone. He constantly violates people's trust. He's a liability. Can you wonder why? Like Karen wouldn't want anything to do with him, and he's crossed the line. He violated her again by recording her in this call where she's very like she had every right to voice her concerns with him on that call. And knowing him, what he does with everyone, he gets people fired up before he starts recording. So you don't know what he said to her before to make her upset. He thinks this call makes her look bad, and that's why he recorded her, and that's why he shared it with people after, and that's why he's been lying about it. I don't know. I'll pause there for a second. Val or Meredith, do you guys want to weigh in?
Yeah, well, I was just saying the last thing that you just said about, we don't know what he said to her on the phone, because a lot of times, you know, that's what toxic, people will do. They'll push you and instigate until you react. And when you react, they start recording you and saying, "Oh, look how crazy she is. Look what she's doing," right? To kind of highlight like you're the crazy one. Meanwhile, we don't know what he said to her, on that call, just everything that led up to her being so upset with him. So I have a question. The August 29th call, is that the date that he actually recorded her? Was that the call?
Yes, I always knew it was the day after the Howie Carr show. So I was able to
Okay.
figure out August 29th as the date of the call pretty early on since the show was the 28th. But I actually just today was sent a screenshot of him that he's been sending around through Joe Flipperhead. I'm not going to tell you who sent it to me because Joe sent it to at least 6 people. Unclear if this was another purposeful leak by Aiden, but it's Aiden sending himself voice memos of him recording Karen. So he claims. And so I got the time of the call now from that. I think it said like 2:19 in the afternoon. So that's a new detail that has come out today. Why Aiden's sending around proof that he recorded her, I have no idea, but that's
That's
that's par for
interesting.
par for the course with him and his new PR strategy is leaking things through something called Camel Toe Joe, and then his new friend Chelsea. That's another story
Yeah,
we don't
no.
have time to get to. So
So I'm just trying to understand the timeline, because I don't know if everybody knows exactly how it happened, but I'm a little, I feel like there's bits and pieces sometimes that I don't completely understand. So maybe you could just make that clear, just exactly how it went down, because I think a lot of people, even myself, felt that it seemed like, okay, you text him at the Wilbur that night, he didn't respond, and then all of a sudden the next day Karen is sending him a message saying, "You recorded me." So it that can, to me it looked like, well, Meredith probably was upset with him and sent it to Karen. That's what I've always thought, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say I didn't, because
right.
I've always thought that.
No, that's
So
why it's
just
yeah.
trying
Sorry,
to
go ahead.
understand, yeah, if you can just break that down, like, how she actually knew prior to the night of the Wilbur, and how
Oh
you know that.
yeah, yeah. She knew the very next day, maybe even the same day, because it was the very next day on August 30th that she reached out to Will, who immediately told Aiden, "Hey, Karen just called me and asked me if I heard the call. Don't worry, I told her I
Oh,
didn't." So yeah,
okay.
so and I have all of this stuff. I've made a couple posts with this timeline, and I can do it again after the show too. So I can right, but
Okay, so
at
then,
this point I've memorized it. So yeah, August
yeah.
29th is the call. He records her. He plays it for Kim, Will, Jess, Jimmy, others. Honestly,
So
at this
literally
point,
the same day that he recorded her,
the
he
Hey
same
played it
guys,
for them.
the people in the comments are saying I'm hearing you fine, but other people are saying the sound's going in and out.
Let me see if anybody's texted me that it's bad. I don't know, because I just want to make sure,
Oh,
at least in the recording after, it'll be fine.
I mean, I hear you perfectly fine.
I've heard okay.
You hear me clearly?
I do have it on speakerphone, which I've used before. I don't know. I can get AirPods. I don't know if that'll help it. Can somebody just generally comment if it's fine? If it's
Some people are putting like a thumbs up. I guess they're saying that they can hear. Can
oh
everybody
right, the
hear
reaction thing.
clear? Yeah.
All right. If it's really another problem for somebody keeps saying I think it's just spaces, I think it keeps kicking me out. I just want to make sure at least that the recording is going to be fine. Hopefully it's just like a listening issue with that.
I think sometimes people, if you get kicked out, you have to just like, just come back in or, log off. Come if it's, yeah, because that happens sometimes. I don't know. It's just, I think that's just like a glitch with Twitter. So,
Yeah, it's saying it's happening when you talk too, so I don't think it's just me.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so where were we on the timeline? So yeah, we can break this down at this point. I feel like I've memorized it because I've had to talk about it so many times.
Yeah, I just want
Um,
to understand. I just want to get a good understanding of it. So he recorded the 29th and he
the
actually
29th. Yep,
29th and let other people listen to it.
yep.
And then on the 30th, Karen reached out to Will. And so she basically knew pretty much right away that he recorded her.
Basically, so somebody went to Karen and she and said the name Will specifically to her, and I think also Kim. Those were the first two. So whoever went to her didn't know everybody who heard it that day. What was that?
Oh, what was that? That wasn't me. That was somebody else's I don't know what that was.
I don't know. I don't think it was my phone. I was thinking
Yeah, that
it
wasn't mine. I don't know. I
sounded like
think
an
that
Amber Alert thing. That was weird. Um,
oh
yeah.
my god.
So, and of course, Aiden doesn't remember who he told. Like he heard it to. So, like he doesn't remember if he told Will, "Oh, I also played it for Kim," or this person. I'm not going to name some of these names because some of these people like have nothing to do with it, and they're also not out there on their YouTubes like saying Karen's awful and Karen's a liar because they never heard the call and Karen's awful for like destroying the
Yeah.
movement and stuff. So like whatever, as long as you're not one of those people, I'm not going to name you. So I know, but the list is growing, and honestly, it's like we still don't have a comprehensive list to this day because with everything, Aiden shares things, he forgets who he shares it with, he forgets who he tells, he shares who he shared it with.
Yeah.
So we don't have a comprehensive listing of who heard it, but the
Well,
very
I
next
do see
day,
that
yeah,
they're blaming you, right? So to clear your name and to speak, the truth of because you're the one that experiences what happened, right? So we can
exactly.
understand. That's what I that's what I would like to know, like exactly, the timeline. And if you don't have to say people's name, you could just say, he let certain people listen to it. This is
Yeah.
how I know that she knew prior to this. You could talk like that if it's
So yeah,
makes you.
somebody went to Karen on the very next day and told her because Karen called Will the very next day. And at first, this was just Aiden telling me this when we finally talked, which we'll get to on September 1st. But I've since now confirmed that with the other person involved in this phone call. So a
Okay.
second person has confirmed this. She called Will the next day, and this is based on what Aiden told me. Aiden was like, Will called me up. He said she asked if I heard it, and I denied it blah blah blah. And then the next day, I think it was yeah, on the 31st, she's already texting Aiden like, "I know you recorded me. I have the recording," saying some of the similar stuff you guys have already seen out on the internet, the signal messages that Joe has posted because Aiden shared them with him between Karen and Aiden, where she's like, "I know you recorded me. I won't trust you again. We have them." Blah blah blah. And for a while, Aiden thought she was bluffing. She didn't really hear it because he like refused to believe that anybody would betray him. So that's the 31st. She's already telling him she heard it. Then we go to September 1st.
Okay.
That's the first September 1st at night, and this is important because September 1st during the day again Karen is texting him saying like, "I know you heard it. I know you played it for Will and them." Aiden and I talked for the first time later that night in like pretty much since the summer. We spoke for over an hour on the phone, and we talked about other things. And then namely like those emails that were sent to my daughter's school. That was like the first thing we talked about. And then he tells me about this conversation with Karen and how like he's like, she's accusing me of recording her. And I was like, well, did you? And he's like, yeah, but I think she's just bluffing. I don't think she really knows for sure. And I was like, well, have you ever recorded her before? And he's like, no. I'm like, so well, that seems like a pretty specific accusation to be making if you didn't really record her. Somebody must have told her. So I asked him who he played it for and who knows about it. And he named four people initially. Again, this has since grown. Two of those people were Nurse Kim and Will. Um, so that's who told me first about those two names that I've since said publicly. Um, and I said, well, maybe just lay low, like stop talking shit about her like you've been doing, like stop throwing shade at her because he'd been like taunting her and stuff, like saying how ungrateful she was, just like subtle hints. And I think already on one of his shows, he was like, my new policy is like Karen should thank, or I should thank Karen, because that was something that was said on the call. He'd been hinting at it before people started hearing these clips of the recording, before I even heard the recording later in the month. And I'm thankful on this call on September 1st, he didn't play it for me. I didn't ask to hear it. He told me enough about it. He was like, I can't believe it. She thinks I should thank her and that like she doesn't owe me anything. Like, can you believe it? And I'm just like listening to him vent and stuff. But I'm like, to this day, I'm so thankful he didn't play it for me on that call because I'd be even more of like one of the people, like a target for being accused of sharing it. I'm one of the few people for out of the ones I've named that he didn't play for it over the phone. I didn't hear it until September 8th in person at a lunch, the infamous lunch now that was talked about on that space. So
Karen
September.
had already reached out to him in August. I mean, the next day after he recorded her, she reached out to him and said that Will contacted her and said somebody told him. It's like he said she said she already, and there's text messages to prove that Karen reached out to Aiden, or that was just his word to you that, oh, she called me. Do you have proof that she sent him those messages,
I
Karen?
have ones from September 1st that I think are out there on the internet. I'm not going to ever share any
No.
any messages
Yeah.
with me and Karen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that like she and Joe have done. But I have seen messages between the two of them as early as September 1st. But he said she called him, I think, on the 31st. But I know for a fact she reached out to Will, and Will immediately went to him. And we had this conversation on the night of the first. I was like, I was like, I don't think it was Will who would have told her because I don't think Will's that smart to like bluff like that she called him and asked him about it and then go back to you like that. I was like, I mean, that would be like really calculated, but I just don't think I'm sorry, but he's not that smart to do that.
I mean, sometimes people do that. They can steal from you and then tell you they're going to help you look for your money, right?
Yeah, but
Or they
Will is
can.
the level of intelligence just isn't there to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's so fast. That happened. I mean, this happened August 29th, and it's like literally the next day she, somebody, and it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's only a handful of people. Supposedly he's saying that, but it's just a lot of he said, she said, right? And then it's like, okay, Will said somebody told him, so it's just like, how do you prove this to be the truth?
Yeah, I
That
don't.
that
Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I think that's the thing. Like, I'm listening. I'm just trying to figure out how do you prove that all happened? That's just basically Aiden saying that. That's kind of like, we don't even know if what he told you was the truth
Yeah,
or
but at
why
this
he
point,
said
we
that.
know he also told Jess Machado that Nurse Kim and Will heard it. Like, where do you think she got that when she went on her show and was like, I know Will heard it, I know Kim heard it? The same. So, unless you're right, there's a possibility Aiden's lying about who heard it, but he's told so many other people that those people heard it too. So, what is it more likely that he's
Yeah.
lying, or is it likely that
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
now he's lying. He's saying he's like Nurse Kim and Will. They had nothing to do with. They didn't hear it because now that it's all out there. But initially, he told. I can say publicly, obviously, he told me that. He told Jess that, and then I've heard from a couple other people who he spoke to very soon after that call that they those two also heard it. So like, why he was and that was a point where he had no reason to lie about it yet.
Yeah.
He
Right.
wasn't like caught. He didn't think, and that's the thing too. Even after she initially accused him, which was pretty much the very next day, he still thought that she was bluffing about having proof and having any like. having spoken to anybody, because so for another couple of weeks before the whole spaces stuff happened, he was still like confidently sharing it with people to try to get people on his side about this whole thing.
I just think it's crazy that he would think so. Like if I recorded somebody tonight, right, on the phone, and then that person just contacts if, let's say I record somebody tonight and I tell like two or three people, oh, I recorded this person for whatever reason, and then the next day that person is like, oh, you recorded me, or I heard somebody said that you recorded me. I mean, I don't see how that, I don't see how anybody could say, oh, that's probably the person just bluffing, because it's so close in time that I don't understand how that could be a bluff,
Valerie, that's exactly what I told him, but he like refused to believe anybody would betray him. And he was like, maybe I think she's just suspecting it, like maybe because she was so angry on the call. And in my head now, I'm like, yeah, maybe she was suspicious because you were so calm because you knew she was recording her. Maybe that's you in your own mind thinking she's paranoid. But the fact that she kept pushing it and knowing for sure she was like recorded and she called Will, I was like, no, this isn't a bluff, Aiden.
yeah,
Like, but
that's
he like
too
refused to
close in
believe
time.
any of them would betray him.
I mean, if it was like a few weeks later, then you could say, okay, well, who knows? Or maybe why is she saying that? I don't know, right? But literally the next day, it's like, how is that a bluff?
Yeah, he
I don't understand that.
that's what I said to him. He like wouldn't believe that anybody would betray him.
And the night of the Wilbur, what was that date? September.
That was I think the 13th, I want to say. Um that was a Friday night, but that doesn't even so that whole thing about the
Oh,
Wilbur doesn't even make sense because
yeah.
Karen already had it way before then and before I had lunch with him and heard it for the first time.
So, so why do you think she sent him a message right after the Wilbur about him recording her? Why do you think she chose, like, why would she send another message to him right after the Wilbur?
I don't know for sure. So September 12th was the Wilbur. I just looked at the calendar.
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't asked her about that to be honest. So I'm not going to ever share like our conversations with her, like specific details, but the whole conspiracy it has that we were like plotting this together from the start and like trying to take him down is just absolutely false. I am talking to her at this point in time just because he's pushed me to this point, and I've learned like just a lot more of the other stuff he's done. But there's no like plotting from the start. The first time I reached out to
Yeah.
her, we'd always talked. We'd had a relationship throughout the trials and stuff. We were friendly before. I think the last time we spoke before this whole thing blew up, we talked about getting some drinks in August. Something it didn't end up happening, but then we just checked in, and then when Joe started talking about stuff that was making me think he was going back to her with information that was painting me in a light that I was like sharing things or doing something bad, I did feel the need to reach out to her, and that's when we first started talking about the recording for the first time. The only thing I've really gotten permission to reveal is and I think you may have seen this now where she did start receiving recordings on September 3rd. Why she decided to reach out on the 13th, I don't know. One guess is that after the recordings happened, you guys might recall on Aiden's shows, he kept poking and poking, saying, I should be thankful for Karen Reed. He was like saying some of the phrases that are in the
Yeah.
actual recording. And that's why I didn't even ask to hear it at first, because like he'd been hinting at it forever. He told me on the phone on this first what the conversation was at. I was like, oh, so okay. And then he kept poking her, and gradually building this narrative that she's ungrateful. I've done everything, and she's so mean to me, and she's abandoning me. And maybe that's why she decided to finally reach out because she was fed up with it. And I'm not speaking for her. That's just my guess. Like I don't think it was anything like purposeful the day after the Wilbur. And I'll tell you right after that, this narrative that he's now spun with his sick friend Jimmy, that I was like sending it out the night of the Wilbur because I was so upset. Like, no, no, what people don't know is we had met at the lunch a couple days before the Wilbur, and then he came back over 2 days before the Wilbur to exchange things. And yeah, like I'm so mortified, honestly, that I ever like went near him again. But we hooked up both days. We were talking, and he invited me to come to the after party of it. He knew I had my brother's wedding. It was an early wedding, by the way. It started at 2 o'clock, or no, the ceremony. We had pictures at 1:30, and then it started at 2 o'clock. It was over and done with. So came to the after party. Deanna was gonna come. Lauren was there. I went with Lauren just to the after party, the encore. He invited me there, and things were fine. There was no like me being like scorned and stuff. And yeah, I sent him a drunk text to hook up, but what he didn't show you was all the text before then and
Yeah.
then after. And yeah, then I texted him later the next day. I was like, sorry, I was drunk. I won't bother you. And then he texted me back immediately, like, it's okay, you're not bothering me. Like, how was the wedding? Trying to chat and chat and chat. And all week I ignored him because I was just like, no, like this is a really bad idea to start hooking up with him again this past week. Like, I'm not going down this road. He would text me about like his court cases and stuff and all this stuff. And I ignored him the whole week until I had to finally talk to him again because we found out Tina was married Neil. Tina, who we also heard is back on his legal team because she was telling people she was going to a meeting with Cosgrove. So
Oh, back on
before
his.
before
Oh
I
my.
she was like gradually sliding her way back onto his legal team since he and I broke up, and I got the word that she actually went to a meeting with Tully and Cosgrove that week. So I was like, ugh, I was like, I've been like so happy, like not talking to him. I've been ignoring him all week, but I think I have to tell him that Tina's Marneal before I drop this bomb on the internet, but like to
Yeah.
expose her. Um, so like this thing that I was like scorned and missing him, like it's just couldn't be further from the truth. Like I have moved on. I get so like annoyed and just it's just a serious eye roll every time this narrative that I'm so devastated about not being Mrs. Turtleboy anymore. It's just like again, dude, no, most of the people in my like real life don't know what a turtle boy is. Like, imagine thinking that
Yeah.
I'm devastated. Like, and he would tell me how like people only like me because I'm his girlfriend, and that's like basically just all this stuff to me. He wanted me to always feel lower than him, and the last year and a half we were together, like I kind of lost myself, and I was just always in kind of the background of everything, even in my own life, because it was focused on him and me dealing with every
Yeah.
like fire that I had to put out with him in his life. And I'm finally feeling like myself again. And people are acting like me responding to him is like, this isn't who she is. This is a mental breakdown or something. Like, no, this is who I always was. I was a strong
Yeah.
person before him and I'm going to be a strong person after him. And it just took me a little while to come back to myself after, after kind of,
I mean, he twists things very easily. I can see what he does. So it's, you know, it can look a certain way to people. Even, the whole Wilbur thing, I was like, well, to me that made sense. Like, yeah, you sent him a text, he didn't answer. You guys are, in this type of, relationship, even though you're broken up. Yeah, you know what? She probably did send it because, fuck him. And, so it can look that way from the outside without understanding there's so many pieces
but
to
it
it that you
wasn't. Yeah.
that
And
we don't know.
he didn't, of course he doesn't post the full context of it and how he was,
Meredith,
yep.
let me interrupt for a second. Finally, I got my speaker working. Thank you. And that was me that hit that noise by accident. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Um, but what you said exactly is true. Like he played all those text messages only from his side and made it sound like you were, the most controlling, crazy girlfriend that was always texting him. He didn't show both sides. I mean, obviously in a relationship, if you just read one side of something, it could always look like someone's crazy. I mean, anyone who's watched his lives can see right away how he would say something and be like, oh, I'm out of order. Oh, let me go to and here's this one. I mean, you can cherry pick anything off and make it sound like someone's a certain way.
Yeah,
Honest,
even with
yeah.
phone calls, with all those phone calls, I remember somebody was like, "Why did you call? This is not normal." I think I posted, "This is not normal. Why would you call this person like literally like 100 times?" And his response, I remember, was, "I only called her all those times because I knew eventually she was going to answer. I wouldn't have called her all those times if I didn't think she was going to answer." And that was like his reasoning, which I was like, "Oh, that's your reasoning for calling somebody 200 times is because." Well, I only called because I knew she was eventually going to answer. Like he doesn't even understand. Like anything he does, it's just like there's nothing. No, there's always an answer for it. It's
But
just
yeah, but still, it's just so like I've gotten only I'm into about 2 hours in night one of his stream, and I've already put out so much just based on the clips I've seen on Twitter alone and what people have sent me. I know nobody believes I haven't listened to all of it. I truly have not got. I'm now into hour two, and just every single thing I have to keep pausing and noting is a lie. And he posts one or two like texts of a whole like week of stuff to make it look like something that it's not. Like, I haven't even gotten through all the texts he's posted, but I can tell you, like, this narrative that he was trying to end things with me the whole year and everything is just not true. I've only posted a selection of the days where he's calling me 200 times and stuff and saying, I can't live without you. Anytime I tried to break up with him, that's what he would do. He would panic and so there's no, like, there was 1 or 2 days where he said he needed space. That's what he posted. One embarrassing text where it was like, I miss you, like I want your dick or something, like embarrassing. And he's like, I need space. And then immediately I
Yeah.
just searched my texts for I need space. And I pull up like 40 different text messages of me being like,
Right.
Aiden, I need space. Aiden, I need space, spanning the whole year and a half of our relationship as
Yeah.
recently as the end of May. And there's more in June and July. I can post right up to the very end of him doing the same thing. And yeah, he eventually broke
But
up with
that's
me. And
what
I was like, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? This is good because the way he reacted every single other time I tried to leave, I was like, he's never going to let me go unless he thinks that it's his idea. He doesn't let people go like quietly. That, like, look at all of the fires that
well,
in
Yep.
the wake of every time he ends a relationship with anybody, not even just personal, business, like the podcast guys, the other people, everything. Like, he's not going to ever let me go unless he thinks it's his idea and he's ending it. So, and that's why I didn't reach out to him when we broke up for I don't even remember know how long. I think I had to because of the Chelsea thing eventually, because when she made that account and was called and that weird voicemail. But I basically was like, I didn't plan on talking to you again, but I just think you should know this because, like, I think she's dangerous, and that was it. And other than that, I never reached out, never called him. He was the one to initiate most of our contact, like calling me the day of the Howie Carr show, and the week right up before the Wilbur when we ended up hooking up, that was all initiated by him. We were supposed to just exchange stuff. It ended up turning into a lunch. And then it was, okay, come up and get your stuff. And I was like, all right, bye. It was good to see you. And he was the one who was like, I just want to hug you. And like, I miss you. And like, you look so good. And I don't look good anymore. And like, it was like, and again, this is shit I never wanted to share. But like, he's
he
not going to
Right.
also
just.
he also said it on that recording when he admitted to recording Karen. He said, "Fine, if you want to leave me because I recorded Karen, fine." So right there, he also said it that you were
Yeah.
leaving him because of that, which makes no sense if he had broke up with you or was the one.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm trying to remember. I think that may have been actually directed at like his fans, like anybody who wants to stop following him because of the recording.
Oh,
but but yeah, and like the very end of our conversations, one of the last times we spoke, he wanted to keep talking, and like what drove him off the edge was because we were getting like too close when we were talking again daily because of this recording thing and like me trying to cover for him and stuff. It was just falling back into old patterns. Like, we were getting along for a lot of the beginning of the recording gate because I was doing what he wanted, and then it turned into him.
Recording gate.
Yeah. And then it turned into like him asking me advice about his documentary and all this other stuff like that had nothing to do with the recording. And then it just became, it's like suddenly we're talking for like 2 hours a day again. And like, it's like, no, I'm not going to just go back to being your emotional support and your secretary and helping you. Like, one of the last things I did was like put him in touch with this like entertainment lawyer who'd done a ton of work looking at his contracts before, but he never took it upon himself to actually hire somebody because he was worried about his documentary, and it was just becoming too comfortable. So I was like, look, I can't keep doing this, and I blocked him on everything. And he was like furious, trying to talk through somebody else to get in touch with me, and then he goes on Twitter and starts making tweets that Joe Flipper had that like have to do with me, that he was trying to like taunt me into reaching out to him. And then that was when he and Joe became like buddies and like found, because I deleted 2 texts and a whole screen recording of me and Joe, that like I'm the evil one, and that's how that bromance started, which is clearly working out well for them. But yeah, that's like, he doesn't like to let people go. He likes to control people. Like, even after we broke up, like some of our conversations we had during this recording is like who I'm friends with. Like, you shouldn't want to be friends with Karen Reed. Like, why do you even like her? Like, well, who cares? And it's like, I'm your ex-girlfriend. Why do you care who the fuck I want to be friends with? That's none of your business. And like, the audacity that you think like you should be controlling who I'm friends with at this point when we're broken up is just wild. And it just says everything about who he is.
I actually,
yeah.
that's a good point, Meredith. I think that a lot of the reason he's being so like bashing you on all his lives for a million hours is because now that you're, talking to Karen Reed, he's like extremely jealous, because I think that is a big part of it that maybe is being overlooked. I don't know, just my opinion.
He wanted to
Theory.
control her, just like he wanted to control me. He was planting this seed long ago that the HBO documentary was so bad for her, and like I had to save her reputation for her, and she owes me for all this stuff. And it's like honestly, it wasn't really that bad. I actually thought it was really useful in putting out a lot of like the stuff about the like the Alberts and the Caves and stuff. To be honest, like even though clearly like the producer had a falling out with Karen, there were some unfortunate clips. Like overall, I think it still was like she's clearly innocent here. So I didn't think it was that bad. I think he overplayed and exaggerated how bad it was, and everybody has slowly started to believe it. Like, oh, Aiden saved Karen and her like image, and it's like, can you imagine thinking this guy who's constantly talking these nasty sexual things, saying cunt and retard and all this stuff, like that's you really think you're helping her public image, bro? It's just it's kind of funny. But yeah, no, he was planting the seed from the beginning that he's like her savior and she owes him everything and he went to jail for her. Like, how many times are you gonna say, I went to jail for Karen, I went to jail for her? Do you ever admit that you've also made like nearly $2 million off of Karen in the last couple of years since this started? You didn't like your following was like nothing what it is now, and that's why a lot of these people are standing by him, I think, because they're new. They didn't know him before and know that like most of the population sees if they've been following him from a bunch of stories. Like he was right about the Karen Reed story, he was right about it because he was handed it from the main person involved in it. But so they only see him for being right with his reporting on this case. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's so many stories going on right now. Like, instead, he chose to talk about you and your private relationship for every single stream he's had. He hasn't done anything since Karen Reed.
He also,
Yeah.
when he was bashing on Flip and mad at Flip, he said anybody that supported him was team domestic abuse. And then now it's moved to Meredith. If you support Meredith, you're team mental illness. But after he said everybody was team domestic abuse, a week later he was retracting. Oh, actually, Flip's not a bad guy. I was wrong about him. But that's
Yeah,
what he
but look what
does.
he said on live. He said, you know what, Flip could get into good standings with me if he just makes videos. Go back to making videos about me, like basically, like you know, be on my side and we can be
Right,
friends again. What did he do? I mean, listen, what happened with Flip and Olivia? I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I was on his side for that. I am, and I believe that
right.
that was fucked up, in my opinion, and I'm gonna stick with that. But like two things could be true too. So he, because he was so outed and um, Aiden said such bad things about him, he probably feels like this is my opportunity to be in his good graces, and now he's kind of going for that. Which, I mean, that's his choice, but I don't. I mean, like I don't understand why he's doing that. I don't. I mean, that person dragged you and called you all types of mental. Said you were a mental patient, and now you want to be his friend again. I don't know. I don't understand that.
It's all because of his hatred of me, which is so weird because Aiden has done far worse to him than I
But
ever did.
right, you deleted two
Like
texts to try to keep
I
both of them happy, and
Yeah, because Aiden was calling me, demanding, like, he's like, "You're talking to a Flipper. If you're really sorry and you don't want me to blast you on my show, you will do a screen recording right now of all your texts to them and send him." And I deleted a couple, like, quickly, and I sent the rest to him and stuff. And I knew he wasn't gonna be happy about it because I definitely, like, I vented to Joe about Aiden. Like, but I'm allowed to talk to somebody and vent to somebody about my ex boyfriend. Like, it's not like, yes, I clearly shouldn't have trusted him. That was stupid, but I didn't like it wasn't like this was our first time talking. Joe and I had been speaking for over a year.
You
About the
trusted
case
him.
and other stuff. I stupidly trusted him and I
Yeah.
vented about something and he caught me at a bad time too. It was like just when I'm getting tagged in like a post about Aiden hooking up with a 21-year-old. This was the week too that I was just ignoring him totally since the Wilbur. And I was like, this is clearly a right decision to keep ignoring him now that I'm getting tagged. Like it was like, I'm hearing that like Meredith O'Neill like arranged this like 21-year-old hooking up with Aiden, like, let's call her Meredith Maxwell. That was the very post I sent to Joe. Like, there was no me crying because I was jealous about him and hooking up with a 21-year-old. It was me venting and being unhappy that I'm being tagged and dragged into Aiden's bullshit after we'd broken up. Like long
Jess
after we'd broken
also
up.
told her whole audience to call you Meredith.
Oh, I heard. I don't. I love how she thinks I watch her shows. I definitely was when she
She's
first
just
started
so,
talking about a month ago in the recording gate, but now I don't need to because I know she just makes her whole shows about me and people just send me the highlights of her.
I
So
mean, she's literally like sitting in her closet playing a guitar, singing fucking stupid ass. I mean, like, I,
can we
I
just
mean,
talk about how perfect that was last week? Two things that I tricked both of his idiots into doing. One was I sent Will his own police report where it talks about him beating a woman, smacking her in the face till she's bleeding. I don't think I know he has this whole spiel that he's taken accountability for his past, but I don't remember hearing about that. I don't think anybody heard about that. So I sent it to him and asked him if he had any comment on it because Will has spent the last 2 weeks saying, Meredith's crazy, man. I'm afraid of her. Like this dude, really, who's like 6 something and like 5 times my size, is talking about being afraid of me when he is like this horrific past of smacking women and beating them. So I sent it to him. It's like, any comment, bro? Like, do you realize how hypocritical this is? Like, with you like parading this around when this is you. And he was like, I don't know, he was like, haha, dummy or something. I don't even know what he said, but I was counting on him sending that immediately to Aiden, like the little puppy dog he is. He sends Aiden those screenshots. Aiden's having another meltdown. Aiden posts them on for his 150,000 followers to see Will's police report about him smacking a woman. I was like, well played.
oh
And
my
then
God.
that same night, I make a tweet about what a fraud Aiden is with lying. This lie that his legal bills are more than Karen's, and nobody, me, nobody should donate to Karen's legal fund because mine is more important. Like nobody give $1 to hers. Mine's important. I'm the only one facing 100 years in jail. Don't give to Karen's. Blah blah. Blah. So I outlined like his like sense of reality is just so warped to be able to say with a straight face that his trial and his like his legal bills are more than Karen's, like not even remotely close. So I know exactly what his big legal bills were because I was with him and he would whine about every time they came in and he would tell me to go, I'm going to give Bettero another $10,000 or whatever this day. Like I knew. So I put them together. They were, it actually, his legal fund was like his fully paid for all the bills that I knew of. And, I made a tweet breaking it down, and then I get Jess to go on her show and sing the whole tweet. So she gets to, that's free advertising of Aiden's legal defense fund being a fraud. They're just like spinning in circles at this point, and it's
Well, be
Meanwhile,
He's
careful. I
like
might
he's
be a
the
also
plant. I
go
might be a plant here. I might be going back, telling them everything. I'm a plant.
oh yeah, she accused you, So Meredith, for people who don't know, there's another Meredith who has been defending me this week on Twitter, going at it with Chelsea and others, and she used to be a big Jess fan, and Jess apparently on her show yesterday was like, I think that Meredith was a plant the whole time. Like, girl, like what? A plant for what?
For
Like you
what?
say all these, and I was like, I asked you, I was like,
so
did she say
stupid.
stuff to you in like in private messages or something? Did she give you any secret information in private messages? And
No,
you said no. So I was like, then what the fuck does she need her plan? She broadcast for all of her like embarrassing details of her life for all of her viewers to hear. Like what
I
do you mean
mean,
a plan?
m-
Please stop thinking you're that important that anybody is running CIA ops to try and get stuff info from you.
Mayor,
the
real
thing that
quick. They're
I
asking
can't get
in the
over.
comments if you'll unblock Kit Kat Nurse because she's wanting to speak.
I don't think
I,
she's blocked. I
I,
would never block Kit Kat Nurse.
And
she,
I wanted to
even
say
Aiden.
too that he's double, like his turtle chats and his memberships are double and triple and
I don't.
quadruple billing people. When he did that live and he showed his turtle chat wall, he scrolled past it, but I just did a video and slowed it down. Like on one screen, there's still one chat, like $25 donation with the same number and message, and then duplicates of another. He's saying it's not duplicates when he says I already read that message, but it is. And he showed it on his live. He just scrolled past it so quickly, people didn't see it. But if you pause it, you can see they're going through 2 and 3 times.
Yeah, I don't see Kit Kat Nurse. I don't. Assuming we're talking about
But
Kit Kat
Kit
Nurse
Kat,
95, she's definitely not blocked. I follow her.
yeah, but can I say something? Kit Kat Nurse 95. I've had some run-ins with her. I feel like she's pro Aiden, and every time when he was doing all that stuff on his live, and she's always commenting and saying nasty, nasty things. So I don't know. You want to?
I don't know. There's another kitty cat or something that is bad. I don't know if that's who you're talking about. There's two different ones, but
Yeah, there is two different ones.
that are
Yeah,
similar.
They have
Kit Kat
like
Nurse is definitely not. I don't want to speak for her, but she's not on that side, for lack of better words.
okay. It's
But there
hard
is
to
another kitty
remember
cat
everything.
who's
If it's the kitty,
awful.
is it the kitty naps that hates Jason and is like fully teaming in? Then no, I will not unblock that one.
Yeah, no, that's the one that has a pretty uh fun vocabulary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she
no.
was like nasty, nasty. I just yeah, so I don't know. And I remember that name, Kit Kat Nurse.
She's the homie. She's good
No, Kit
people.
Kat Nurse is awesome. Yeah,
So
and I've
maybe
had
it's
like a few people message others saying I've blocked them before in the past. Like I definitely blocked a lot of people at the start of this recording thing, 'cause a lot of people were like, Meredith is lying too. Meredith won't tell the truth and stuff. So like if you want me unblocked, just ask like Chris or somebody else on here that I clearly haven't blocked. And
you know what's frustrating too, because there's a lot of people I like, and sometimes I forget, like, oh, I like that person. Then I'm like, oh, this person is friends with that person, and then I'm like, oh, this person. Then all of a sudden, it's like it's confusing, right? Because it's a lot of people, and then you forget sometimes, you know, who's who. So
No,
you
I
know,
definitely do that too. So you're definitely not alone in that.
things
yeah,
change too. Like I mean, I had you blocked at one point. I think Valerie, when you were like
yeah.
I was
I was
lying.
talking
Like
to you,
things change,
of
and it's
course.
honestly it's funny how a lot of like my feelings have aligned with other people's that I never would have thought in the last couple weeks.
Ditto. Valerie
Yeah,
had me blocked, and
I
you should
had,
have
yeah,
because I was mean to you, and I already apologized. But yeah,
yeah.
Yeah,
We apologize.
Val
You
and I
know,
have had words too, but I
yeah,
mean, we all
I
can
had
come
words
together for a
too.
cause.
But I think the important thing is, and the mature thing is, when you get new information about things and you
yep,
say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to change my opinion about this based on this because I have new information that makes me feel differently. And you could say, like, you know what, maybe I was wrong about that, or maybe I feel differently now. And it
yes,
does, nothing is just black and white, right?
yep,
So, you know, a lot of times on the internet, people are attacking you, and it's not that I'm trying to be nasty, but sometimes it's just you want to just defend yourself. So like if you're like fuck you, I'm like fuck you, bitch, right? Even though sometimes because we're just disagreeing, and for whatever reason it happens like that. Maybe I'm having a bad day and I might be like, hey, fuck you, like, and you're like, and then we say, you know what, oh, I kind of agree with what she said, and then I might get some more information and say, you know what, maybe I feel differently about that situation, so I'm willing to, like, you know,
yeah.
say,
Valerie, I'm
okay,
so glad you said that because so as I don't know if anyone knows, but I was a total Turtle Boy supporter forever. Like I've been following him since like I mean I don't want to say like LML Bunny the other night 13 years.
oh my God.
But anyway, I've been following him for a long time, like when he started. But and so I've changed my opinions drastically. And everyone's like, "How could you do that? You have no conviction." And I'm like, "I've done it because I watched his lives where he's bashing this woman who I don't know, Meredith. We don't know each other. I mean, we do have the same name, so we're probably both really cool, but I don't know her. I just listened to everything, read everything she put out, and guess what? New information, new perspective. And that's not called like lack of conviction. That's like I have, growth and I have new opinions based off of exactly what you just said, Valerie. So I'm glad you
Yeah,
said that because people are
and
like, why are
intelligent
you
people do
changing? Why are
that.
you doing this?
Intelligent people that think they're always right and that's it, are not people that, like, I respect people that can say, you know what, maybe I was wrong, I have new information,
Yeah.
I'm gonna change my opinion, and you know, well, we can, you know, that's a, I like people like that, and it shows in maturity, and you're, I feel like people like that are smart and intellectual, so I can respect the fact that, you know, you said, I apologize, I said I'm sorry, whatever, we might have cursed at each other or whatever we did, for whatever reason. I don't. Sometimes you don't remember everything, interaction of why
Right.
things happen the way they did, but for the most part, we come to an agreement and we say, yeah, I think like that too. I feel like it's healthier.
It's
You
growth.
know,
Definitely.
yeah, it's growth, right? It's growth,
And
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
that it shows like a clear divide in like what's happening kind of right now because there are people who are asking questions or kind of trying to focus on like the point instead of, oh, you recorded too. It's like, okay, well, why wasn't like why was Karen recorded in the first place? And then there's people who just kind of blindly, spew whatever rhetoric is coming from whatever YouTuber is saying that. I like even just like looking in the comments now, there are just people randomly bringing up shit about Meredith that is like absolutely not fucking relevant to anything that's being talked about. And then you have people that are like asking questions because they want to understand. And it's really I just think that there's not a lot of nuance in here. It's really kind of the people who want to know and the people who want to believe.
Yeah. I think, Valerie, one of the first times I blocked you was because um you saw me liking a lot of your posts, like sticking up for Karen in the beginning of this and how I felt, and then you made a post like, girl, speak your truth, and it was like a screenshot of me liking them all, and I was like, I think I messaged you terrified. I was like, oh my god, please, I'm begging you, like, what can I do to get you to take this down? Aiden is already
So
like threatening with me, like, please. I was like, I'll do anything, like, and that's
I
literally
remember that.
how I felt for like over a month with this, and just the daily, it would go back and forth between him being like nice to me and then him threatening to do a show about me and expose me because like Jess was like started talking about me, and I was like, I have to defend myself against Satan. He's like, no, no, don't say a word. Like, everybody will just like move on to the next thing. He's like, and I'll just, you don't need to like explain yourself. I'll just say on my show it wasn't you, and people just blindly believe me. So like the text you saw, I think, where I'm like, okay, are you? I was like following up with that. I was like, okay, are you? A lot of people are now saying like spreading stuff about me. Are you gonna say it on your show? Like, don't forget, like you promised. That's why I'm not saying anything. That's why I'm not saying I heard a recording like publicly, because um you said you would just say that, and he did, but he would get so mad if I talked to anybody about this for so long. Like, it started the very next day, when after that space, when Chris had mentioned the lunch. So I found out Joe had already sent the text where I'm saying I heard it and four other people, whatever, to Lily and to Chris, and Lily went right back to Aiden with it the next day, and that's what first set him off to screaming at me. So
So that was Lily. That was my. I was wondering what, because what she actually sent to him. So she sent. Tell me again what Lily sent to him.
it was a text of me texting Joe, which I think ended up on online the next week. Anyways, Chris ended up posting it, where I basically am like, yeah, he played it for me at lunch, and he told me four people heard it, and Karen, I forget exactly what the words are, but it's basically it's me admitting to hearing the recording and him playing it at lunch, and that's what went to Aiden like pretty much the very next day before.
After those, after that spaces.
Yes, yes.
And then, and that was my question to the other night is, why do you keep telling people to go to him directly? Like, I don't understand. And then, especially the fact that she's like, oh well, and she said in a comment that she ended up feeling guilty about the spaces and wanted to speak to him, one on one. But I'm like, well, you felt guilty, and then you spoke to him, and then you gave him information. So like, I don't understand how that, I mean, that benefited him. So of course he was happy about that.
Right.
But basically, like, your advice is for us to give in to him, and just because it's not like, oh, you're going to speak to him one on one and he's going to be like some different person. I feel like I don't understand her reasoning for that.
I think he told me that he basically told her like, I can't admit to anything. I'm out on bail, which I get, and told him not to, and that's why his lawyers told him to stop talking about it. And that was Karen never wanted to like like take this. Like, I knew very early on that was not her plan to do anything legally, and I know this not from Karen, but because, which she's later confirmed, she this narrative that we want to put him in jail is just false. Like, basically, and this is what Aiden told me that first weekend was, Mark spoke with her lawyers, and the deal was basically like, Aiden needs to stop like talking so much crap about her, or we will like take legal action, and that's it. And of course he couldn't help himself, and she still hasn't done that. Nobody wants to send him to jail. Nobody wants to take him away from his kids. We're reacting to just
Right.
months and months of just slander and just behind the scenes, and now as himself. Like, we're at the point where he's calling Karen Reed a cunt publicly, and that's accepted, and nobody wants to speak up. Like, and that's how we've gotten here, from just people not saying anything and not questioning it, and being afraid of him.
Yeah, they created YouTube channels. Like, listen,
Ray
people
from
get,
Dallas, yeah.
yeah, people get crazy. They're like, oh, you can't stop talking about Ray from Dallas. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna bring it up because it's an example of the behavior that he's doing, right? Like, Ray from Dallas is a perfect example. Like, that channel was created just to bash Karen Reed and bash anybody that's against Aiden, right? That's what that, and Will, because I honestly, I feel like Will kind of I think we'll kind of like put it into motion, and then then it's kind of like Aiden is like, all right, because I've seen him in the comments and stuff, because yeah, I've listened to it. He talks shit about me, so of course I want to hear what the hell he had to say a few times. I mean, I don't watch it anymore, it's been a while, but yeah, that whole YouTube channel was created to just bash
Anybody
Karen.
that Aiden doesn't want to
Yeah.
go
Or
after himself,
that he
and
Yeah, and the stuff that he would say was like that olive oil, long neck. He would bitch and cunt, and she's a vindictive cunt bitch. I mean, like the stuff that he would say, it's like that's horrible. Like this woman just spent all this time fighting for her life, and it's like you think, and he's saying that Ray from Dallas is awesome. Like that really is just like I mean,
I
that's that in
I
itself.
think we've all been called bitches by now by Ray.
I just want to say, Valerie, I am after now. Like I haven't listened to him since the first. He did a 10-minute rant on me that he posted on Twitter a few weeks ago, and just the way I felt hearing that, just like the guy, just his aggressive voice, just like threatening me, like talking about like you need like you miss like riding Aiden's dick and like just the way
Yeah, he's
you're
so
just it's I was so like I just could not stop crying hearing that. And
Offended.
now I'm ashamed of myself for feel like me letting it feel that way because he's just a disgusting person and I should never
yeah,
let that
I
get the
definitely
best of me.
wouldn't
But I
cry
am
about
so
it.
sorry that I never like that wasn't what triggered me to like stand up to this and stop with this alleged recording shit sooner and stand up to him. I'm sorry that it took just me being personally blasted by Aiden enough is what finally pushed me to this point because the people that have gotten destroyed, like you and others in this, it's not fair and it's just wrong. And I'm sorry for not speaking up sooner.
Oh, well, that's okay. I believe it or not, I don't think Ray from Dallas is funny, but some of the stuff that he was saying, I would just like, it's laughable. It's just like it's
Yeah.
disgusting. Anything I would cry about. So I would
They're
shed
Meredith, you
no
know what
like
I
tears.
was
Yeah.
thinking? Sorry. Oh, what I was thinking is a lot of people are still talking about that you started this. He's like, Meredith started this. If she never posted that video of me, this never would have come out. I never would have had these lives and I never would have talked about it. But like people need to know that you didn't start this.
Yeah, I mean, if people
He
don't
sent
realize that,
Chelsea.
yeah. But
I
not
hope
only
people realize
Chelsea,
that.
he sent Jess Machado before Chelsea, and then
Yeah.
the Joe Flipper. You know, like those Joe Flipper had messages with him where he's telling a one-sided story about that night in March and saying all these horrible things about me, how I'm crazy, how I must have leaked the recording. Those have been out there for a whole month before we got to this point where I started defending myself. I even like let those stand, and he was like, "Well, like Joe's crazy," and he put on nobody listens to him. He was like, "Don't even respond to it. Who cares?" Like blah blah blah. But now, like he's since admitted on his shows that he texted Joe that stuff purposely, knowing Joe would leak it all over the internet. So I first of all I didn't start it with Chelsea, but this has been going on since the middle of October. Since the last day I talked to him, I think was the 15th, and he was like trying to get me to keep talking to him and saying I needed to apologize to him for like the 50th time for talking to Joe. And I was just like, no, like we're done. We're done talking. I was like, so what? He's gonna try and ruin my life. He's threatened it. He's threatening to call me work. He's gonna do it eventually because that's what he wants. So he's leaked stuff with Joe. He has Jess start going after me. This like I didn't start this. I
Right.
tried to avoid this and I took so much and didn't defend myself. Like people were in my DMs like, why aren't you speaking up? Like, did you really like do all this stuff? And I'm like, nope, I didn't. But I know if I respond, it's just gonna like start the flames. For him to like have an excuse to go totally nuclear on
Right.
me. And what
So you defended
Admitted.
yourself. You
Yeah.
defended yourself after all this, and then he's twisted it, obviously, to his audience and
like
make it seem like you posted these awful videos of him. But he already had all those videos out,
he'd been
plus all the
sending them
stuff you're
around. He
saying.
sent them
Yeah.
around to people. I have texts of him in October threatening to post them if I talk about the recording and clear my name about the timeline of the recording. He'd been itching to do this. Chelsea posted the first video when she came on Twitter like the week of
So it was
Thanksgiving.
convenient for him. It was
Yeah.
convenient timing for him to just be
But
like, well, no, it's all Meredith's fault.
and
Meredith's responsible for everything.
Chelsea admitted the other night. She admitted that she came on to Twitter to defend her friend. She literally said that
Oh,
yes.
she said to save her friend.
to
She had to
save her
save. He
friend.
was scared. Remember, he was scared. She had to
Scared
save
of
him.
what? So that scared of what? I hadn't spoken to him in over a month when he did this. Over a month. October 15th is the last time we spoke. Scared of what? And
I mean,
So
this girl is not smart. She's afraid of a long expression that's been going around for ages. She thinks I told her to kill herself. So
but
she's not. She's not a smart girl.
But
So
that
I don't know what
narrative
she's
has
afraid.
changed. Remember, she first said she came on here to Twitter because I was harassing her, and then I showed. I'm telling you, I have not ever called this girl. I don't have her number to this day. The only conversations we've had is when she came in my inbox on Facebook accusing me of friend requesting her 3 times. I don't even know how you do that if you send it. Like, I don't know how you would like she was just showing the same screenshot over and over again on different dates with
Yeah.
a pending friend request. I don't remember friending her. If I did, I told her, like, other people did at the time have access to my Facebook because they wanted to see Karen Reed stuff. Somebody else could have hit it. I don't know. I've liked things accidentally. I even said, I was like, I may have done it, but it was accidentally. I'm like, this friending thing 3 times. But it was so weird because she was being so like strange about it. So I even did ask Aiden, I was like, do you know this person? Like, why is she so weird about a friend request? Because I blocked her on Facebook, and then she messaged me on another Twitter account, like a Twitter account about it too, like a couple days later. I'm like, you're still like worked up over a Facebook for friend request from somebody who has blocked you on Facebook? Like, it was fucking weird. So I asked Ian, so I was like, do you know this person? He's like, oh yeah, she's just like a fan or something. I was like, why is she messaging me this weird stuff on Facebook? He's like, I don't know. I have like a lot of crazy fans who message me weird stuff. I was like, yeah, that's true, because there are other crazy people like that follow him that had messaged me weird stuff. Nothing like aggressive like that, but he just like brushed it off. And now we know, I found out in June, they were like sexting. So she was like clearly trying to upset me or do something with me. And I found recently, which like, this is like a crime in her book. She liked my post on May 18th before she sent me the mess. I don't know if it was before or after, but around the time she was liking my Facebook post. I'd made a Facebook post in Justice that was like about a fundraiser for Aiden's defense fund, like a dinner at Chili's or something. And
Oh,
she liked
that.
it. Clearly, she didn't really like it because it was a dinner that I was going to be going to with Aiden. So I'm
She
assuming,
probably liked it by mistake while she was being nosy looking at your stuff.
or
Yeah.
she was trying to like send a message. I don't know. A
Or
weird.
like, oh, look at me, like, to make it like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
but she comes on here claiming she's on here because I've been harassing her for months and I called her 2,200 times. It's like, girl, if somebody
Nobody
called you
believes
20,
her.
she
Nobody
still has
believes
Nobody
her.
not
believes.
shown a single screenshot of anybody calling her 2,200 times. The girl, I would have hoped you've gone to the police by now. I like put the math in for like the months since this happened, and it was like it equated to like somebody calling her every 20 minutes for like 4 months straight. Like, I would have hoped you've gone to the police by now. And she
Yeah.
still refuses to show any proof of it. The one text she shows, again, not even my number, it's some random number, but she also won't show a text from that date. She shows a screenshot that she took on July 23rd, but she won't. The only screenshot she shows, it says today in the text. So it's like, how do we know today is July 23rd? Why can't you just go into that text and it'll say, I did a demonstration for her. I was like, if I go to a text from August, it now says August 30th. It doesn't say today. I was like, can you just do that? Why do you
Yeah.
need to use an old screenshot? Like, because you can easily edit the metadata on it to make it say July 23rd. Why can't you just show her date? She's like, well, I deleted it. It's like, okay, bitch, if somebody was stalking you for 3 months, wouldn't you keep it? You keep all
Yeah.
these weird screenshots from way earlier than July when you're claiming this text
She
was.
has your videos.
Why are you deleting text if it's proof that somebody's stalking you? Like, why haven't you filed a police report for this?
I feel like she's a stupid woman that's trying to be
She
relevant.
sent she
At the end of the
Yes.
day, she knew he was in a relationship with you because it was a public thing, and she was, entertaining him, trying to whatever behind the scenes, and then whatever you found out, or you were trying to figure out who she was, which a lot of girlfriends do that because I've done it
But I
too.
didn't even know who she was
Not,
until June 18th, and I have Aiden in the phone call that we were in when I was in Rhode Island that I've shown where he admits I didn't know who she was until June 18th, the night of the verdict. I see their Facebook messages up, and I'm like, oh my god, this is
oh,
gross.
so they were the night of the verdict.
No, I found out about them
Oh, you
sexting the
found
night.
out about it.
No, and um, this is like all this is like I think the earliest one was in April. So before she started with the weird messages to me, the friend request, but it was definitely going on in May too when she sent me those weird messages about friend requesting her. So like this was happening while she was sexting with my boyfriend. She knew that we were still together. We were still like publicly all together and stuff. And besides what he tells it, he's like, oh, like we broke up and stuff. I think my text and call log with him tells a very different
Oh,
story.
you guys are on a break. But God, listen, men will say that. Oh, yeah, I was talking to this girl. We were on a break. It's like, you know what? Okay,
And
whatever,
I don't
lady.
blame the other people except for Chelsea who's like going after this, but still, like I would never would like we had a public relationship, obviously. I would not be going after and actively pursuing somebody who's like clearly still with somebody, like to some
I
extent.
just feel like she just looks stupid to me. Like to come and try to say, oh, she's harassed. I mean, it's just like
She
you
came
were.
in, yeah.
You were
And you see the text
yeah.
she releases recently where it's in July and she's like, my blood pressure or something is up in the stats because of this harassment. I've lost work because of this harassment. Like, girl,
Oh my
why have you
God.
not
Oh,
gone to the
gonna
police if somebody
sue you?
The fact
Oh my
that
God.
she's claiming all of this distress over this fake, and Aiden knows this too. Aiden probably knows she's crazy, but he doesn't. He's probably shared
Yeah,
too
like
much
that's
with her at this
laughable.
point. If she turns on him, he's fucked because it just makes the whole thing look even sillier. He knows he would laugh at somebody like this for how insane and
Right.
crazy they
You know
are.
what?
Yeah,
Like
He might fuck
he
around and
totally
sue
knows.
him.
He totally knows that she is absolutely crazy. He put
and
her out up
ratchet.
to
He knows
this.
she's ratchet too.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
I can only tell like the secondhand embarrassment he's probably having every time she posts something, like especially on Thanksgiving Day, where like she doesn't even think to wait like 10 minutes before like posting like I'm sorry Aiden for ruining your Thanksgiving. I didn't mean to do this. Like she's probably
Oh
like, you
my God.
idiot. You're supposed to wait like a little bit so it's not obvious that we planned this for you to take like the blame for this. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
probably
Meanwhile,
like
she has 7
I
followers.
mean,
She's
she
one of
thinks
them.
her big flex is like, because now, I mean, I guess, because you are so clever and your posts are so great. You're so eloquent in what you write. So you like put her in her place. So now she like for some reason is going after me. But so she thinks her big flex here is that she found my YouTube account. I have 11 subs. Like I'm gonna do anything to anybody in the world. Like what? Like that's what she posted.
7. I don't
I'm
even.
like, oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Also,
What am I gonna do?
she blocks anybody that disagrees with her, like Aiden, and that's what I want. There's somebody in the comments, vent, and I've seen a couple people say it, complaining about Meredith not having the comments open or blocking people. You guys do realize Aiden does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, he
He
probably is
used in
schooling her
YouTube.
and telling her just block them. Just block them. That's probably what he's telling her to do. Just
Aiden's blocked everybody from anybody that disagrees with him. He blocks on Twitter, and if you go in his lives and say anything on YouTube, you get muted.
Well, you
well,
get
And he
Jen,
Altman
that's
finds
telling
Jen
them
you.
Altman is
so
You
fast
get
so
Jen
too.
Altman telling you what to do and what
you
to
got
say, and that
yeah.
to warn you and harass
Oh,
you.
she is hard.
Oh, Jen. Jenny,
Oh,
You
Jen,
damn
Jen.
her.
you
Oh,
guys know that soon she's gonna be the best gift in like 8 months that's ever
Oh,
happened. She
yes.
will turn on him. She's already kind of
but she's
kooky,
already done
and
that.
there's nothing
Yeah.
worse than after a kooky woman and then being burned by a man.
oh
She's gonna
Chelsea.
lose her mind.
Oh, it's
Yes.
gonna be awesome.
Yeah, do
And
you
it
remember
it
one of
will happen. It will happen.
Yes.
she finds a way to make herself the victim out of like everything. So first of all, she comes on here like Meredith has harassed me for months. I'm no longer staying silent. People are like, who are you? And she's like, Meredith has called me relentless harassment, 2,200 phone calls, like saying that now these texts were. It's kind of actually Aiden must be like it must be dawning on him. These texts that I've now seen in July, where she's claiming I'm calling her like all these times, and she's like, I'm lost work. I don't know if I can talk. I can't get out of bed. It's like, girl, why haven't you gone to the police if this is really happening? She's not shown a shred of proof of anybody calling her 2,200 times, let alone me. She's shown the same old screenshot over and over again. She one of her first posts, it was like a picture of her looking like an alien from like 2023, a public Facebook photo. I was able to go on that night and find it. It was still public. She was like, she had to be in Aiden's Facebook because she only could have gotten it if Aiden's the only. First of all, too, like people have since sent me who are friends with her on Facebook a ton of her pictures and all of her Facebook posts where she also makes herself the victim of whatever condition she has. Like that's her whole identity, is being the victim of whether it's her condition or other people. People have sent me a lot of shit. Anyways, the point is, it couldn't only be from Aiden's Facebook that I got this, but this picture, it was on her fucking public profile, and she's like, see, this is a funny. Here's a picture. Meredith was trying like days later after I posted this. Meredith posted a picture of herself doing the same pose and the same. She was copying me, and it was like, girl, this photo was from 2023, 2 years ago. It was a public Facebook photo. The two pictures she's putting up of me look nothing like whatever kind of alien filtered thing is going on. It's in her car. The pictures, two of the pictures, so one was me right before going out, standing at my door, and the other one was me on a run at Uncle Joe's house, the Moakley courthouse, being like pull up. I was doing like a fist. It was literally nothing like her, and she. That must have been the point where Eden was like, "Fuck, this is bad." I trusted this low IQ, like I don't know what to call her, with my PR and my takedown of Meredith. This was a bad idea. So I think that's when, after I started posting that, that's when she started posting the videos from March 4th. So yeah, to be clear, for anybody who thinks that I started this, she posted the very first video of that night, and it was a very tiny clip of like almost, I think there's probably like over 20 minutes of footage from that night that I know about, that I've seen, that Aiden's shared with me or other people, like either threatened me or he shared it with all these other people, like to behind the scenes. I've seen about 20 minutes of footage, and she shares like this 20-minute second clip where I'm like saying he hit me or something. I forget which one leaked first. So yeah, I was obviously going to leak more from what happened that night, to defend myself. And I know this is some like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that, but this was like a private drunk argument between two adults in our apartment. I never reported anything to anybody. I never went to the police. I never even told anybody that. I wanted him to stop filming me. He'd been following me around my apartment for probably an hour at that point with his phone in my face. He was causing a huge disturbance in pretty small apartment building, where I was convinced the neighbors or somebody was going to call the cops because he was being so loud. I wanted him to either get back inside or to leave because he was creating a huge disturbance. And he's painted it out to be this like domestic violence incident, like against him, like where he's the victim and he's having like
No. And that's
PTSD.
been in a fight with their boyfriends in a toxic relationship.
It's an embarrassing drunk
Understand?
fight that I never wanted to see the light of day. But
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Right.
he
I'm
shared one
right.
small clip of it to make it look like Meredith's trying to send me to jail. Like, do you really think if I was trying to do that, I would?
No. No.
And
Yeah, no.
for him to say he's posting this for any other reason but to embarrass me is just it's
It's
and
disgusting,
And
pathetic,
they
and
why
ran
are
with
we
that.
disgusting.
posting this almost 9 months later now?
Yeah.
Like, if I was going to do something, it would have been done by now. The fact that I didn't report it would, he doesn't need insurance or anything. This is purely for purely retaliation, because and to scare me from talking about the recording. He thinks I'll just go away. He thinks he's going to bully me. He thinks I'll just let the record stand because Aiden says so with his non receipts, just as fact. And he thinks I'm not gonna stand up for myself. He was counting on that. He was banking on that, and that's not gonna happen. So yeah,
Meredith, can I ask you a question?
sure.
Do you think that he was creating like little fires in people's heads about you or like your level of saneness or whatever because he thought that you were going to go to Karen with this recording? So he was kind of setting up like a narrative that you're this crazy person. So if you did come forward and did speak on it, it would invalidate anything you were trying to say.
Absolutely, he did. Absolutely, he was. That's totally part of it. And he'd been doing it for a long time now. And the most like honestly thing that just made me the most enraged was when I found out a few weeks ago that even while he was being nice to me and like thanking me for not saying anything about him recording her and stuff, from day one he was trying to pin this on me. So he'd been denying to Mark Betterow and his other lawyer Tim that he ever recorded Karen for a long time. And right up until like that Sunday when the recording started leaking on the internet and he couldn't deny it anymore, he was lying, saying he never recorded Karen, because obviously there had been rumblings out there, and then the text leak where Karen's saying like Ian recorded me, like when Karen's texting Joe Flipperhead, that leaked. He's still denying it to Mark, and he had to finally admit it Sunday when their recordings leaking. So I found out recently he told Mark that I was there with them on August 29th. And the exact words were that I was there recording over their shoulder, like recording him and Karen, like to paint me as the ultimate bad person in this. Not only he's already saying I'm sharing it, but it was actually a betrayal. Meredith betrayed Karen and Aiden by doing this, when like it was
But you know
so
what's
easily
crazy?
to prove that I wasn't anywhere near him then. We weren't even talking then. And he was willing to throw
Right.
me on the bus from the very beginning, all while threatening me to be quiet and not defend myself from sharing it. So he's fine with me being accused of a felony, of illegally sharing a legally recorded wiretap, but he and also now of doing the wiretapping. Um but I'm not allowed to defend myself. And yeah, it's truly
He could
sick.
have just said that on the spaces if he really wanted an out. He lied and said there was no recording. So like if he was going to use that lie against you, he could have said that plenty of times before and he never did.
He didn't say
So
it
why
publicly
lie
until
now?
recently, now that we're not talking and now that I'm
Right.
already out here, because I think he knows if he had said that openly and I knew about him saying that to Betterow to go to Karen's lawyers with, I would have that would have been, I wouldn't have been okay with that. I would have started talking about it and the timeline and how it couldn't have been me. He knows if he did
Yeah.
that. That's
But
why it's not
yeah,
till recently. I think probably because like the fake hacking thing is not making sense anymore. Now he's shifted back to that I was there and recording both of them, like which is what he
Oh,
originally told Bettero, which is what Bettero went to Karen's lawyers with, and
That's
basically
such bullshit.
the
Yeah.
agreement was, okay, we know there's a recording out there, obviously, like we weren't bluffing before. Aiden needs to stop talking shit about her, or yeah, like then this will be a legal issue, basically.
can I
Yeah.
ask
That's
you a
why I love
question,
those.
Meredith? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Paris is in the comments. She wants to know about the shoe, or he. I don't know who Paris is, but about the shoe. She.
I don't remember how his shoe got there. I don't even remember. I wasn't in the room when he found it there. I was really, really sick that morning, like really, really sick. So I can't say with 100% certainty I didn't put his shoe in there, but I know by the time he said he was missing his shoe, he had like other shoes. He had like two or three other pairs of shoes there. He had like, if you see all those clothes on the floor in my room where he's like on the floor, those are mostly his clothes. And then my outfit from that night ended up there. But those are mostly his clothes. He had sneakers there, and I say to him several times, like, you have a pair of sneakers to put on if you want to leave. Like, just put those on, bro. And he
Yeah.
found his. Like, I don't, but I still can't even confirm if he actually found his shoe in that little thing because I wasn't in the room. I was in my room, or I may have been like in the bathroom
I mean, it's so
throwing up. At that
conveniently
point,
placed. Like, and then he took a photo of it. Like, what? Come on. I mean, who
uh,
believes that you put a
I
shoe in a
don't remember
cabinet?
doing that. I don't remember doing that, but I also don't remember a lot of things. Again, it was a drunken night. It was a drunken, embarrassing fight between two adults that I never hoped would see the light of day. And this narrative that it was put out there to protect himself and like to
Uh,
give him insurance. It's like, no, like you would have told your lawyers this the next day. You would not like somebody me who just joined TikTok put a video out there where it's like our fight the night before, and then it's like a moment later and it's us walking out of court, like we were fine like the next day pretty much. And I
yeah.
guess I realize that makes it sound like, yeah, it's really toxic that I
Yeah.
that we were
Those are
just
toxic.
fine like together the next day. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get that.
There's lots of relationships like that.
But
That's what
But
happens.
it
I
yes,
also
mean,
it
it's
also
it's
just
normal.
proves this
I mean,
wasn't
yeah.
this like
yes.
dangerous situation where he was some victim. And I mean, you see him yelling at me too. He's screaming at me and he's like, "Don't fuck with me" and all this stuff. And he's like, and the tantrum thing. Like, I only wish I'd started recording like 30 seconds earlier. Like I know the clip is like him crying, but it started out with just it was a violent, aggressive tantrum. Him pounding the floor. Where I'm like, please do this on the bed or just don't do it at all. Like, please, like stop. I need like, you're gonna get me kicked out of my apartment. Like people are gonna call the police. Like please stop. I'm like it started out as very angry and aggressive, and I know he claims this is like a PTSD thing, but I have been there with him where he actually has had real panic attacks. Like right when he got out of jail, when Lindsay the fake restraining order violation, when he was like very much in fear he was going right back to jail. I've seen him when it's real, and I know when he's faking. Like when the fake crying right after the verdict. Like I've seen him really cry before when he was coming out, when he was making that stupid frowning face that he's made his cover photo, that was like fake crying. He was like trying to make it look like he was crying, walking out to have like his picture taken like that. Like I know him so well at this point that I know when he's faking stuff. Like, and you can tell because then we had the whole like more recording each other around the apartment. It was like a game at that point. It was just like an embarrassing drunken fight, and the fact that so this is another thing I thought of
I totally
yesterday.
believe you, and I can see that. I know exactly what you're talking about. It's totally. I mean, I don't want to say normal because it's like a bad relationship, but that is a normal thing that happens sometimes in relationships. I get it. I
I've been
believe
there.
But
you
like,
Yes.
100.
listen, just
percent
the bottom line is actions speak louder than words. Yes, I'm on a video of him recording me drunk saying he hit me. I did it so because I thought there's no world where he's going to share a video that I'm saying he hit me because he would never want people to think that. I wanted him to stop fucking recording
I
me and
get
cut the
it.
shit.
Yep.
Me being recorded as I'm drunk with a Karen who's an hour saying he hit me is a lot different. Did I ever call the police? Did I ever tell anybody he hit me? No, no. 9 months later, I still didn't say that ever. And another thing I thought of yesterday too, when so he did call the police at one point, and I remember this because I was watching another video footage of us talking after we went back inside, where I'm like, this is so embarrassing. You called the police over the shoe. Like, people can public records request this, right? I was like, did you say my name? He's like, I don't think so. He's like, I don't even know. But I remember now parts of it. It was out in the hall. He was being loud. And I was like, I just want him to either leave or come back inside. I was like, I don't have his shoe. But he was like calling him. He's like, I can't find my shoe. Like, I think my
Wait,
girlfriend
he
took
called the
it.
police about the shoe because I don't remember that.
What?
He called the police about the shoe being missing.
Yeah, yeah, and he
Oh
doesn't
shit.
say anything about like oh, my girlfriend is like being like abusive. Nothing like that. It literally ended with like they're like, you want us to like send somebody over to like find your shoe and key? Like, we don't really do that. Maybe just go to bed. And then he's like, and then
Oh
he just
my
hung up. He like hung up on them and stuff. So
Oh
like
God.
my god.
that's why he's already. I'm sure next he's just gonna backtrack on his whole narrative of this being this like he's a victim and he was stuck there. Like, no, he could have
Is he a
he was
grown
not
He could
man?
have
stuck.
told the police that,
Like,
well,
he's a
yeah,
grown man,
yeah.
right? Like, you get, I mean, I have a 21-year-old. I'm like, if you are drinking and you call an Uber. Like, that's what we like, or you
Right.
call somebody to pick you up. Like,
Uber is
give
everywhere.
me a break.
You call Uber.
Oh,
Does everybody not have flashbacks to when he used to cry about the Alberts? He would make fun of them reporting him for witness intimidation. He'd be like, "Oh, look at their pussies. They got up there and reported me. Yeah, they're really scared of me." That's what I have flashbacks to. Like, I'm like, this is the same thing, back and forth. You made fun of somebody, mocked them like all the time, and now you're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, it's
He's also claiming the phone extraction that Meredith sharing anything from it is witness intimidation, but it
Yeah.
wasn't when he shared Lindsay's.
look, I haven't. I'm not saying I shared anything. I don't know how Koala got those, but what I know is that that extraction is unimpounded discovery in a case, similar to how like he's shared unimpounded discovery in his case and in Karen's case that he's gotten unimpounded, not. If it did come from me, he gave it to me willingly. Like this narrative that I stole it is false, which I've already proved yesterday. I've shown you text messages now of him telling me to run reports with it, telling me to use it. He gave it to me to work on his case and to do stuff. He knew I had it. It wasn't taken in any nefarious way. He handed it over to me willingly. I'm not subject to any, like, I'm not officially part of his legal team where I can't be sharing things. That's really all I'm going to say about that because just I've consulting with my own lawyer, but I will say he did give it to me. Like it wasn't stolen like he claims. And no full extraction was leaked like what's happened to Lindsay. I mean, her full thing with medical stuff has leaked all over the internet. And yes, he was behind that too. He gave it to people to leak. Um, and that actually did have a protective order, but his full extraction wasn't leaked. What I saw that was leaked or posted this week by Koala, it looks like all it is a few embarrassing text messages, right? I mean, kind of like the stuff he's been leaking of mine for months now, embarrassing text messages and videos. And the fact that he tries to say that like the person who was in the messages is so upset, everything from what I've seen, it's all redacted. There were no names there. He's the only one who decided to tell people that the person in those messages, Jane, is the same person as the wash. And since he's put that together, that's fine. He wanted to, nobody's been doxxed, but he decided to, actually, he did dox her because he shared some text with Lily earlier. I'm not even going to call attention to that, but where he didn't redact her name. But yeah, that was the
I'll
only
say,
reason I looked at that part of the extraction. I know he showed text of me threatening with it, and it's like, yeah, I wanted to know like who this girl was that was sending her boobs to my boyfriend. I wanted to know like was this an ex-girlfriend or something? And I searched her name, and what came up was him sexting her about like Karen. It was gross. This was like the very like first month he started reporting on the case and he already thought he was entitled to like sexual favors from her. It was disgusting. And I told him that I was like, what do you think Karen would think about this? This wasn't like a threat to release it. I was angry. I just discovered he was cheating on me with this girl who's thinking they should be sexting these disgusting things about Karen. Yeah, damn well I did text him about this. And this was in January. And you know what? He stayed with me for another 7 months after. If he was really that worried about it, why wasn't he telling his lawyer that then? Like this narrative that he's this victim of me and he's done nothing wrong and I'm like crazy. And no, there were many times after that I tried to break up with him. I had no idea about all the women he was with behind the scenes. Some of them I'm still learning about from listening to his live today. If I knew about all of them, and it wasn't, he made it every time I tried to end things, he would beg me to stay. And I can't live without you. I need you. And then guilt me into like at first it would just be like, I need you in my life. Then it's like, fine, you don't care about my legal case. You know I can't like keep getting through my case without you, and like you're doing this to me and you're sabotaging my case now. It would gradually twist into the
yeah.
guilt trip that I'd finally pick up the phone those days.
Hey, Meredith, there are quite a few people in the comments who are saying that they can't hear a whole lot, and there are a couple of people wondering if you'd be willing to restart it to see if maybe that fixes the issue.
Sure, I can start a new one.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
why
didn't
don't I?
mean to
All
like
right. So
interrupt,
give people a
but
couple minutes. I'll
yeah.
start it up. Get everybody back as speakers and everything. So we'll do
can
that.
you And Boomer here. So when you try to, like, if you want me to speak again, I don't know what you
I'll
have to
invite
do,
you
but
as speaker. I'll invite all four of you. Yeah, these people.
all right.
All right,
Thank you.
bye. Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right, let's try this again. Let's see if people can hear any better now. Let me add back my same co-hosts and speakers and all that stuff. Can
I
people
can hear
just
fine right now.
Hi,
okay?
Astro.
Hi, Val.
I wanted you to talk. Astro has like really, really good input. I was.
Hi, Meredith.
Hi, how are
Hi,
you?
Meredith number 2. Hi, Haley.
Hi.
Let me
So
see.
what's up,
Oh, I'm
Astro?
letting
Speak
Bonnie
your mind.
back.
I just want
Astro
to
always makes me
say
laugh. Yeah.
everyone should be prepared tomorrow. He is going on a vicious attack.
Yes.
He is going on a vicious attack. So everyone should
Already
be
tonight?
prepared.
Oh, he
You.
is tonight already?
Yeah, he's already doing it tonight. So I know he's likely going to come on Twitter tomorrow, even worse.
Oh, he's already
That's
talking about it. You know he's
Yeah.
pissed right now.
I mean,
And
he's
he's.
already done
Yeah.
everything this week, like in my real life. He's had people file fake DCF reports. I mean, he lied on his show that I do cocaine, which is false, and it's actually ironic. He's deciding to throw out that lie because one of my former friends that has kind of went with him actually does do that, and I would never put that out there. But anyways, yeah, he put that lie on his show. Then 2 days later, I get a call from DCF. For people who don't know, that's like child services. I've never had DCF in my life before. Like a lot of his audience, probably like with no judgment to people who've had issues, but like we don't have that in my life. So I get this call, and I was like, "Can I ask what these allegations are?" And it's that I do cocaine and that I fight with my daughter. My daughter's almost 16 years old. I don't know who doesn't argue with their teenager, and it's probably punishment for me because I was a wild child in my teenage years. And yeah, so that's one thing that's gone in real life. He's encouraged people to contact my work, and I mean, he named my daughter's school where she goes to school on her show. Luckily, nobody has done anything to her yet. I had to have a talk with her about it. Unfortunately, I don't like to kind of have to share these things, these adult things. You know, she is almost 16, so she sees these things anyways. But she was like, "Mom, like there's a reason why like I never asked for a picture with him and only wanted a picture with Karen Reed. Like I always knew you were way too good for him, and I'm so glad you're done with him and that he's doing this. Like what you're doing and like standing up to him and like what he's done to Karen is wrong, what he's doing to you is wrong, and like I don't care." And then I get her from school and like anything happened because he did name your school and stuff. Like I had to like tell like Warner. She's like, "No, nobody knows who he is. Nobody cares about him." I was like, "Good,
Yeah.
okay."
And I want to say kids, I have a son who's 18 and an 11-year-old, and I'll tell you, kids know. They know, when something is not right. They're a good judger of people. They know when, Mom, I don't like this person, or just even friends that I've had that they're like, oh, I don't like her. I feel like kids have good intuition. Oh,
Yeah.
my son's
Can
walking
people
in.
just like do like the react thing if this sounds better than the first one? Because I don't have a way to know because I could hear all of you guys the whole time on the last one. Like it didn't, there was no indication to me that the sound was off. So can people like either do thumbs up or whatever? I don't know. It sucks there's no chat, but
Oh, there's no chat. Yeah.
okay. I'm
I mean,
seeing
I
some
can hear
thumbs
fine.
up.
I mean, I could hear. Can you hear me, Meredith?
Yeah, I can hear you. So
Okay.
I could hear all you guys. It was just other
Yeah.
people, I think, who weren't speaking who said that they couldn't hear things. So
Oh, I could
Yeah,
hear
when
fine
I
last
came
time.
up, I could like there weren't any more glitches, but it's just like it doesn't even like sound staticky. It just sounds like the person like mutes themselves like mid speech, and then it'll like randomly, like somebody unmutes and it'll come back on. But I'm seeing in the comments people say it looks better, so that's
okay.
good.
So I'm really hoping that it's not like in the actual recording after the first one it's clear because and I think it hopefully will be because I could hear you guys fine and I think you guys we could hear speakers fine, right? So hopefully it's just an
Yeah, I
issue.
hear you guys fine.
I can't believe you fight with your 16-year-old. Oh my
I
goodness.
know. Yeah, so they've made his idiots who like they thought this was gonna be like a big, oh my god, this will stop Meredith now because they're probably like one DCF visit away from losing full custody. So that would be like a big deal for them. But it's like, no, this poor DCF worker, and I told her about it on the phone and she was like sympathetic. She's like, but I still have to come do a home visit. So now we have a home visit Monday afternoon, and she's gonna come. She's gonna see my daughter is healthy, happy, and quite honestly quite privileged. Like she'll see all like very nice things and stuff. Like there's no danger, and it's sad because like we know that there's a shortage of DCF workers. Like I mean, look at the Harmony Montgomery case. Like it was just things getting like pushed aside. There weren't enough people following up on it. This is just like all you're doing is hurting kids who really need help from GCF by doing this. So like this wasn't a hurt to me. It's more just a hassle, and it's
It's
embarrassing
ridiculous.
now saying that like I have like a DCF record now because we had a fake report. I don't know. I don't think that's even a thing, having a record, because it's supposed to be confidential, but it's like it's more just a hassle than anything. But so the real people that these people who making these reports like hurt are other kids who are actually being like abused and need the help. So
And
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
pretty
what do
annoying.
fucked
they
up that
gain
they
from
did that.
doing any? What do you gain from doing this?
I
It's the
don't.
internet. It's the internet. I don't know Meredith. Do any of you guys know Meredith in real life? No,
No.
no.
Like
And
even
who?
I argue with people, I would never think like, oh, I'm gonna go call DCF on them because it's just crazy. Like the way
I mean,
people are just sick. It's
It's
sick.
yeah,
crazy. And
Valerie, don't
why?
you think if you're like doing what Aiden's doing at home on his couch is more reason to call DCF
We should
I
call more
mean,
than
than we
anybody?
should call animal control on his ass. Something I don't know.
that's
DCF.
what that's what my daughter said. Allie was like that. I was like that man who's screaming on his show every night, like about like cunts and like all this stuff. Like you should.
Sexting.
She was like, you should call on him, and I was like, no, like that. At first, she was like, this is just sad for his kids what he's doing, but now after like the fake GCF report and stuff, and just all the other shit he's done that he's found out that she's done to Karen, she's mad now. She's like she's pissed. She's like burn him down. I'm like I'm not like that's not the point here. This is literally self defense. Like, and that's the thing,
Yeah.
these people are doing these real life things after me for over a month being silent, after being repeatedly poked, letting so much stuff slide before saying anything to defend myself, and now you've just totally like gone nuclear. So I have no choice but to respond, and they're doing this because I'm responding to his meltdowns and his lies, disgusting like hour long streams with his sick friends, like talking about our sex life, lying about our sex life,
I
everything.
mean, I mean
I'm
the
It's
literally
fact
just
that
so
he gets
responding.
off.
I'm
pathetic and
responding with
vile.
proof. I'm responding with facts and receipts, and that's
Right.
Yep.
upsetting them. That's spiraling them into calling people's jobs like DCF reports, and like it's sick.
I
It's
mean, the
sick
fact
what's
that he
happened.
gets off to somebody like Lindsay Catani after what she did to him, that in itself is just fucking, to me, it's just
Fucking
sick.
insane.
Yep.
Actually,
Like
real life
that
fucking
in itself is
insane.
just like, you know what? That's enough for me to be like, that person is not, something is really wrong with that person mentally, because after everything she did, you really are, you can be like sexually aroused by her. Like that's not normal.
I never
He's
thought he was. So a couple of people came to me like a few weeks before I even, or no, I got that text a few weeks ago where it was like, Eden was spotted leaving her apartment Thursday or whatever. They eventually posted because then somebody shared like a screenshot of her or whatever. But I got the text. I was like, this. I was like, this is Christy, because Christy keeps posting how like Lindsay was so much better than Meredith. Like she's like Lindsay's new number one fan. I was like, this is Christy. She thinks this is gonna upset me, and it's definitely not true. There's no way it's true. And then like other people on Twitter, like Kate and others, are posting like, yes, they're back together. Yes, it's true. We've seen a lot of posts like this. And then I get the text on that Saturday night where it's like a screenshot of her, but it's like, I don't know, that could be old. But like, I'm like thinking though more, I'm like, who would want to send this to me? Who would send me this text wanting me to think? And I thought it was Christy at first, like wanting to upset me, thinking that would make me mad about them being back together. I'm like, who would really want me to know this badly? And now I'm hearing also, like, I think that Friday morning when like Kate posted it, and then Aiden was on his live for his face, and he's like, Will just texted me, and like that whole thing. Like, I'm like, maybe this is true, but like, I was like, no, he wouldn't be this stupid. Like, she lied to put him in jail. He wouldn't put himself back like where she
Well, he
was.
admitted
But
that he like was like jerking. I mean, like watched the, he like
yeah,
gets off to
Yeah.
her. Like,
yeah,
I
and
mean,
but more people have messaged me. Somebody who has spoken to her and said that this did happen recently has told me this, and then a few other
yeah, I
people
heard
sent
that
me
too.
things like compare. Oh no, this analysis like comparing the apartments in it, because like apparently he admitted on his live, he's like the screenshot that's going around, that is me in it. He's admitted to him. He's like, but it's old. And then I have people sending me like a picture of the two apartments. They're like, no, that screenshot, that's her new apartment. I'm like, I just don't even want to touch this, but like that's
I
honestly like I
yeah.
think if I were to gun to my head, I think it is true that it is recent and he
If I
was
had to
that
say yes or
stupid.
no, I would say, for me, I would say yes, because just based on everything so far, 100% because he's entertaining her. It's like she's back in his good graces, even as sick as that. It doesn't matter. It's like that's the point of how toxic he is because it doesn't matter like what anybody has done to him. It's like he's just like that's a perfect example of how you're like you're the devil, but Lindsay is like the one who's helping him, right?
Yeah,
How
And
fucking
all
Right,
sick is
his
that?
exactly.
followers. Do you read all the posts? All these people that follow
Right,
him
which
are
is
all like,
crazy because
"Thank you, Lindsay.
everybody
We
was
love you, Lindsay." I'm
yeah.
like, "She what?
Like
What is
you
happening?"
just donated to his defense fund for so long to fight the case of this woman that he
Yeah,
spoke about on all of his lives for like a year or more.
yeah.
How
that's
fake
so.
victim, the
It's
baby Clay,
crazy.
what this woman did to him. People are donating money. Meredith, you're going to court with him to fight this case, and
That's
then
the
now
biggest
it's
thing
like
for me. Yeah.
he's helping me. What?
That's
Like
that's the thing about me at this point. Like,
Sick.
I'm not jealous. I'm not upset. It's none of my
no,
business
it's
who he
sick.
wants
It's
to.
just
It's
like
sick.
It's that it's her. It's that I wasted like hundreds of hours building like when he wanted to get the restraining order not renewed this past January. I spent 2 or 3 days of my like Christmas vacation gathering all of her tweets against him, writing like a script for Bradel basically about why this order shouldn't be renewed and everything. I like single-handedly helped him get that order not renewed with her, and then like the preparing for the trial with the restraining order violation. I spent I'm more mad just about all the time I wasted defending against her, and people who donated to his legal fund for that, which is an additional $100,000 just because of the issues with her, should be pissed that they
that's
just basically
crazy.
threw money out the window. And it should really
Yeah.
question the sanity of him that he's putting himself in these dangerous
Yeah.
situations to somebody who has already before lied about what happened between the two of him, and a Commonwealth that's ready to believe her if it means putting him in jail.
Yeah.
And he's putting himself in these dangerous situations. Somebody who is near him, like people like Jess Mastrano encouraging this reunion. Nobody around him is giving him
Crazy.
great advice. Anybody who knows him and actually cares about him should be telling him this is you need serious help. And
This is not
he
no
told me he
crazy.
stopped going. He was seeing a therapist for a while because I figured it out and I set it up for him. I figured out what insurance would or what online therapist would take his insurance. I found one for him and I showed him exactly how to set it up. He was regularly doing therapy for over a year. When one of the last times he spoke, he said he stopped doing it pretty much right when we broke up because he was busy and stopped doing it. He needs therapy, and the audacity for him to be saying that me reacting to defend myself against his what he's done rationally with calmly with
Crazy.
receipts is like a mental illness and this is a mental breakdown. No, this is me being pushed and pushed and poked, and me finally getting back to myself, to the strong person I was before I met you, before I had anything to do, before my life was taken over by turtle boy crap. And this is a reaction to disgusting fake accusations, dangerous accusations that people are now running with to affect my real life. And nothing's mentally ill about it. If anything, though, the decisions he's making, somebody, I wish, I really do wish he had somebody who would just help him.
Well,
Somebody who remembers when he was sent to jail on Christmas Eve from her, and just the fact that he would put himself in this dangerous situation. And the more I hear about it, I think it's true. And I think it was Lindsay who was texting me this because somebody else pointed out that apparently the night before, it was Wednesday morning, I got this text. And apparently the night before on his live, he was talking about how like I used to like be there to talk to him in jail all this time. And like somebody was like, I bet that set her off. And that's why she wanted like me to know that like they were back together because Aiden and I weren't in a public feud yet, so probably she thought that like the door was still open to that, which it's not. Like that for a lot of people messaged me like, and Allie was like a couple weeks ago like, please don't ever get back together. Then I'm just like, never.
never.
We're never getting back together, like ever, like that. I can't even like besides the way he's acted this week, just the fact that he would go back to Lindsay, that's just I will never look at him the same again after like everything that we went through together in the last year and a half with her. Like I can't even. He's not the same person. He says that he doesn't know me anymore. I don't know him anymore. He's not the same person because I did see glimpses of a good person, especially like right when he got out of jail. Like he's like the situation I got thrown into with where I'm having this like side piece and she puts me in jail. Like I needed to restart my whole life. Like I want to be better for my kids, for my family, for you. Like this was, and I really did see a change, and he calmed himself down. He wasn't as like vulgar and out there as he's been again recently. Like he really did seem to want to change. And I know everybody's like, you should have known, and you're right. I should have known. I should have been smarter, but he was very convincing. And for a while, like it's not just when he was in jail, like he was really good up until like really the end of I don't know. Like last winter, it got obviously really bad when I found the Apple Watch thing, but like in the fall it was starting to see like signs of like some of his old thing, and like, but there was a, up until like that thing on the watch, the boob photos, it didn't even cross my mind that he would ever even think about another girl. Like I thought all the trolls who were like, oh, he's a serial cheater, he's definitely like sending jerk off videos to people, I thought that they were just like, oh, they're just saying this because they hate Aiden so much. It's like turtle boy dreams system. It's not true. He'd never do that
Yeah,
to me.
it's almost like you
And
get you feel upset with yourself that how could I have been so naive to believe like, but you know sometimes that's what we do. We want to believe and we take them for their word, even, and we're like, and then sometimes it's more devastating because it's like I actually really didn't believe that this person was like this,
Yep.
Well,
and
another,
even though
yeah,
Life lessons.
another,
That's what life lessons. It happens. You
but the
get it.
other
You
thing
can't
is,
yeah,
beat
guys,
yourself up about it. You know.
the other thing is the relationships he was in before me, or what, if you would even call them that, he was still living with his wife and not even close to being divorced. The second he got out of jail, like he wasn't living with her. He was finally living separately. He started the divorce proceeding. He got a lawyer in March, and I know he's like, I was rushing into divorce. Yeah, I was keeping on him to like keep following up with what he needed to do. It's a lot of paperwork getting divorced, and I helped him with that. And he said he was like appreciative of it because he didn't have time to do it all with the case going on, and I was happy to help him. Yeah, selfishly too, because I didn't like all the trolls at me like, oh, she's with a married man sleeping,
yeah,
but like he is actually
normal.
legally
That's
separated
normal.
now. Like I thought it was also I thought he meant it, that he was going to be different, because this was a different situation than he'd ever been in before. But it was always sneaking around with like while living at home with a wife that he had to constantly lie about. This like it could be, we could be somewhat open. I mean, I didn't want us to be totally open right away. We basically were caught when we were seen walking out to court together the day of the RO violation. People started, rumors started, and then it was confirmed when Christie posted the picture of his car in Southie. But like, we didn't even want it out that publicly then. But it was a different situation than before. The divorce was in the works. He wasn't living with his ex-wife. He rented a new house separately. It was a different situation on top of him supposedly being changed from jail. So, I mean, I know, like, yes, I should have known and stuff, but it's
It's not really,
also,
yeah, it's like I said, it's a lesson. I feel like
Yeah. Life
as more
lesson.
time goes on, as more time goes on, you're going to actually probably go through different, it's almost like you go through a grieving process and you're going to feel different things. Like, and then at one point, you're going to really look back and say, wow, I can't believe. And then you learn from it and you say, you know what? You take it as a learning experience. And then, if you learn and then life graduate you to the next step, and you're better because of it. It doesn't make you, it feels like shit for a while, especially when somebody's, doing this to you. But when it's all said and done, it's gonna help you and you're gonna be better off in the end, you know?
yeah. I mean, I feel better. I feel I've
Yeah, speaking your
every
truth and just
every
breaking free
but
from it
even
is
when we first broke up in July, I felt every week that went by, I felt more and more like myself and better. And like I thought things were like fine. We put in past, and then we started talking again and falling back into old habits. And it's been obviously an
yeah,
awful
you know
couple months.
better.
But now it's like at this point,
The emotional roller coaster,
it's
you
just
know?
cathartic that it's out there, because at least now I don't have to keep pretending I didn't hear a recording and just letting these like rumors fly about me uncorrected. And it's refreshing. As
Yeah.
much as it's taken a toll on me in my real life, especially this past week, it's a relief, because he can't keep holding it over my head either, because it was months that he was threatening me with like putting this stuff out there. I got to the point where it's just like, go ahead,
Like,
you
what can
know.
you do? You own something, what can they do to you? Nothing. Or when you say, you know what, go ahead, just say whatever you want to say. It's kind of like, you know, you disarm them like that. Like, there's nothing really else he can do. It's just like he can't threaten you anymore because you're speaking about it. Like, so
And the only person who's hurting is him because he cannot own anything. He
nothing.
can't own
Right.
anything. Everything, the reason we're here is because of him. Everything from the very start. And there's a scapegoat for everything. He can't take accountability at all. And the people who enable him, it's the reason that he's on this downward spiral.
Mm-hmm.
He's commenting under every post saying that Meredith's mentally ill. If you support
Mm-hmm.
this, you support mental illness. She needs help. You're not her
Mm-hmm.
friend. You don't know her in real life. Do any of
Mm-hmm.
your supporters know you? Do any
Mm-hmm.
of them know you? You just can't stand to see that people are seeing through your bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
First it was Karen, now it's Meredith. How come everyone's a psycho? Is everyone really a psychopath? Every woman that you interact with.
I think
Yep.
people are starting to realize that he's the common denominator in this, and that
Yep.
everybody
Mhm.
else can't be the
Mhm.
problem because that's
And his yep, his supporters are like flying monkeys. That's what they for me it's like, I know I always say narcissist, but I really truly believe that that's what he is. I'm not a psychologist, but based on his behavior patterns and everything that I've seen, I feel very strongly that that's what he is, and it kind of just fits, and then like you see different things and how he takes control, and he has these people that are like die hard for him, and it's just like you start to realize what's really going on.
And
And I
it'll
think
be
it's
it'll be his
interesting that,
downfall.
oh, go ahead, honey. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it'll be his downfall. They'll say, "Oh, like they act like he can't do anything wrong." Like with the Howie Carr situation,
Yeah.
everybody was like, "Yeah, Karen owes you the first interview." Blah blah blah. It's like, where's that relationship? Where's the relationship with Karen?
yeah.
She's
Right.
not doing any documentaries with you. She's not doing any movies with you.
This whole thing, like where you keep saying Karen should do this, Karen do that. How about somebody who can't even control their own life, this dumpster fire like life that's going on, should probably stop telling another woman what to do, who and what she should do like PR wise and this and that, like just enough, like why how that's become normalized, how everybody and his fans like think that they're entitled to say what she should or shouldn't do when she's still like, yes, the criminal trial's over, but she also is being sued by the O'Keefes, who, like, when one of the recent hearings, they were trying to bring it in that, like, that she directs Aiden or something, which is not true. She never told Aiden to do any of the reckless stuff he does. Like, and he said on his shows that she doesn't control me. Like, and she wishes, I think his response to the lawyer that said that claimed Karen had creative control, his response was, she wishes, which is true. She doesn't. She doesn't control him. He's done all this stuff on his own. And but do people really think that what she's doing with, and she has the smartest attorney, like one of the smartest attorneys in the country, isn't there's not a reason for what she's doing if she hasn't said something or done whatever he thinks that he should do or thinks he's deserved from her? Like it's not, it's everything she does is there's a reason behind, does or doesn't do, there is a reason behind it. And I would guess, and
So
I'm not speaking for her, we haven't talked about this, we don't talk about stuff like this. I would guess if it was being alleged by the people suing me for millions of dollars at a recent hearing that I'm controlling somebody, maybe doing a big public thank you isn't the best idea right now. And also maybe he doesn't deserve it after the way he's treated her and he's proven to be a constant liability in her life the last 2 years.
right
Maybe that's
after
why.
that he's done, I feel like she's the opposite. She's kind of like I like now I believe. I mean, I didn't believe it before, but now it's like it's so clear that like she would never, like she's trying to like talk him off the ledge, like don't do this, don't do that, like he's a liability, right? Exactly.
And
So
you know
the
what?
fact
She
that
did
they
thank him
thought that she was
privately at that
controlling and
dinner.
making him do
Yeah,
these
sorry.
crazy, no, I'm sorry, it's just crazy because now we see like the truth of everything coming out, and it's like it's even more clear that she was never instructing him or like telling him, oh, go do this, go do that. I feel like that's not what she was doing. And even
Yeah.
with Lindsay that night, she was saying, don't go there, don't do that, don't put yourself
Yeah.
in that situation. He did it anyway.
Yeah, while we're
Girls, can I
here, I
say
just want to
something?
put, let me just quick thing while we're on that. I just want to put on the record. She did thank him at the dinner the night of the verdict night, the one that he invited himself to. That it was basically just her legal team and her very close family. But I was invited because as soon as he invited himself, there were like, she specifically was like, please make sure Meredith comes.
Yeah, which is
So
the
I
right thing
actually
to do.
I was invited and I spoke to her and she did thank him that night. Like, and she gave him a hug and stuff. And it was a nice dinner. And I thanked her like after. I was like, thank you so much. That was so nice of you to include me. And I would have understood it even if like it was like, okay, yes, just I told Eden too. It was like if she just says you can come and I can come, like you should go, you should definitely be there. That's like an important night for you and stuff. But she did invite me. So like I didn't show up uninvited. He did, and she thanked him. So this like that she hasn't thanked me privately either is like he's like, I've never said a bad word about her.
Right.
And no, it's like you're painting her out to be this ungrateful person, which isn't true. And you also don't share the full side of like all the stuff you've done to be a total liability to her. Like I was just saying, now that I know like a lot of it, and I probably don't even
Yeah.
know the half of it, like there's no wonder why Karen Reed would want nothing to do with him. There's no question in my mind like that she's not justified in distancing herself from him.
And even the picture that she took with him that night, that was from the dinner with they had their fists
Yeah,
up
I
and
was
he posted
there.
it.
I
It's
pulled
like
up the
she
Instagram, the original, to see for them to do the pose, and she was happy to do it and everything, and like did that for him, and he was so excited. She said thank you to him. This whole thing,
did,
like
did he ask her to do that pose?
yeah, he asked her to.
Oh, he was like, "Can you take a picture like this with me?"
Yeah,
What?
like he was like,
Up?
I think we had this idea before when I found this picture of Colin with the fist up to do it. He was like, let's do it now, and she was like, okay. She didn't say no or anything. I mean, she wasn't like super enthusiastic about doing it, but she was like, sure. She did it for him to appease
Interesting.
him.
Interesting. Hmm. I don't know. I just feel like it's funny that he had like the pose already, like, determined how he wanted to take the picture with her.
He's been fantasizing about that moment.
Yeah.
He was ready.
Yes.
He was ready for that.
Right. Right, Astro. Right. Exactly. He was like, he already had it planned. Like, we're gonna take this picture like this, and this is gonna happen like this, and we're gonna do that, and da da
And we're
da.
gonna have a documentary. No.
Yeah, it went 1.5 million. I have one, Meredith. I have another question since we're on that topic. So, if you know, I don't know if you know, when he says $1.5 million, right? Oh, we offered Karen 1.5 or for this documentary. Where does he get that number from? Is that like an actual
A
number?
lot of people have asked me this week because apparently he's been saying on his stream that he's like, Meredith knows that too. I absolutely was never there for that number, and I asked him what the number was that Jeff, the producer, was offering her to join it, and he didn't tell me because he didn't know what it was at the time. So this must have happened after the breakup, and I think he's since trying to say it's also a movie deal, which she already signed something for another movie deal, so I don't even think she could sign one with him. But like that's not just for the documentary if he's saying 1.5. I've also never seen proof of it, and I also think so. I have his contract and what he's getting for the documentary. It's less than $200,000. Do you really think the greediest man in the world would be being
Wow.
okay with her getting 1.5 for just the doc?
Oh
He
my
made some
God.
comment how he's like, well, it includes the movie rights too, the 1.5. Again,
So
I we
this is
were
crazy.
this
Right.
discussion must have happened
Exactly.
after our like breakup because I never heard that number, and I never even heard like him looping her into movie rights deals too, because his agreement, the one I showed a small screenshot of, is for a documentary, and this company is doing a deal with him because he had originally signed with another documentary company that didn't end up making it. So when that terminated in the summer of 2024, he signed with the person, this company that is doing the fiction film with him. So it's the same company doing both. So they're lumped together. So it sounds like he's trying to say that he's also trying to get Karen lumped with that deal. And no wonder, why would she sign a deal that would make him
Yeah.
like
So
linked to her for another couple of years? Like,
it's the same 105-year story that he's now
yeah,
turning.
but I've never seen any proof of this 1.9 million. So for him to say Meredith
Yeah.
knows too is just false. But
Yeah.
if he's just saying that that's what the offer is to the documentary, there's no way that's true. There's no way he's letting her get that much more than him. No way
Interesting. I've
in
always
hell.
wondered about that. Like, where is he getting this number
There's
from?
no way. Honestly, 10 million, 100 million is worth like Brandy said the other night.
Must
It's
he
signing a
must be
deal with the
adding up all
devil.
the royalties. He must be doing like what he did with his charges. I'm adding up all the royalties that I would get from the day the documentary starts to the day that it ends, and predicting like, okay, if I sell out and it's like, where is he getting this number from? It's
Yeah.
not. Yeah. Oh,
Meredith, I want to just tell you, I'm sorry, I just got this sent to me. So I just got a screenshot from Turtle Boy's live chats, and Jen Altman just wrote, Meredith needs to be spoken to by the police. Enough is enough.
Yep, that's exactly what I was about to say.
Spoken to the
She
police
is
about what?
They're
so
yeah.
fucking
insane.
pathetic.
They are
Like,
That's
so
her favorite
insane.
thing to do.
I said that
She's
on one of my posts too. I was like, so, okay, Meredith bad. Meredith did everything. So why didn't he just go to the police? If you blackmailed him, threatened him, extorted him,
They're
wiretapped him,
so
he
mad.
should
They're
have
so
gone to the
mad.
police instead of doing his live streams, and it should have filed charges against you.
Jen
Like,
that's
Altman
what
needs
they
to,
all
Jen
say
Altman
though.
needs to,
They just go
police
in
need to speak
people's
to Jen Altman. That's what the police need to speak to. Jen Altman is fucking disgusting. The nerve of her to even say that when
you
she's the
know,
most.
Valerie,
Can
she's
I?
the one that sent me a message, and because I was speaking out, defending Meredith, she sent me a Facebook message because we
Ugh,
like talked before, and so she knows who I am. We've talked about our kids in
fuck
college,
her.
blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
she sent me
Mhm.
a text message, and she said, "It would." She goes, "It would." She goes, "Do people on Twitter know your real name?" And then the next morning, Chelsea posted my real name.
So
Actually,
stupid. Like,
one of the last texts she sent me this week, she goes, "I will go right to your parents and your job. I'm not playing games." To me, that was this
she is
week.
What?
stupid. Yeah.
Your parents and your job about what? Like,
I know
they really think you're mentally ill.
this
You
whole
are the
thing,
most eloquent sane person posting all your actual receipts. He still has not posted one thing. Where's that phone call log that you supposedly called his ex-wife? Like, where's that police
Yeah,
log? Where's all his proof? He has no proof whatsoever, but he's calling you out. And then he keeps saying, like, he messaged me privately. He's like, you've been a longtime supporter and it's a shame to lose you. And I
Oh
can't
my
believe that
God.
you're believing this mentally ill person. You
Oh
don't
my
know her. You're not
gosh.
helping her. And her real friends know that she's in dire straits and needs mental help. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
He's
you're
getting, let me
such
tell you
a
something. He's getting
manipulative.
desperate. He's getting very
I
that
think
Who
if
oh
you
does
were
that?
mentally ill, your parents or someone would know.
yeah.
Like, they
no,
would
I
know
had
to
to
help
tell
you.
my I had to tell my parents about all this stuff just because I talk to my mom every day, and she already knows what a pain in the ass is. They see right through him. Like I think he started off shows like I'm sure her parents like watch my content and stuff like, and they're all seeing this and they're nice people. It's like, bro, please don't flatter yourself to think that they watch you unless you're on Howie Carr and listen to any of your stuff. Like, just stop it. Like,
Go
and
ahead.
he's
There were Howie Carr supporters. He said that.
yeah,
And then
and
Somebody just
put
said
himself in there too. Like, oh, well, they watch Howie Carr, so they're turtle riders also. It's like, no.
no.
someone just said Altman wants to fuck him so bad, and I wanted to read that out loud because I've said that. And Christy, it's like these like the vocal women on his side. I swear to fucking God, they were just waiting in the wings, waiting for the breakup, so they could pounce. And it's like the same little group of people. Someone should check on their kids. Someone needs to call DCF.
Oh,
Do they
please.
ever
Old
get
man.
on Twitter? Do
Yeah.
they? It's like shut the fuck
Did,
up.
did,
Old
did
Like
man.
Jen
we're
say exactly what the police should talk to me about? For I thought we had free speech here. I'm literally just telling my side
Right.
of the
First
story of this.
right.
What
Right.
happened to free
no.
speech?
She likes to do like the implied threats or whatever, you know what I mean, like the vague interpretations. That's what they do. They'll just put it out there, and so then you have the Christies of the world that are just crazy enough to take those comments and be like, maybe I should call the police, and then they just pull whatever comes out of their ass
But
and just like run with it.
yes, an
What is
older
up
brother.
with her? She's I try to, I mean, I'm blocked by her, but I try to read her
Oh,
posts,
he
and
follows me.
I mean, that person is crazy. Like, I can't even understand her posts at
But I
all.
think it's crazy that with all the corruption, they're like, oh, we support injustice and we want to fight corruption, right? And now it's like, oh, the minute that they get exposed or their leader gets exposed, it's like, oh, the police need to get involved, and it's just like, what side are you on right now? Like now you want to call the
Exactly.
police?
They
Like
like the praise. They like the male validation. Like
crazy.
it's desperate and it's fucking pathetic and
Like
lame.
Can
And
we,
they
while we're
both
on that, can we talk about Joe Flipperhead briefly and just how like pathetic it is? He came in here like pretending to be like white knighting for Karen Reed because he felt so cool. Karen texted her
Mhm.
telling him how Aiden recorded me and like I want my story out there, whatever. She never gave him permission to post her messages on the internet, by the way, and that was probably like the first time when she's like, yeah, I don't know about him, but just how he came in pretending to be like white knighting for her, wanting to like get the truth out for Karen, and like in his messages with me, which I've now posted all of them, by the way, because he's been posting for over a month, posting snips here and there. And Aiden didn't want me posting them either for a while because I admit about the recording. He's like, we don't need that out there. But it's like when you see the filled picture of him, where he comes to me trying to like sympathize about the Mary Neal account, and he's like, tell your truth. He's like, I'll support you over and over again. I'll tell the truth and stand up to him. It's sad you have to live like this. And I'm like, this is like you're in Pennsylvania, like koalas across the world. Like this is actually like I live around here, and exactly what's happening this week with like DCF reports and job things. Like this is my real
yeah.
life. Like I don't want this to blow up. I don't want I didn't want all this stuff out there ever. I never wanted to get to this point, and he's like trying to get me to do that, like and publicly speak out against Aiden. And then he goes like, what does he do? He goes right back to Aiden. All the like this
Yep.
guy who's already done streams on him called he's a stream I've called Joe Flipperhead is a psychopath. So that's what I labeled
Yep.
my texts, by the way, in that Google Drive file. The screen recording all of them. Joe Flipperhead is a psychopath. The same title of Aiden's stream. Like what a pathetic little bitch going
And then
right back.
purple.
And now he's up Aiden's ass, posting stuff
Yep.
about me, making videos about me. It's like okay, bro, like that you should be
Yeah,
so
for
embarrassed
that.
for yourself. And this
Yeah.
was all
Yep.
from the start. He
Yeah.
was only in this because he wanted to get Aiden to get people to stop going after him about the Olivia stuff, specifically like the purple Kool-Aid guy. So you guys know,
Yeah.
so Karen texted him that text that's now leaked, that Joe leaked, where she's like, Aiden's been recording me and like this is the last straw. He went to Aiden with that text first before he ever started going to Chris and trying to stick up for Karen. He tried to broker a deal with Aiden to get Aiden to call off purple Kool-Aid from like exposing him with Olivia. So he was always in it for himself. He was always like, this was never
Wow.
about sticking up for Karen. And you can tell now just how like up Aiden's ass he is. It's embarrassing. Like this is a grown man in his 30s now wanting to be so desperately liked by
Yeah.
somebody who already publicly humiliated him far more than I ever did. Which anything I've said about Joe now is just in reaction to him like being the snake he is. He tried to make it seem like I gave Kate Peter signal messages with Aiden and Karen when Aiden gave them to Joe and Joe gave them to Kate. So can you imagine why
Wow.
Karen wants nothing to do with Aiden when he's literally sharing their signal messages to the whole internet? And I've seen all of them. There's no conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. There's no like directing like people are like the other side likes to say. No, I've seen them all. There's nothing. And that's why like Aiden said to me, if I had something to go to turn against her, Telly, I would at this point. And I've seen them all. He has nothing. He did all this stupid shit that got him in this trouble all by himself. Nothing to do with Karen. Karen didn't direct it. Karen didn't condone it. Karen agrees he went too far and he's in his own mess because of himself.
I always think like how parents probably, I mean, how Karen's parents probably feel about it. Like this is like even her father. Like her father must have like no respect for him. It's like, yeah, yeah. You said my daughter was not guilty, and you know, you brought the story out, but like the way he's speaking about her and has everybody talking shit and calling her all types of names. Like there's no way her father or parents have any type of respect for him, and I just feel like, and what he's done and what he's allowed his audience and people to do, I don't feel like that's a respect you could like ever earn back. I think that it's gone for him. And I don't think she'll ever do anything or work with him or do anything with him ever. I think that that's over for him. And I think that he's always going to have a hard time with that. He's probably never going to get over it, which is sad.
No.
Yeah.
Bonnie, I see you just posted text kind of relevant to the situation. Can you like explain it for the lay people, like what you were trying to say?
What?
Oh,
Can
Bonnie
I
like
say
posted
something,
some text.
girls?
Oh yeah, I put the screenshots in the chat from the flip thing.
Oh, let Jimmy speak. Go ahead, Jimmy. Because he's been waiting to speak. Go
Yeah, I
I
ahead.
need a
just want
break.
nah, it's cool, man. You
I'm
girls
going to
like
mute. Go ahead.
you
Yep, go ahead.
girls. I don't know if you guys know who I am or anything, but like just say this, man. The dude's a master at deflection. He was going at it with my boy. Some of you know who my boy is. Um JFK. And I just want to say that it's about time, Meredith, that you see the light. And hope you fucking excuse my language, but I hope you rock his world. And I think you and Valerie ought to start a show together because you two can wipe them down together. You got a lot of supporters. There's a lot of people here.
That's
You
nice to
know.
hear, but like again, that was never my goal to do this. I never wanted this to come out. I never had some vendetta against him to attack him
No, but you
publicly.
have to at this point. You
At
have to.
this point, I've been left with no choice, and I'm just trying to defend myself against the stuff he's done to me, to Karen, to Valerie, anybody else he wants to try and bully again who's done nothing to him. And it's hard because there are some people he's gone after that he was correct about, and but I don't condone the harshness with which he's done it, but there are a lot of people he's right about. I'm not like ready to align myself with all of his
It just.
enemies, but
No, I get it. I get it. No, I get that,
I
man.
just want him
I'm just saying.
to stop the lying, to stop the gaslighting, to stop going after people's real lives, to stop lying about Karen's fundraiser, to stop telling people not to
Hundred
donate
percent.
to her, to stop all of the bullshit. That's really
100%.
what it is. And
You're right.
he woke up a sleeping giant who was thinking a lot of these things about him for a long time, and now he's opened something. You can't put the genie back in the bottle, as David Nettie said.
Yeah, no doubt. But thank you for letting me speak, Meredith. And like I said, man, it's good to hear you. It's good to hear you come out here and speak for yourself. Because to read it and the tweets and all that, it's one thing, but to hear you, It's like now I really believe your side because I mean everything. Every time the dude just lies, 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 lies. Then when he gets caught in his lies, he starts deflecting, and he's a good deflector. He's good at it. So to see somebody like he met his match, man. That's all I want to say, man.
Yeah,
And
and
good
I
show.
get it. A lot of people are like the long tweets aren't effective and everything, but it's so much to consume, and I'm trying to figure out logistically the best way to do this. Whether it's I do make a YouTube so that I can I want to just go through his streams from start to finish, pause, bring up receipts and pause, but I need to do something with video for that. Like, and I don't know how to
Yeah.
do like screen sharing and
We
stuff. I'm working on logistics. So I feel like this was a good place to start, at least talking about the background of their recording and what brought us here to where this person is feeling the need to deflect by doing 20 plus hours of streams about the personal details of his relationships
that's
and
wild.
lie about his ex-girlfriend, lie about somebody like that and react in this like really embarrassing public way, especially for a 44-year-old father. So um,
Jesus.
I figured this was a good place to start with this starting about the background on the recording, what led to this very public blow up that I never wanted to get to. It was never my mission to take him down. I moved on. I wanted to just get out of this relationship quietly, not be picked on anymore by like people on the other side because I was his girlfriend, be done with him, like just kind of rid myself from being associated with him. And instead, because I heard a recording I didn't even want to hear, I didn't ask to be played. Like even at lunch, I never asked him. He took his phone out. He was like, "Listen to this." I was like, "You already told me like what it said," and now I get dragged into this, and it's like he just can't stand that somebody gets away from him and doesn't still like want to be with him and want to follow his every move.
No, I hear you, man. Good for you to finally speak up, man. I'll be
You should
listening,
name it
girls.
Ratchet.
What?
What's
Your
that?
YouTube, you should name it Ratchet.
Oh
Name
my
what
god.
Oh,
ratchet?
you name it toxic.
Uh, I'm sure you're gonna figure out something to call it, but whatever you
Yeah.
call it, man, just good luck. And I'm Team Meredith, man.
Oh, you see.
Good night, girls. I'll be listening.
Thank you.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you, Jen.
I could already see him losing his shit if a YouTube was really made. So somebody needs to pull all the clips where he talks about how he loves revenge and everything, so that that's just ready to go to flood. And we're like, yeah, I made this to get at you.
There's just so much to go through. I mean, the 20 plus hours, but all the stuff he's done before that, like leading up to this, like what I'm really most interested in is I want to clip everything. And I've seen like a rough draft of this of all of the little like subtle shade he threw at Karen, just to totally blow out of the water this narrative that he was quiet. He didn't want to say anything bad about Karen because he didn't want to like um, badmouth her and make her public image bad. He was protecting her. He was Karen's hero. When really, no, he's been throwing shade at her for as long as he can remember. And even before post trial, when he felt entitled to this interview, he was badmouthing her about the documentary. Any days, like, and I knew it because I knew behind the scenes what was happening with them. She couldn't do X, Y, Z. That he was making more like unrealistic demands from her, from somebody who's in the middle of a murder trial, and he wasn't getting his way, so he'd throw more shade at her. And she probably just didn't know about a lot of it because she wasn't watching his shows, contrary to his belief that the world revolves around him during her trial, and she didn't hear it. So this narrative that like he was always protecting her and always trying to do like what was best for her image. No, it was only when it was convenient for him and it was conditional. When she was doing exactly what he wanted, that's when he was doing what was best for her. That's when he was doing it. And it couldn't be further from the truth that he was keeping quiet. And he's been telling people now like Karen's been bad mouthing me for a while, all because she like finally made two comments on a JFK show because she was sick of it. Like the people like lying, especially like the others who heard it and were lying to her and saying she was a bad person for having the audacity to be upset about the recording. And like, yeah, she made two comments in a chat and that's the end of the world. That's was just to open the floodgates. And that's what led us here to people thinking it's okay to publicly call her a cunt. And somebody
And I,
mentioned her parents before this. Like that's what like also really got to me. Like imagine her parents hearing that stuff. I don't know because I haven't spoken to them since like the trial ending, but like they are some of the I spent a lot of time with them during the trial, and even before that, before the first trial, I was at Karen's house. I helped make signs for standouts with my friend Deanna. We went to her house while Aiden was in jail, actually, and I spent time with her family there. They're the nicest people, and I just for them to see these things being said by people who supported their daughter for the last couple of years, I hope they don't see it. I hope they don't because as somebody told me recently, like he is this small, like little universe that populates, that congregates on Twitter. It's these diehard turtle riders. They're on his show, and then they come to Twitter. But this is not like that's not representative of the whole population. Like Karen goes out in real life, and she has so much support. This narrative and this like just false like lens that he's looking at, that he has everybody is he's right. He's successfully turned dirty against Karen, is just, it's not correct. It's just people in his atmosphere are afraid to speak up. They're afraid to stand up to him, because you know what happens when you do. He bullies you until, like, he's been in everybody, people who have 20 followers, people who have 10 followers. He's been in all their DMs this week. Anybody who stands up to for me and isn't just blindly believing what he feeds his audience is a target for him.
I
It's
wanted to say one quick thing, Meredith, about the, just before I forget about what Jimmy was saying about JFK, right? So another point is that yes, Karen went into JFK's chat, but I feel like she went there because they were the ones that started asking questions like on the YouTube, and Will was on there, and then it was like this big thing back and forth, and Nurse Kim got on, and then um they were asking questions, and I felt that she felt comfortable to go into their chat to make those comments. She didn't go on their show, and it wasn't like this big thing, but even her going in their chat and commenting, it was like the end of the world for him. I mean, like it was like, oh, JFK, Hood Booger Radio, and then Ray from Dallas did all these shows about how horrible JFK and James Jackson. I mean, listen, it's like even just stuff like that. Like they were just a platform on YouTube, right? And Karen made two comments in the chat, and it was like he automatically went nuts. It's just
Well, it
what
was
did
the
she
end
even
of the
say?
world
All
for
she said.
all of them. All of them. Will, Kim,
yeah.
Jimmy, all of them. All of them immediately had something to say about it. Oh, that's not the real Karen. It's fake. It's so
Right.
evident how they reacted. It's so evident that they are somehow involved, that there's some level of guilt there. And Val, you mentioned her family, and I just want to say, Karen, Meredith, you were there. Karen spent time with them, invited them to court, um, spoke with them, ate with them. Kelly Reed was there guiding them. They were in close proximity to this family. Why would you be okay with something like this happening to Karen, someone that you claim to support? I can't imagine how she feels. I absolutely understand her going into JFK's chat and saying something.
Yeah.
And then I'll also like to mention that when she came in the chat and after she left, I believe JFK said that he received a text from Karen and she was crying because of the support that she saw in the chat.
Mm.
Why put her through this? Just to protect yourself from a lie.
Well, I don't, I can't, I haven't, the only one I've really talked to about this is Kim. For a brief time, she and I were talking just because of Jess, and some of Jess was like trashing me and her and Will on her show, saying we heard it and we're all lying and stuff, and saying I for sure without any proof that I shared it. So I talked to her about it, and she basically told me, and I don't know if this was just a lie. I'm leaning towards a lie. She was like, Meredith, like I didn't even know at the time that like the recording he was playing for me was like illegal. If I knew, maybe I would have told Karen, but like I have a family and stuff, and I'm kind of afraid of Aiden and stuff. And I was like, I actually thought she meant it, and she was like, I understand how you're scared too, and blah blah blah. And it's like, first of all, though, I'm like, you didn't understand how wiretapping laws work when you're like a pretty avid follower of Turtle Boy. Like, okay, but that's fine. And I can tell she clearly is like kept denying it. She wanted to keep the door open so that like if things fall through with Aiden, she could maybe leave the door open with Karen. So it's like whatever, that's fine. Be selfish like that, but don't then go and keep denying hearing it and saying that. I mean, she was denying it at first just to protect Aiden, but not only denying it, but saying Karen's awful. She was making comments like Karen, like I didn't hear it. You're awful for even accusing me of here. When she knows
Mm-hmm.
damn well she heard it, she's lying on it, and she's joined on the bandwagon of bashing Karen as ungrateful, and now accusing me of sharing it and bashing me as this psychopath. So like any sympathy I had for her of being scared to standing up for Aiden is she could have just been quiet or just like kept a more neutral position on it than going on the offensive against Karen and against me. So I have no sympathy for her. I can imagine Will is just so far like up Aiden's ass that there's no hope for him. There's no hope for him. And I think he cares more about being like on Aiden's good side than Karen's because he lives like in wherever he lives in Kentucky, right? And he's always just had like this online life with YouTubers
He
and
has no show without
yeah.
Yeah.
him.
Oh
He
my
has
God.
Oh
Yeah.
nothing.
my
He has no
gosh.
I
content.
made a post about this yesterday. Like Aiden breathes. Will does a live. Aiden goes to court. He's live. Aiden scratches
Yep.
his butt. Will goes live to
Yep.
announce it. Like yesterday,
He has no show except
Aiden
Aiden.
made a video about Mike Crawford yesterday, and he immediately he's like, I'm going live. I'm gonna go dissect Aiden's video of Mike Crawford. Like imagine like not having one single original thought or content in your like in your brain. Like what is he gonna do? Like I don't know. I guess Aiden will keep having these meltdowns, so he'll never have.
And
An,
then they go, at the
Yep.
start of this, they go, we're in this for corruption.
No,
I'm
please.
trying to bring justice for the state of Massachusetts. Like that's all, and like what Will's saying. They're just like, we have to cover these cases. What have you guys done?
Yep.
Nothing.
What have you guys done? You've done absolutely nothing. Like
and they love to
they're
throw
literally
that they
doing
all
But
raised
nothing.
money.
they
They
can
did these fundraisers. Will raised X amount of dollars, but again, just like Aiden, Will's audience and the money he was making from this was a fraction of what it was worth. Will had another full time job before this, but then because of this trial, he was able to quit his full time job and do this full time and make enough money. All of them, Nurse Kim didn't even have a YouTube before this. All of them have made substantial amounts of money, and they think that she owes them anything. It's without even acknowledging that they've
I
made so much money off her is just it's sick.
I would like to go back.
Acknowledging it, and then I can guarantee
Oh,
you they're
yeah.
gonna try to cover the civil proceedings, like, and then the excuse will be like, oh, this is about this is about corruption, what they say, and it's just like all of you told everyone not to donate to Karen.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say anybody who's like of any of them after all the bad mouthing they've done her and they try to profit off of her and grift off of her, like they should be ashamed of themselves.
Absolutely.
Ashamed. Find
Yeah.
something else. Find somebody else to talk
Yeah.
about. Like I will. I'm happy to actively like lead a protest to that. It's
and
disgusting.
and they bashed JFK, called him the drama channel just because he was trying to
Yeah.
get
Hood booger.
to the bottom of it. And now that's all
Yeah.
they're doing is talking drama. And then their excuse is, oh, you wouldn't be here if you didn't like the drama. But
Please.
you got
Mm-hmm.
I
JFK
wanted.
ongoing
Yep.
for weeks because they said they were drama. But now it's okay if it's about drama.
I
And
My
they
know the
just,
I
guy who's done
to
like
talk
5
about.
streams about his ex-girlfriend
Yeah.
and like has like Jess and Jimmy, and I haven't gotten to that part yet where they're talking about like our sex life and talk. I don't even like. I don't know. I've seen clips of it. I've seen I think the clips of all the worst of it, but it's just the idea of like grown adults. Like what Jess is almost 50, and like would she be proud if her daughter saw her on the show talking about another woman like that? Like it's just
Disgusting.
gross. And this narrative that Jess like is just reacting to me starting it, like if you actually believe that, then I don't know, like maybe
Just
you're just not
started.
paying attention. She
Yeah.
started it all, and
She
she's
started her
calling.
YouTube channel going off LTL, like trashing him. That was her first like YouTube presentation or whatever, was going after LTL. So like, come on, Jess. It's just like she that is her channel. It's like she's really the drama channel. Like that's what she feeds off of because she's not talking about anything else but
I'm
drama.
so embarrassed that I was like a big fan of hers.
And a lot
I'm
of
so
people
embarrassed. I liked her show and I would comment, and then I got a hateful message from Jen Altman like, "How can you support her? She's so vile." And I was like, I don't know. I think she's kind of funny.
actually, if
I'm
I'm
so
being honest,
embarrassed now. I
when
watched her show the other day and I
yeah,
was like, it's
to,
it's
to be
embarrassing.
honest,
I feel bad.
I just want
Jen
to ask,
Altman is more vile.
wasn't Jess the first one to say that it was Meredith, like putting the
Yep.
idea out
Yep.
there?
Yep,
Yep.
she was. And that's why, like, and I still, like, she did 2 streams about where she mentioned me and she was like saying Nurse Kim heard it, Will heard it. And this was all while Aiden was begging, like, Nurse Kim and Will and me to just be quiet about it, stop talking about it. And Jess had to insert her. Nobody was even accusing Jess of, like, sharing it or hearing it. Like, yes, she was one of the first
Mhm.
people Aiden played it for, but she made up this whole lie that she, like, was only doing that when she went on that first base and said that it was because she didn't want to get accused of sharing. She was like, I was getting ahead of it and covering. It's like, nobody was talking on it. And I even went back on that space at the beginning of it. She's like, why hasn't anybody asked me if I heard a recording? Nobody's asking me about accusing it. So like me. She wanted to insert herself. She was like, I'm telling the truth to my besties. Unlike Will and Kim, I don't lie to my followers. My besties are going to get the first exclusive that I heard the recording because I'm not going to lie
Meanwhile,
to you.
yeah,
And then
Oh my
Aiden
God,
calls her
totally.
in the middle of the stream. She ends the
Mm-hmm.
screen abruptly because Aiden's calling
yeah.
her, screaming at her to shut up. And she's like, well, I didn't say like who played it for me. It's like, okay, so there's this magic recording theory that's going around playing it for people. Like, how else do you think you heard it? Like, she wanted to insert herself into it because she earlier that week she'd leaked the Flipperhead and Olivia article. She thought she was saving her bestie, doing this noble cause of leaking the Olivia and Flip thing to distract for him. And Aiden wasn't praising her enough on his show, so she decided to light a fire and go on and say, yeah, if Kim heard it, Will heard it, they're lying, and Meredith is spreading it, like without an ounce of proof, knowing we're all being discouraged from talking about it and defending ourselves.
You guys talking
Um,
about Jess?
But
yeah,
Ew.
yeah.
Ew.
Right. Ew.
but even
Ew.
but even
And
blaming Karen
you guys
Reed.
Ew.
notice how now she's like best friends with Jimmy? He called her today on when he was on his show, and she was like, "Oh my God, I'm drying my hair, but I had an answer for you." I was like, shut the fuck up." Like now she's besties with Jimmy.
Oh
Besties.
yeah, Jen was not happy with that. So if Jen goes inside, like, is friendly with Jess again, like, I mean, I wouldn't surprise me just because her she's no like conviction. She just will like do whatever Eden wants to, similar to them. But if she goes inside is like friends with Jess now after everything, after I've heard just the on and on, the voice on they hear about how awful Jimmy is and Kim is for like being nice to Jess, who's so awful to her. And I agreed with her on all that. I'm like, yeah, how can they call themselves your friends when this they're now friends with this woman who is like being really nasty to you, Jen, and like I get that, but it's disappointing because then she always goes back to them and stuff.
They're all a bunch of frauds. I'm like so disappointed with everything, but I'm so glad that you came out and you're standing up for yourself, because I know on a, I think I messaged on one of my posts I made, because I was like, that first that spaces you had like a while ago with um Larry, maybe,
Larry,
yeah.
yeah.
And I was like,
So Keza.
what the flipper
Keza.
thing, and
Yeah.
I was like, sending questions. I was like, I don't understand, like, who are these screenshots from? Why are you sharing this stuff? And I was kind of being a little harsh with you,
What screenshots did I even share at that point? I don't.
I
I
think
know
it
I
was
was.
his. I think it was his, but I was like questioning. I was like,
I wasn't
what's
sharing any
happening?
of Eden's screenshots early on in this. There were screenshots that were leaking out there, and they were because Joe
Yeah, they
Flipperhead
weren't
was
from you.
sharing them. And I can't tell you how many times I saw comments on screenshots where it's like, I can't believe Meredith would do this to him and leak all these things. And you look at the screenshot, the top of it says Meredith on it. Do you think if I was the one leaking it, it would say Meredith at the top? No, this is clearly from Aiden's view, or it's Joe Flipperhead's view, or
Right.
somebody else's. It doesn't say Meredith at the top when Meredith is the one sharing it,
I know.
dumbass. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
So
so all
I
those
know.
last
But so
ones
I was just
dropped.
like looking at them though. I was like, all right, so what's happening? And then I was like questioning it. So I was like, listening to everything. And then once you came out with all your stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, yes, hello. I get it. Like, you're totally, see, here's the thing. You have all the evidence, you have all the proof. You're not lying about anything. You don't have to deflect. And so once you watch his lives, and then you listen to your all your information, you read all your stuff, it makes sense that you are the one telling the truth. But then you listen to all the creators and you're like, oh my God, they're all lying. So I was just so disappointed that I've been wasting so much time listening to these guys that I was like, oh, I like them. And then to find
Yeah.
out
And
yeah.
you know what?
it's like a big lie.
In my opinion, that's the worst thing Joe could have did. Because I was watching it all. It went from Aiden recorded Karen, to trying to figure that out. And then all of a sudden, it's like all this content about Meredith, like videos and all, like dropping all these screenshots from Aiden's point of view. Like Meredith said, I was like, oh, so he got these from Aiden. And like, what are we doing? Like,
And
I'm not,
Yeah.
he's since said he purposely
Exactly.
texted all this stuff to Joe, hoping
yeah,
Joe would leak it. He's like, yeah,
exactly.
I know Joe that he's gonna leak it on the internet, and I hope he does
Hmm.
because and he just like exposed himself how he does stuff behind the scenes to try and make it
Yep.
like he's the victim, that any reaction, anything I'm reacting to is totally unprovoked and he didn't do anything. And he tried, like, he's this is why I couldn't even get past like the first minute of his stream without having to stop and be like, okay, another lie, where he's like, I never wanted this to happen. I tried to protect Meredith's reputation forever and not have any of this come out. Like, no, you've been sharing this stuff with people every time you got mad at me behind the scenes with the recording stuff, and then went full on when I just finally cut you off for good, after October 15th. And you've been that's when he started sending those messages to Joe, by the way, that clearly got the okay to release however many times later when that started coming out. He's been
Yeah.
hoping, he's been dying for a reason to go off on me, because I
Meredith.
had the audacity to walk
Yeah.
away and not want anything to do
But
with him. I had the
there's
audacity to
nothing
side with
in
Karen.
them.
Yeah.
There's nothing in those text messages besides getting an inside look into a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all there is. There's no proof of anything. And we still have no proof.
Yep.
But
Like
some of
what?
the messages aren't even text messages with me and Aiden. It's Aiden telling Joe something like Meredith did this on
Mm-hmm.
March 4th, and that's taken because Aiden says so. That's proof of anything. Like, and I just sat back and let that be out there for like a few weeks before, I think, before this blew up, that these texts of, oh, here we have texts of Aiden telling Joe Flipperhead that Meredith's crazy and Meredith did this and that, and I still didn't like publicly react. I barely defend myself. Aiden would flip out. Oh, this is great too. He tried to tell his audience that I'm making threats to him through Jason Boreals. No, like I said, I blocked him a while ago. So anytime he wanted to like do something, he would take it to Jason to tell me, and I would basically say like this time, like, I'm not talking to him. I have no interest in talking to him. But he would, when I would like even defend myself a little bit, being like saying something I just said, how like pointing out that the texts say Meredith at the top, I didn't leak them. He would flip out immediately, go to Jason, like, tell her she can't like say this, defend herself. Blah, blah. He'd get so mad. He got
Oh
so mad
wow.
even after the first space I did, where I was tiptoeing around talking about recording so bad that it literally was confusing for people, where I
That's
kept
what I'm
saying
talking.
alleged
That was the
recording.
one I'm talking about, Meredith. What I was
The only
confused.
reason I did
Yeah.
that too was because Jess did a whole stream on me earlier that week, where she's like, Meredith shared the recording, she's crazy, she's this and that. So I was like, I can't just like let this stand. So I said
Yeah.
something, and I basically briefly just said, like, without being able to share much proof, because I knew the second I pulled the trigger on sharing any messages with me and Aiden, that would be like him, that would be good. The excuse for him to go nuclear was if I started sharing messages to prove my point of view. So I tried to be really vague and just say, like, I can't really say anything more, but the time I maybe allegedly, maybe possibly heard an alleged recording was after it was allegedly shared with the person who is accusing him of being. It was so like vague and just
Yeah.
convoluted. It probably confused more people. I mean, it was really upset. Like, I got upset there, and everybody's like fake crying, and it's like, no, it was like more like, I don't know. I cry more when I'm like angry and frustrated, and I was just getting so frustrated because I couldn't like make what I was wanted to say make sense, because I was held back by not, I can't say too much and piss off Aiden, and I just want this to stop. I want Jess to stop talking about me and spreading these false narratives that I can't defend myself with. I just wanted it to stop, and everybody was taking my silence as like guilt, but no, it was silence because Aiden was going to do exactly what he's done the past 2 weeks now, going nuclear if I said anything to
Right.
defend myself. So
Have you seen what they're saying tonight, or like what the narrative is now? Like the Joe flipping head and the Christy, and now I think Aiden is joining in on it.
What are they
no,
saying?
The
I haven't looked at a single thing on Twitter or his
Yeah.
show since it
So
started
they're
this year.
doxing some random guy that because he sounds the same, apparently that's Christie's newest target of John Barron, because somebody's friend is a voice specialist and they sound the same. But then they're taking it a step further, and then now Christie's saying that you're sleeping with him. She didn't say it quite so nicely. And then Nick is under every fucking post that she posts with like screenshots of just like out of context shit. And Mayor, what about the Rhode Island call? It's just like, okay, so now the new thing is going to be John Barron, and then everybody's an asshole because everyone knew who John Barron was. And nobody had a fucking problem with John Barron like 3 months ago. I like,
John Barron. I can't like.
yep. But now it's gonna be the, oh well, she's sleeping with him and she's concocted all of this, and
Well, I don't
how
even
could
know
she
who
do
John
it?
Barron. I don't. So to this day, like, I know nobody believes that. I don't know who the fuck John Barron is. I don't
I
want to
actually
know.
thought you were
And
John Barron.
Aiden was
I
so
did.
jealous when he found out I
Yeah.
was talking to him, because because and he was like, how could you like him because he doesn't like me and stuff, like it's like again the wanting to control who I'm friends with. And I'm like, honestly, like at one point I got so mad, I'm like, you know what, he helped identify an account who was going after me for over a year, and you kept being like, just ignore it and stuff, and like you only care now because I pointed out to you that Tina said shitty things about you too under that account. That's the only reason you even care about this, and because it's embarrassing to be revealed because she was on your legal team. Like he actually helped me find it. I was like, fuck you, John Barron's like my secret hero, low here. But no, we're not banging. I don't know who he is, but I mean, if they want to, like, anything that comes out of Christy and Joe's mouth at this point, you have to like. It's usually like 95% chance, probably more, that it's a lie, or it's like she gets confused by some little bit of information she's given. Like if I should just dump the hours of voice memos she sent me when I was still friends with her, trying to figure out who John Barron was. It goes from one day it's
Same.
Rogie, it's some guy named John Raga, it's John Raga, it's Joe Warren, it's Karen True Crime, it's Julie Ginto, it's like, and then I would know if she went a couple hours without messaging me because I knew, oh, she must think I'm John Barron now. And then, yep, people would confirm me and be like, guess what? She's coming to us and she thinks you're John Barron. It's like, this is somebody who's like, just.
She is the kookiest person I've ever
Yeah.
tried to like
So
find
not
her.
to interrupt. Drea wanted to speak, and I know she's been waiting. So if we could just let her talk.
Yeah,
I
good. I
think.
need a little break.
Yeah. I just wanted to
Take some
let her
water,
speak.
Meredith. Drink
I am.
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. You're
Right.
doing good. You're
Take a
doing good.
deep breath, girl.
I was
Take a deep
worried I
breath.
wouldn't like know what to say, and now that I've started talking, it's like it just is all just coming out.
No, you're
So
Yeah.
awesome. You're
I
doing
need a break.
awesome.
I need to get some water. So
Drink water.
You're
You're doing
doing
awesome.
amazing,
You're doing a
sweetie.
good job.
That
Good.
you knew I was coming, Meredith, when you started talking about Jess and that fucking douchebag Jen Altman.
I love
You,
fellow
you
Jen
knew
Altman
I was
haters.
coming for both of them bitches because I can't stand neither one of them. And can we just talk about how fucking stupid Jess looked with that fucking guitar and that dumbass song she was singing?
that was actually great because she put in a song, my tweet about what a fraud Aiden is, about saying about his like legal fund bills and stuff. So that was actually great. It was free advertising of my breakdown of why Aiden should not be like telling people not to donate to Karen. So that one was great actually. But
Right.
yeah,
It just shows like how much she just lacks fucking self-awareness because she's a fucking moron.
And drink fucking barefoot pineapple wine with Mountain Dew. Fucking
yeah.
disgusting.
One more
Yeah.
thing on her, and then I'll let you talk. The whole thing where she like openly admitted to calling my work this week. Like, do you think is that like this is again not, she's not smart at all. If you really if you don't like what I'm saying now, and which is basically just your own words, can you imagine if you actually did successfully get me fired, how bad I would be then? Like if like you never want to like go at one of your enemies and have them leave them with nothing to lose, because then it's like if you don't like what I'm saying now, which is literally just the truth defending myself,
Right.
imagine how bad it would be then. So like the people, nobody should be going real life, but think about this logically, how that's going to work out for you.
It's a total
Exactly.
defamation case too. If
Yeah,
you
I'm
Wait,
got
is
already
this
fired.
the chick?
I'm
Is
already
this the chick
consulting
who
with
asked her
lawyers, and
chat?
anybody, just to put it out there, anybody else who tries to do that, it's only going to hurt Aiden if you continue to do that because of the things he said in announcing the work thing. It's only going to hurt Aiden. So do it. I'm consulting with a lawyer, so if you try and do
Good.
that and you think it's bad now, it's going to be a lot worse.
Good for you. I hope you do.
Right.
Is this just for my own clarity, is this the chick who asked her chat if the Holocaust was real or not? Is that the same lady?
Who? Me?
No, oh my god, no.
Oh.
The same lady who called the
Yes.
work, is that the Holocaust lady?
She.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't know
Who's
that.
the Holocaust lady? I don't know who that is.
We're talking about Jess
Somebody was
Machado.
posted.
Mm,
Yes, her. Yeah. I think she like asked her, she
Yes,
was like
Jess said
crashing out on the
Jess. There
spaces.
was a video on about Jess saying something about Jewish people. I think that's what she's talking about. Is
Oh.
mm.
Okay,
Jess?
I just wanted to make sure that they were like the same people and I wasn't like
Yeah,
separating
that's
them in
her.
my mind. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
not
her.
to
It was
tell
her own
you
words,
fucking
and she
everything.
can't. She can eat everything else apparently, judging from the size of her, but she can't eat her own words though.
Oh my god. Well, she got kicked out of her studio. Now she's doing lives from her closet.
She said it's okay to say Jewish people suck. That's what the video said.
Someone in
What the
the
But
fuck?
chat.
don't say
Someone in
but
the
don't say
chat
she's
called her
bagel.
closet
But you could say Jewish
closet
people suck,
baby.
right?
Someone in the chat called her closet baby. Real closet
Oh yeah,
Closet.
because
baby.
her and
No,
Lindsay are
nobody
besties
said
now.
bagel in the closet in the corner. I said,
I
yeah,
missed why she got kicked out of her studio. Can anybody tell me that?
I don't know. And what happened to Erin?
I
Her little
I
her
know
little
why she
sidekick.
got kicked out of the studio because I was a follower. So she got kicked out of the studio because one of one of the somebody who doesn't like her, shocking, um in the political world,
Oh,
posted
Kayla
a
Churchill.
yeah, they posted a video of her, like this whole video of her saying all these. I guess she had a show before with all this sex talk and like how she was like talking about porn. And so anyway, this girl who's big in the political world in her town posted this whole video that said she shouldn't be involved in the politics of where they live. And then I guess the guy who owns the studio space got it and was like, didn't want to be associated with her, so he canceled her studio space.
No shit. But what happened to Erin?
Oh, Erin
They get
left after
right.
that because she was like,
I'm not sitting in the closet with you.
no, this is bad shit. I don't want to be associated with you. And she blocked Erin. I actually have spoken with Erin. She blocked
She
Erin.
blocked Erin.
Yep, she's not friends with Erin anymore, and she blocked Erin. Erin doesn't want anything to do with it though, so I probably should be saying this on Spaces now. Though, so great.
Oh
Whoops.
God, Erin was like her fucking best friend. They were like besties.
Now I just outed that. Whoops. But
No, that's
whatever.
okay. Whatever.
No,
Listen, you could tell us.
Jess talked
It's
about it a little
it's
bit on the show, and she said her and Aaron had a falling out, but that Aaron didn't want to be talked about on the show. So she basically let her followers know that they had a fight, but she wouldn't tell anybody what it was about, but that it wasn't good.
well, yeah.
I mean, she
Sounds.
better not like retaliate against Erin if she does decide to shock. I'm sure Erin probably has a lot of like witnessed a lot of
I
her
felt like
unhinged
probably has
behavior over the
bias.
years. So,
Erin might need to do a spaces.
free
I don't
Erin.
think Aaron wants to do anything. He's like out.
Yeah,
He's outie.
that's interesting. But that's what happens when you're not authentic. People eventually they turn on you because at the end of the day, it's like, look what you're promoting. You're
And
promoting
lying.
drama, chaos, and you know
Yeah.
But look at what they're allowing to happen to themselves because of Aiden.
exactly.
Yep.
It's
Well,
crazy.
How about the audacity of Nurse Kim, Val, when you see that she deleted that post that she tagged you in?
oh, she deleted it. Yeah,
Yep.
I was kind. You know what? Honestly, I was very
That
taken
was
back by.
weird.
Why did she
I
tag
really
you?
always. I've been a supporter of Nurse Kim. I've even through this whole thing. I love Nurse Kim. I don't say anything bad about Nurse Kim, but she tagged me in a post the other day and basically said, like, called me out and said, "Oh, Val, are you okay with this? Because this account, like, I guess threatened the nurse, and like, or I don't know. They tagged her in something, and it was an account that I followed that was like going after Ray from Dallas. So I think they followed me, and I like looked at it, and it was like a Ray. It was like Dr. Ray from Dallas, so I followed it back. I don't know, whatever. And then comes to find out, the same account was like going after her. So she saw that I followed the account, and then she tagged me and said, "Oh, like, do you like are you okay with this?" And like kind of called me out, and I said, "No, I'm not." But the point is, like, of course I'm not okay with that because I've never even said anything bad about you, Nurse Kim. And it's like Ray from Dallas has dragged me. All the people that have said all these horrible things about me never have you like stuck up for me, not one time. And okay, whatever. I'm not you don't have to, but it's like I don't even speak badly about you. You just single me out and like I was taken back by that.
Because she's a fake ass bitch. That's why. Because that's
I
the
don't know why.
same day that Meredith, that they did that shit to Meredith. It was, and she just disappeared as she usually does because she's a coward. That's why.
Oh yeah, but
It
can
was
we
the
just
day
talk
that they were
about that
doing it
whole?
to Meredith.
Can we talk
So
about
when
that
they
whole thing
came
with
for
the
her,
account? Can we talk about that account quickly? Another thing where Aiden, just because Aiden says so, immediately people start tagging my work again, going crazy on me because Aiden says on his account, and his reasoning like made no sense whatsoever. He was saying because it had his address or whatever, and wanted to talk about like his landlord. It must be me. First of all, his address has been publicly out there. I remember seeing like pretty much a month after he moved in, somebody posted on Twitter his full address. He was getting like 1-800 junk stuff there, pizza deliveries there since very soon after moving in. I don't know how people found out, but it was out there. And just because it like didn't like the same people that I don't like, I don't know if he's realizing, but a lot of people are are not liking the same people that you like at this point, Aiden, because they're continuing and enabling your bullshit. So putting that out there that
Right.
I must be this account with zero proof, sending all of them after me, it's just insane. And he wonders why too. The account was posting, and I responded to the account and corrected it because the account said something like, "What do you think the old lady who you rent your house from thinks about?" Because apparently on his stream he was talking about jerking off onto a couch, and I was like, wow, did he really say that? And also, it's a guy that he rents it from or whatever. So he thought because the account mistakenly said he rented from an old lady, I must be the account. But it's like, no, all of them think that you rent from an old lady, which isn't even true. He actually, the thing is, so let's clarify that. He has this lady who lives in an elderly apartment attached to it, but it's a guy who owns the house who lives in California. Yeah, it's fucking a weird situation. And the lady comes into the house too. Like I remember one of the first times I was there, I hear a noise and she's just like, "Hello, it's Darlene." And like I was like, I texted Aiden and I was like, "Did you know that like this is like a shared space?" And really the guy who said it didn't even tell him like that she could go into anywhere in the house. Like and I've like was like walking around at one point without any clothes on. And I was like, all right, it's good to know this other lady could be in here because I've like walked around naked before when nobody's home. Like, and um, but yeah, this
Wait, how
lady.
did she
So I
say
was
it?
just
How did she
so
say
I
it?
made a comment
How did
too on the account's post
Hi,
was like
Harley.
the account obviously went too far. Like I would never want to be tagged or but another thing it posted was like his address and stuff, which a lot of the trolls have already posted. And I made a comment. I was like, yeah, I mean it's not an old lady, but an old lady lives with him. And that's horrifying if he's doing that where like she could just walk in at any point. And that's when I
Yeah,
just went
that's kind of
crazy. I
disgusting.
was like,
Meredith, I
That's
actually
funny.
I countered that because I saw that post and I found from July yeah, there was a bunch of people posting from July the pictures of the house, the address of the house, the whole situation of the house that he's renting. So that account, because he was like, I know it's Meredith because she's the only one that knows where I live. So I went
bro.
back and found it in July, and I posted it. That people, I don't know those people, Mike Gaff, whoever that guy is. He posted this whole thing about Aiden living there in July.
He's posted even
So
earlier than that. I know,
yeah,
like it is far from the first time. I remember first seeing it, and I know I have so many screenshots at this point on my phone. I couldn't find one from 2024, but I was like, you know what, that works. The one you're posting, it's pretty recent too. But also the fact that he's gotten
yeah,
pizza deliveries there, 1-800
yeah.
junk that he's like sometimes
So
talked
again,
about
he lied.
publicly on show. Everybody has known where he lives for quite a while. Like the and just
Yeah,
the making these accusations like this with zero proof, it's dangerous when people believe him and they immediately went to like start trying to like contact my work and stuff saying, oh my god, she's doing this to Nurse Kim. It's like, no, like this was just done to me this week, like admitted on it about doing it by Jess. Like it's just
Right.
and Jess doesn't have a
He
job.
also
Yeah, at this point, after what Jess did, if Jess had a job that she's actually held accountable to, sure, I probably would do the same to her because what she's doing is far worse than what I've ever said to her, which has been in response to her attacking me first. So like, yeah, Jess, I would do that because she tried to do that to me this week. But Nurse Kim, yeah, as shitty as she's been to me and as like the things she's done, I still wouldn't do that to her because it's just like bad karma at this point doing that.
Right.
yeah. You don't go
he
after
tried
people's jobs
yesterday
or pay.
on his live that he didn't was public knowledge. He's like, well, I can't say like somebody's a teacher. That's not what he said. He didn't say she's a banker, she's a paralegal. He named your
He knew
and
exactly
your
what he was
kid's school
doing. He knew
over.
exactly what he was
Yes,
doing. And
Hmm.
exactly.
like
He said where you worked. He said your works. He said where you worked.
He gave
Multiple
your
times.
title. He said your title and where you
yeah,
worked.
he knew exactly what
Yeah.
he was doing. Just like when he was naming where my daughter goes to school too. He knew exactly what he was doing and it's just
But
But he got sick.
that's
He
what
said, what
worries
did he
me.
say? He felt sick when he saw that they were doing it to
Yeah.
Kim, to Nurse Kim. Like, are you fucking
Oh,
kidding me? But
The dramatic
you didn't
pose.
tell that bitch
I
to
am
suck it up,
sick.
did you?
I'm so sick right
Well, it's
now.
it's funny
Oh my
that
God.
Jess Machado said she only told him and Jimmy that she called Mara this woman. So
But that's what worries me about this whole thing because it was I feel like everything was so calculated and like I think like multiple people have said the little bits over the time. And now everything, if you watch, they're all using the words scary. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm
Right.
scared
You
of
would think
Meredith.
if
She's
that's true, if they
crazy.
were really scared of me, they would stop screwing with me. Like if this was
Right,
really, if I was really
exactly.
this terrifying person.
Exactly.
But that's like my point of
Just like the
thinking, like,
McAlberts, they weren't
they're gonna
scared because
do
they kept
something
fucking around too.
serious. Like they're gonna try to they are gonna do real life things because they're creating this narrative. You're mentally ill, you're crazy. And it didn't even matter if they proved anything about the recording. It was just trying to prove you're crazy. And that's all that they think they need to just say. Everybody will believe you put the recording out if they get them to believe you're crazy enough.
Yeah.
And that's it.
He's
Like,
That,
petrified of Meredith while he's allegedly running around with the girl that put him in jail.
well,
Well,
he
this
was
is
working
this
on
is
it
Straight
for a
he's
couple
petrified
of
him.
days.
He's a wacko.
He
he's
did
banking
the
on the fact that people on his show will just blindly believe him and they won't look on Twitter and see it in his select views. That's why I need to think about the next steps going forward after
but
this.
they
The
do.
best way to do it, where if it's just a stream I do where I go through his live and just stop and pause that people who aren't on Twitter can see it because he's banking on it. Because the things he's lying about, it takes me 2 seconds to pull up the texts that show, like the thing with like lying about stealing his phone extract. It took me all of like 2 minutes, and I wish I did this sooner. I still don't even know every lie he's told on the show. These are coming in real time to me. Like the big ones as they're happening, like last weekend, the lie about me calling his wife, which I still think that whole thing was staged with Jimmy. Now that I've seen it,
Mhm.
Totally.
but
Yeah,
just
totally
he's
staged.
banking on nobody like going on Twitter and seeing me or just thinking I'm crazy and not listening and not looking at the actual proof I'm posting, that he's making such easily disprovable lies. Like I started getting into the stuff with his wife today, but what he said about me, like getting mad about him being at his wife's house, and that couldn't be further from the truth. If I'm ever like was annoyed, it was like he would always whine to me about how awful it was when she was around with the kids. It was so much better when she wasn't there and she ruined his parenting time. And I said, hey, you have your own house now. Take the kids over to your house if it's so bad, if she's ruining it. Because he said that like his daughter didn't want to hang out with him and always picked his wife. It's like, well, you need to start making sure you have quality parenting time with them separately. That's part of getting divorced. Like if you guys can get along and still do it together, then great. But if she's doing all these things that you're telling me, that she's berating you in front of the kids, and like I said, yeah, that's not a good model to show the kids. Do it separate parenting time for now. Like that's not something they should see their mother berating their
And
father and stuff.
he's
But
lying.
who knows what he exaggerated
Come
about? Who
on.
knows what he
I
exaggerated
I
about?
guarantee his wife
But
has a good ass fucking story to use against him. That's why he doesn't talk about her
well, I
really
wanted to
too much.
say,
Because
if
but
you paid
wife never
attention,
spoke.
he did
Yeah.
he did the first live and he kept saying Meredith will never be content. And then the next day he talked about her without talking about her. So I'm being
I know his ex on
tracked
him.
every go out.
Oof.
I'm Kendra Lakari and they're texting me and saying that you're eating. I know what you're wearing. And then he said, I took my car to get its oil changed and I have trackers. Anybody that's ever took their car to get their oil changed knows it's hard to even get them to change the oil filter, let alone do extra work and look for trackers.
And this thing,
And then
yeah, there's nobody in his iCloud. He had Jason Broyles over 2 months ago check on his iCloud. There's nobody else, no other devices connected. Nobody is like hacked him. Nobody is spying on him. Nobody is like, I can't rule out somebody did put a tracker on his car. That's totally possible. Maybe look at the person who has a history of putting trackers on guys' cars and finding them. Looking at you,
he
Lindsay, and you,
pretended
Frankie.
he didn't even know what an
The
AirTag
AirTag.
was. He
So
was playing
I
dumb.
have a screenshot of this. This happened the other morning. I've had there's been an AirTag of my daughter's. It's somewhere in my car. I think it's maybe in an old softball bag. I don't know where it is, but every time in my car for longer than an hour, which some mornings with there in back with traffic for school drop off, it just goes over an hour. And I got the notification the other morning where it's like Allison's AirTag with this separate Apple ID. Like if somebody has an AirTag that's not on your own Apple thing, and it's with you for longer, it's near your phone for longer than an hour, it notifies you because people have used them to track people before. It notifies you if there's an AirTag. So he would be getting a notification if that happened. I get it all the time for my daughter's one that's like lost
Well, he
somewhere.
pretended not to even know what one was. And then he went further to say the only time he didn't get a text was when he left was when he left his phone at home. And then he stuttered and he's like, well, no, I didn't know. I turned the location off. But that whole live, you could tell he was lying. He didn't say him. Muslim chat go off saying, "Oh, it's
He was
Meredith.
probably
It's
building
Meredith."
it to try and like say it was like, bro, I don't care where you go, I don't care what you do, I just want you to stop lying about me. This narrative that I'm obsessed with him, like this point, like for ever since the thing too with the 21-year-old, I don't look at him the same where I would ever like. And it was a week before that whole thing came out, the Wilbur that we hooked up. But after that whole thing came out with like somebody who's literally less than half of his age, I started looking at him differently to the point of like, even if he was like tomorrow, like and changed and stuff, like I could never. I don't want anything to do with him. Like I don't look at him.
Meredith, is that true story? Because I kept seeing that thing when I was still following him. Did that really happen? He hooked up with a 21-year-old.
I think so. I mean, from what I've heard, yeah. But I mean, and that was the thing. And too, I was saying in the messages that the messages weren't like him sharing; they were from her point of view. So like, how are those getting out there other than her sharing them? He told me she said she was like hacked or something. But it's like, what is it like this? Hacking is just the excuse every time you share stuff you're not supposed to share.
He's been hacked more times than anybody. I mean, honestly, like look back in his history. He's gotten hacked. He's like the unluckiest person in the world to get hacked.
Well,
Supposedly.
where are the other people in his life if they really think he's hacked? So I just looked at it's December 6th. The first time Jess went on a show was October 3rd, where she started saying Meredith hacked him, and that's how the recording goes. It's now over 2 months later. Why hasn't her bestie, his bestie, helped him get control of his stuff? Why hasn't this guy who has millions of dollars now from the Karen case hiring somebody to get control of his stuff? Why aren't his lawyers insisting you do it? Why is he not, if he doesn't says he isn't the money, which is not true, grifting for a fund to hire some IT expert? Like we've been begging him to do basic steps of like Jason had him do like the iCloud to make sure obviously nobody else was there. Because I started to wonder too, because Courtney and Tina are the only ones who had his iCloud password, by the way. They had it when he was in jail and he said he changed his passwords, but I don't know that that's true. They are the only ones who actually ever were in his iCloud when he was in jail. So who knows if they're on it from other devices. They had his actual phone, so they could do two-factor authentication, and they had all of his devices. They had his Mac, they had his phone. They could have set up another device like with access to his iCloud, and he wouldn't even know. So I was like encouraging again Jason to have him do this. She's also asked him to do the step of going through his like activity log on Facebook to see if any other devices were logged into that account in them. And he hasn't, to this day, has not shown anything past like, I think it was like August 24th or 25th, after I'd been asking him forever to take my iPhone 15 out of there. He can't show anything after like the 24th or 25th with me logged in to this day. And last I checked, the call happened on August 29th. We've been asking him to do a
Yeah,
detailed activity log.
Yeah,
He won't do it, or he's done it and he has not found my phone logged in and it's not the result he wanted. And that's why he hasn't shared it. Like,
exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
he showed nothing. That what's that name? That one account. Oh, Kristen Bell. They keep posting the instructions on how to go in to your Facebook Meta account
yep.
and how to pull up that whole history and activity log. And they've DM'd it to him, and he's still not show. He's not showed any receipts for anything he's claimed, or even these unknown caller texts he gets every time he leaves the house.
Yeah, do we even know
He's
that those
not showed
actually
any
do
of
we
it.
even know that those actually happened? Like, I mean,
No, that's why
Exactly.
he's
mhm.
not showing them because it never happened. And he was hacked back like before. Remember, like the whole thing with Kate and all those people. Like you think you would have thought he would have like protected all his stuff then, because he was hacked back then. Like it's just so unbelievable. It's so frustrating. I'm so sorry you've had to deal with
Can
that.
I say something?
Who's that talking?
Carol.
Oh, okay, go ahead, Carol.
Hi. I just want to make a quick hi, Meredith. And I totally support you, but I do want to make a brief comment about Jessica Machado. The other night I was on the Spaces on Thursday night. I gave a brief overview of everything. I did say I have kidney disease and kind of went about how I felt about the entire, feeling bad about this whole mess with the creators. And like I say, I'm a huge JFK supporter because he just brought out the facts. And my main ending is if he'd never done that illegal recording, God knows how many others he's done, which we're finding out, of Karen Reed, I don't think the split would be happening with all these creators. Hi, Mike from Young Jerks. I love you. What he's done to you now, and the Glier. I call him the Glier because he's a liar. But I would like to comment.
The
I
glider.
would. I call him the Glier. The Glier.
That's funny. Okay.
Okay, that's how I. Yeah. Okay. So my brief comment is. So I just called up, or I didn't call. I came on Thursday night. Well, I was shocked that Friday morning, this I don't use the word they both apparently use, which starts with my first name, Carol, the C word. She goes on and her 24 on Friday morning and starts talking about how she went on and people were telling her she should go on, that you people were live, and she starts, doing her usual bashing. And then she personally like calls me out and said, yeah, no, I'm like going, oh my God. And she's like, oh, and this girl Carol, who I have it, I saved it. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this girl Carol, who has
Wait,
kidney disease.
I'm
No,
sorry, not to interrupt you, Carol. Can I just say that I have watched Jessica Machado's show, and there was somebody with the same Valerie says so, and that was talking shit. And I remember that day there was a Carol in her chat, like talking a lot of shit, and people kept saying, "Who's Carol? Who's Carol?
right, right,
Is that
right. Yeah,
you?"
that's me. Yeah, I
Oh
do.
my God, that's so funny.
I'm the famous Carol. Yes,
Oh,
I am.
Carol is funny. Oh my God, yes.
I'm that famous girl Carol. Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, I know. And then what they do, which
that's
is like
funny too.
my last name is Monest, Monast, which growing up my father said honest, monest,
Oh my
very
God.
because it comes from monastery. So they then started to call me Monostat, which yep, 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 yep. Oh yeah, I got trash. Like so,
Oh.
it's just the cruelest thing. So, anyways, I just want to make it quick. So after Thursday night, when I spoke up and said that her husband had threatened to beat me up, which he did, I saved it. It was like one of the chats from 3, 4 weeks ago when I did make a few comments that weren't nice, but she always says on her, you know, crazy whatever she does. Oh, we don't block haters. We love the trolls. So let them talk. Let them talk. So I'm like, okay. So I did have a few things, and her husband did come on, and he did like I don't honest. He literally said, "Oh, Carol, why don't you meet me for coffee, and I'll take care of you. We'll get yeah." Like I'm like, oh my God. Of course, the rest of I'll take care of you, trust me, or it. And then so now what she does after Thursday nights my spaces, where I was just on listening, and I made a overall how I feel, said I had kidney disease, whatever. She goes on the next morning talking about how she got everybody's messaging me about this. She made fun of the Australia, she did her and this girl Carol, and I'm like, I'm watching it like, oh my God, is like said my husband was gonna beat her up. Oh, he was only kidding. And then this is what really hurt me because I am on disability. I do have kidney disease. I have a lot of other medical situations going on. She then says this. As I recorded it, I'm like, oh my God, she brought my name up personally. Like now everybody, I don't dare talk anywhere. She goes, and this girl, Carol, accused this, but let's put prayers up. This is exactly what she said. I know she's got kidney disease. So
Wait,
let's put yeah, yeah. Listen to how she goes, like acts like she's
yeah.
trying,
I'll have to go
like
back and listen to it, but honestly, none of it surprises me, and I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about
yeah,
first
but
of all your
wait, the
health
kicker.
concerns, but I'm
But
sorry that she went after you like that. It seems like anybody is open season for her
yeah,
at
but
this
the
point. But
kicker is that she
Give it,
went from
Carol. Give it.
let's put I'll be very quick.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Let's put prayers up for this Carol. She has kidney disease, but oh my God, she sounded like she's got emphysema. You should hear her voice. So, you know, I was like,
Huh.
oh, yeah, because I mean, I had precancer throat surgery. So
But
my voice, yeah, and she doesn't know that, but she made fun of me
oh,
saying, yeah, let's put prayers up. She's got kidney disease, but oh my God, you should hear her. She sounds like she's got emphysema.
well,
I'm,
fuck.
yeah,
But Carol,
and then her whole chat
you
just
talk
like
a lot of
attacked.
shit, Carol. You do talk a lot of shit. I've seen you in the comments. You do talk a lot of shit. I'm not saying what she's doing is right, but it's funny. But sometimes, you become a target when you do that. So who cares what she
Yeah,
says?
but I will
Keep talking
say,
your shit, Carol. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't
no,
worry about her, Carol.
no, I don't. I watch her because I don't even want to get into it. But when she says, I love the trolls, bring it on. Okay. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
we don't block anybody, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm allowed to my feelings. And if I get really upset, I'm going to say how I feel. So
yeah.
that was it. So
She
anyway,
can dish it, but she can't take it out. And this is a consistent theme with everybody that
Yeah.
has the audacity to defend themselves or voice any opinion different than what Jess Machado says,
Yeah.
because that should be treated as sacred, just
I
like
think she
everything
said
Aiden
she,
says. And that's about just
well, I wrote
consistency.
Keep
to her
talking
the
shit,
other
Carol.
day.
Just
I
keep
said
talking shit.
apparently I wrote to her the other day. After the stream, I said apparently you think you're God because does your shit not smell either? I don't know. I just
Yeah.
can't take her. But I watch her because
You
I
still watch
just
her, Carol. You still watch her.
well
Sometimes
I watch her
Carol,
because
stop
it's
watching
almost
her. Stop
it's like
watching her.
reality.
It's
it's
helpful
like
though, because
watching
then
it.
then
No, it's
I don't
like
have to
Yeah.
watch.
watching.
It's like
It's like
reality.
watching Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
watch it, and even though it sucks, I
No,
still watch
Saturday.
it.
Oh, now,
All right.
Carol, we're gonna disagree about that, Carol. 'Cause I
All
like,
right.
Well, no, there's been
Thanks,
some good Saturday
Carol.
Night Lives
yeah,
Thank you,
lately.
I like
Carol.
All
Thank
right.
you,
Well, I love
Carol.
you, Meredith. Stay strong.
Thank
I
you.
want to throw out, please, an extra love and everybody support Mike from Young Jerks.
yes.
What Turtle Boy is doing and the Glider, I just
Liar.
can't take it.
The
Yeah.
glider.
All right.
That's
The
Thank you so
Glider.
much. Thank you
all
so much.
right.
We appreciate it.
All right. Love you
Bye.
guys. I'm going to keep listening.
All
All
right,
right.
Carol.
Have a good
Oh, she's cute. She
I
talk Carol
know.
talk a lot of shit though. I've seen her in the chat
I
before.
don't know. I
I
haven't been
haven't seen
in
her.
Jess's chat till the first show that I got dedicated to me by Jess. I mean, I'll admit it. I was for like the first couple weeks of October after her first space where she dropped my name. I was definitely listening to her, but it was only out of fear for like what she was gonna say about me. And I remember like the first time I listened to one live on a Saturday, it was like so painful. I was like, I'm not never doing this again. I'm not like gonna like I can't tolerate it on normal speed where I had to listen to like her whole stage fight
Yeah,
with her husband and all the
yeah,
rest
yeah.
of the cringe stuff she discussed. She's like, I can't ever do this again. Like it's not worth it. People will text me if she says something really bad. I'm not putting myself through this again. And then like her 24s, I'd sometimes
Yeah.
put on in the mornings because it was the same time I was driving my daughter to school. And it was funny because she would just scream at people randomly, like, fuck you, like driving to school. It's like, all right. And then she'd read out
Well,
her,
get
her
her fucking dick
breakfast and what she orders. And it's like a Timu version of like his bus stop live, and then like
yeah.
Glaire's doing something similar with his like walks with Clever and stuff.
He's
And
like bus stop live gone wild or some shit like that.
I tried
Hey,
to listen
Meredith.
bootleg,
this morning
it's
and she
bootleg bus stop live,
yeah.
bootleg bus stop live.
Yeah, yeah. Timu bus stop live.
She
Hey,
this morning
Meredith.
I tried to listen this I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bonnie.
Oh no, that's me, Astro.
Oh, Astro, go ahead.
So I got a mention about the phone extractions, and I
Hmm.
was told that I'm taking the term stealing literally. This is from Alyssa M. Wanderlust 218.
Oh.
Oh, the
Right.
one who's
Yeah,
like
she's awesome.
who thinks she's like a lawyer. Thinks she was. I think she was like commenting on somebody who was like accusing me of wiretapping. She's like, "Good, get her charged. Then we can get her whole phone extraction." It's like, no, just no. You don't just get somebody's phone extraction for like a petty like misdemeanor like that. That's not how it works. Like, dear, nice try, but
Yeah, so she's like, apparently there's different levels of stealing now. I don't know, based on what he tried to make it seem like, but she says that you stole it and went through it for your own selfish purposes, and that you sent out a picture of a woman's tits on his Apple Watch and sent it out to your friends, aka revenge porn.
so no, I didn't.
Revenge
The only
Semantics.
person I'm going to be careful what I say here, just because of discussion lawyer. It was sent to Aiden and Aiden alone, and Aiden took a screenshot of text messages, sent them to Jen Altman. He took a screenshot of text messages to him, sent it to, like, I think he actually may have shown this on a show where I'm like saying like, oh, what do you think Karen will think of you sexting with her? It was in that same group of texts in April. He took a screenshot of those texts, sent them to Jen Altman. Jen Altman sent them to Nurse Kim. Nurse Kim sent them to Jimmy. Jimmy sent them to John, sent it to John Barron, and that's how you saw that post out there. And I think it's wild that Jimmy was sitting on that show. I don't know if he was there for that part of it. I still haven't gotten to that part of the show where it's the whole thing about victim Jane and everything. um, Jimmy was the one who sent that to John Barron to post online. And yeah, this was before John Barron and I started seeing eye to eye on things. And I had begged him to like take it down. I begged other people to get him to try and take it down. I reported it. Like did not want it up there. And I never sent it to anybody to get it on the internet. That it would be Jimmy, Aiden's best friend. So that's how I would counter that.
It's funny.
Okay,
Altman's
so
always
Alyssa, there you
responsible.
go.
And
She's
also,
always
You
no
sure they're
everywhere.
just
stealing. I
best
think
friends?
I
Altman's
already
always
showed
there.
how, yeah. I already showed in my text there was clearly no stealing. There was direct, not only knowledge that I had it, but also instructions to use it and analyze it. And I didn't even go further. As recently as March, he had me extract his and Karen's communications when they were like Hank was trying to get his phone and stuff. And again, spoiler alert, there's no witness intimidation, there's no conspiring to commit witness intimidation. It's literally her sending him like a YouTube video of a select board meeting, being like, oh, like this person's nice or something, like one of the Sweeneys or something. And that's all it is. So yes, as recently as March, he knew I had it and was like having me do favors, because I was like, besides playing like secretary, it was paralegal, it was a lot of roles I played in his life when we were together. So like this fairy tale that it was stolen is just simply false. And what I'm seeing, I don't know how it got out there. What I'm seeing is unimpounded discovery with no protective order on it that's being shared, that Aiden willingly shared with people. And it seems like it's nothing more than some embarrassing text messages similar to what he's been sharing of mine for months now. It's nothing like what Jason posted of Lindsay's extraction, her unredacted phone extraction with like medical stuff. It's
What's good
nothing
for
on
the
that
goose is
scale.
good for the gander, Meredith.
I just don't
Exactly.
understand how a picture of like breast is like revenge porn
But that's what they do. They take whatever they
They make
can.
it sound
They
much
and make
grasp
it
worse than
at
it is.
straws.
extreme. Like
Yeah, they
if a
just take it
woman's
and they
I don't
twist
think
it
it
yeah,
is.
up.
I don't think it is if there's no
like
face
that's
anyway.
crazy to me. Like first of all, somebody sent that to him, so obviously if you send anything to somebody, it's fair game for that person. Like who's to say?
In a relationship at that.
Yeah, I mean, like, and there, it's like a pair of like, not to say titties,
I,
like
I don't.
how
I
is that
don't think.
revenge
I
porn?
think that's a stretch to use that revenge term with
Yeah, but
that.
that's what
That's a
he
huge
stretches
stretch.
everything. That's
Like,
what
that's a stretch. That's
like,
But
bullshit.
Lily
right.
Lily posted some kind of screenshot
She did.
before or
What did
something.
Lily post?
She posted
That
some screenshot that
she posted a
Meredith.
screenshot that said that Meredith was saying, I just stumbled on it or something. Like it had the word stumbled. I stumbled on this.
Oh, so yes, that's the text between me and Aiden where he's asking if I really went through his whole extraction. And because I'm talking about finding the texts where he's talking about Karen sexually with this girl. And I said, no. When saw her boobs pop up on the watch and like I saw her name, I was curious who she was. Like, was this an ex girlfriend? Was this like somebody new that he just like decided to pursue like while we were in a relationship? And I searched her name, and the first thing I saw was like them sexting about Karen. So yeah, I brought it up to him, and I said, like, what do you think Karen will think about this? There was like no like real threat. Like it was like, I don't know, maybe it was, I guess. I don't know. I'm not gonna, I want to be careful what I'm saying here. But yes, he knew I knew about it. And this was again in January. And how when did we finally break up? July. Like, was this ever brought up to lawyers? Was this ever like,
And
no, this
Meredith, you
wasn't.
were working on his phone extraction. He gave it to you. You were helping him. You didn't
He
like
gave it to me.
steal his phone extraction. Like
No, I didn't
And
steal it.
yes. You-
first of all, these are women, right? Like the women who are making this into such a big deal. If I personally, if I'm dating somebody, I know that they're cheating on me, that they have cheated on me before, and I can look at it, I'm going to look at it. And they would too. And
Right.
that's just like I
Yep.
addressed Lily earlier
Everybody
on
would.
it because I was like, how is this relevant? And she goes, oh, well, it shows me that, like, she shouldn't have had access to it. I was like, you never went through a man's phone before? And she's like, this isn't about me. And it's like, you want to address that because that's normal behavior for women who are in relationships like that, where
Especially
you
dealing
can't
with
trust your
toxic
The
partner.
men.
phone
Right.
extract, by the way, that was
100%.
only stuff through 2023 in October when his phone was seized. So did I go through the whole thing? Absolutely not. It's like 200,000 pages. Did I search to look up the name of the person that I found out during our relationship he was cheating on me with? Yes, I did, because I wanted to know the background. Was this like a full on like ex girlfriend? Was this just like a fan who was like waiting for a chance? I was curious, and I wanted to know like the depth of the
You had
cheating,
every
I
right
guess. If
to.
And
that's
that's normal. And that's absolutely normal.
but
And
also, just while we're talking about phones, and I've explained this in several of my posts, like about I made a whole thread about the Apple Watch thing. Like I saw 1 week's worth of text. That's what's loaded on it when it was set up when I set it up for him, and that's it. No more synced up after that. But I wanted to like take it to just to document it because I knew he would gaslight me and lie about it. I wanted to take a picture of the whole thing, and then I was embarrassed about what I did, and so I said I didn't know where it was. But it never sunk up. There was no monitoring for months. It never sunk up back. There were no more texts that linked up with it. It was literally just sitting at my apartment for 2 months, and I was embarrassed to give it back to him. But there was no like it never sunk up again with any more texts after that 1 week in January. And he knows this too because I would have seen about all the other people he cheated on me with, like Lisa and Chelsea, and the list goes on and on. It's like still finding out more from his stupid stream today. Like he knows this damn well. If I really saw his texts, it would have been like way worse. And he even admits I didn't find out about Chelsea till June 18th. She's saying like they were texting and stuff all this time. Like if I really knew about that from looking at the watch and not until June 18th when I finally saw their Facebook messages together, then I would have been very upset like a lot sooner. Like the second it was basically I couldn't even wait more than several hours later that day, I told him about finding the boobs on the watch. I was like really quiet and I left his house and I couldn't even keep that to myself until that night. Like I wouldn't be able to just, and same thing on June 18th. I told him as soon as he got out of the shower that I saw the Facebook messages with her, and I immediately, because I was just crying and I was so upset, and I saw them. I wouldn't be able to keep that to myself and see all the shit he's done. He knows that deep down. He's just, again, trying to say that Meredith's hacking, Meredith's stealing so that to deflect from what he did.
Two things that
Makes
those
sense.
Astros talking about that Alyssa. I just looked at it, and all the screenshots she posted say Meredith at the top, and they're text from you about the watch and the boob pics. So again, it looks like text leaked by Aiden, not by you. And shoot, what was it? Oh, the second thing, his burner accounts, the David Linton that he
Oh
was
yeah.
interacting with you. That was like before he and Chelsea started dropping things when he was on that
Yeah,
account.
that's a good point. Yeah, he was already trying to come at me on his burners before even Chelsea went off. He forgot that I was literally with him when he made that account because he wrote an article about the guy David Linton. I forget what even it had to do with. I think he was taking like a position or something at the DA's office, and he used to work for this newspaper. He had a picture of him that came from the newspaper's website, so the legal department emailed him threatening like he needed to remove it as a copyright strike. But what does he do? He makes a parody Twitter account of this guy. Like the guy has nothing to do with anything. It's called David Linton 69, and he uses the picture and makes a Twitter account so he can link that Twitter account in his story to get away with keeping the picture in there instead of getting a copyright strike. Like, and I was literally sitting next to him when he did it, and I was like, "Be careful! This is just like more stupid shit, and he forgot that I knew that was that account, and he commented on one of my posts, like, I think it was the one where I shared the text about getting like the warning about him and Lindsay or whatever, and he was like, "She sent it to herself." So, like, it's like, no, bro, it's only your girl Chelsea texts herself.
That's his go-to.
Seriously,
That's his
like how
go-to.
many fake
She sent it
accounts
to
does he
herself.
have?
Oh, he has a lot. He has like Ron versus Don, Wade and Hunter. I ended up telling, I think, I forget who earlier this week. I was like, have at it after what he's doing to me. Like, at this point, go to town. Oh, Ghetto Mellow. Ghetto Mellow is because Christy has been like blaming me for that account for months now since she started her rampage against me. And Christy knows. I searched Ghetto Mellow in my text. Christy fucking knows that Aiden is Ghetto Mellow because I told her that when she was saying it was Joe Warren. I searched for text. She's known this since September, and either she's just in psychosis and didn't know to just check her text. But then I recently made a post like in one of her responses, like when she was accusing me lately. I was like, Christy knows who Get ML is. She can check her texts. Like, I told her when we were still friends. She refuses again, ignoring the truth, and just keeps going on, accusing me of being this racist account. And one of like the last times I actually like decided to communicate with Aiden through Jason was like, I basically was told him, I was like, can you please tell him to just tell Christy I'm not that account so she doesn't keep pushing me. I was like, I don't want to. And this was when things were already really bad with us. And I still didn't want to like out him as that account. I was like, I don't want to out him as the account 'cause I know it'll make him mad. But like, I can't be having my work tagged and thinking I'm this racist account that I'm not. Like, I need to say something, like, or just
What was the account? That
called
account you just
Ghetto Mellow. And it would say
He's
like the N word and stuff. Like, that's not okay for me
yeah.
to be falsely
and
accused
that
of
was
it.
his account?
And he talks to himself on it and the
Yes.
other accounts, and his followers all say, "Oh, Meredith's on here talking." I've been
Oh.
Meredith, Astro's Meredith. We're all Meredith because we believe her, basically. So all these accounts have to be Meredith, and they
Do they
say
not
that
realize you guys were like going after me for like a month too? I
that's
think
what
I
I
had most of you. You guys didn't like me when I was like not telling the
exactly.
truth about the Karen recording. Like, do they not have that little critical thinking skill to just take a look a little bit further back at your accounts? That like you guys, a lot of you did. I had a lot of you blocked. I think except for you, Bonnie. I had a lot of you blocked
Yeah, I thought you were
because
John. I thought you were for a minute. I thought you were John Barron. To be
you
honest.
thought I was John Barron.
Yeah, like I thought you and Larry were behind that account.
I
No,
thought
well,
Because
Jimmy
actually
was.
somebody told me
I thought it
that,
was
and then I
Jimmy.
was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And
yeah.
I kind of just
It's
believed it,
so
which
many
was
people
stupid.
that have been accused of being behind the account. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Like,
now
I have a
I don't
hard time
believe that, but I
following.
did believe that
Can
But
I
for
ask a
a little
question?
while.
Why? So it was Ghetto Mellow, but so that Chelsea account is Ghetto Chelsea. Do we
yeah.
think like what's up
No,
with that?
Well, I
I
had
think she
somebody
just made
Oh, that's
that. I think
interesting.
she just made that. She thinks it's funny to be like
Okay.
called that now. I don't know.
I
I
had
mean, she
somebody the
is.
other day saying, I'm Meredith and talking to myself on accounts, and I showed them like all these fake accounts of Aiden's, and then they're like, "Well, he's not talking to himself on them." I said, "Yes, he is. Go look in the replies." And then they came back about the Ghetto Mellow one and said, "Oh, well, that's just a satire account. He's just being funny on a satire account."
Oh,
So
but
I mean, had it been Meredith behind
A
it,
lot of
when
people
she'd
have
be a
time to
oh
racist
talk
yeah,
to
tag.
themselves on accounts. That's
When
true.
Christy was kept saying over and over again that I was the account, she had Dag and others being like, "Wow, what a vile, nasty woman saying this." It was like, and it is bad. The account is bad, and I would never want to be associated with it, and I would never say those words on it. I thought some of his comments before were funny when he wasn't saying the N word, but when he was like. I don't know. He was using it initially. He was going after Lindsay, calling her like a nasty hoe and stuff, and like I don't know. Some of the jokes were funny. Like in when I had the cheeky Reddington account, we would like talk to each other on it like jokingly. It was funny, but I would never be putting like those words on there. I wouldn't say the things he said. And then yeah, exactly. Like when I was being accused of being an account, it was the end of the world. It was evil. Like Christy was proclaiming this as fact. This should again tell you about the kind of credibility Christy should be seen as having.
Yeah, but this
Zero.
Ghetto Mellow account, like I'm just looking at it in the replies. So it replied to Aiden on January 31st, 2025. He posted first sighting of Ghetto Mellow in a courtroom in almost a year. And then that account replied and said, "Yo, fuck turd boy bitches about to get wrecked by," I'm not gonna say it, Kazi Kaz. So he was like against, if that's him behind that account, so he's like playing the opposite side and going against him
He's
himself.
pretending to be mellow. That's like the whole like thing he's doing. Like he I don't know. He's probably deleted some of the posts, or maybe he hasn't. But I remember.
Like he's going off. I'm just looking. He's going after Betero. Like
I didn't see that. He
Oh my
pretended he
so,
gosh.
Yes,
he
tried
went
to
after
yeah,
pretend
Betero
he was
on because
he.
if you go to the account and hit replies, it shows you like
yeah,
when he replied. So he went after Betero
yep.
on
Oh my god!
October 30th, 2024. He wrote, "Watch your mouth, better hoe. This here my main bitch
Wow.
Julie from the Food Stamp 5. She gonna fuck you up on X like I be fucking you up in court. You dig?" That's what he wrote. That's the
Oh my
comment.
god!
His own lawyer. Nobody
Somebody
To his lawyer.
safe.
please screenshot that before
And
he deletes it,
and
so we
and
can
they
see
talk
what.
about mentally ill. I mean, look
Can
what
I
he
tell
is
you? It's
doing.
all, but can I tell you all his replies are to Aiden, well, himself, and to
Yes,
Betero. Aiden, Betero, Sean McDonough,
Grant Smith
Yellow
Ellis, but
Cottage Shells. That's
the
crazy.
earlier days it was at Lindsay. The earlier day while the restraining order was still in place, and I would tell him how stupid that was.
Julie Grant. I
I
mean,
mean,
most of it is Aiden, though.
I
Most
can't
of
Here
it.
he
believe
is
his
at
Oh,
Christie.
Betero.
lawyers
He's
approve of
going at
this.
Christie,
Betero.
and he's going at Christie here in April 2024. He goes, "Bitch, you know that? Why you playing hoe to Christie?"
Wait, are you 100% sure that that's him behind that account?
I have text where
yes.
he made it. I have text with him admitting it. Said I've posted this week because like I wanted to stop being accused of it. He's 1,000% that account. I was with him when he made
Oh
it.
my
He
god.
can't. It's undeniably like if
Oh
you
my gosh.
Yo, can I
Wait,
just
how
tell
does
you,
he still have legal
if you
representation?
guys really want to be like, what the fuck, go to Ghetto Mellow, Ghetto, right? Go to hit replies and read all the replies that that account makes against you. You're gonna be like, it's sad, but it's pretty fucking
he's
funny.
going at
Some of the
Kate Peter a lot of it too, but a lot of it was going at Lindsay. It got more. It definitely got more
I don't see
unhinged.
Lindsay. I see Betero.
You have to go
I
all the
see
way to the
Aiden.
top. All the way to the top. He's going to Gaffney, Kim
Jennifer
Fair, Kate
Commandant.
Peter.
Yeah, I
So
see Kate Peter
when
now.
do we
Jessica
think his
Machado.
lawyers are gonna drop him? Like he's like
This is
seriously, this
fucking
is like
crazy.
insane. I mean, talk about mental illness. I'm sorry, but this is insane.
They can't be advising
Oh,
him
he
on
went
what
after
he's
you.
doing. Like I can
You
only imagine they told him not to do like the streams he
He
did
went
this
after
last
you,
weekend.
Paradise. Oh,
What?
look at that. That account. So you posted, this was from your account. You posted May 20th, 2024. You were like, oh my God, best parody account around. And you were replying to, I don't know, some account. And he wrote under your comment, bitch, you better come correct.
Oh, I think I was
Like,
like, yeah, to the Grant Smith. I remember that, the Grant Smith Ellis. And every
oh
time
my,
he would do that, I
so
would like text him
crazy.
and be like, LOL, get a mellow. Like, and he'd be like,
I
you like
can't,
that?
wow. Wow. Anyway, that's crazy. That's, if you want to have like,
Yeah,
there's a
no,
lot of,
the
he's,
accounts that I'm saying that are him, it's because he was like he's acknowledged to me that he's MR was with him when he made it. Like I wouldn't there I suspect a lot more, but like I can tell you with certainty Ghetto Mellow, Wade and Hunter, the David Linton one, and then the Ron versus Dawn. There's a couple more. I'm like,
What about
uh,
that Courtney
Yes,
Johnson?
I was about to say Courtney.
well, that one's
Wait,
new.
Courtney, what's that one?
I
Courtney
had to block
Johnson.
them. I think it's Altman actually, or
Oh,
When
Courtney John. You know what? She came
with
for me,
his turtle
Courtney
chat
Johnson, too.
wall, when he showed his turtle
Yeah.
chat wall the other day to prove he's not a scammer and there's not double things, and there are on there. Her name was listed on there. It said Courtney Johnson parentheses Turtle Boy, and it was a
She
$5
commented
donation.
12 minutes ago, Courtney Johnson, Vagina Mike started it. We all witnessed it. Now. Like she's, yeah, that account is,
it's
But if
who
you
is
look
that?
at the other ones that he's added up because he's live, and then he's pulled up Twitter, and then you can see in the bottom corner what account he's on, like that David Linton. He did it with the. But if you go,
Oh
he
my God.
also goes like he's and he talks about himself in third person, like he's in there defending himself from a
This is
burner. He
crazy.
blocks him from his real account, goes under his burner account, and then defends himself with his
This is
burners.
crazy. Can I, I
This is
actually
not
did not know
normal.
about this. I'm just
uh
like finding this out right now.
Meredith. I'm sorry.
Crazy.
Let me just pop in real quick.
Go ahead.
I just reading a post from Carly Barron. She said that in Turtle Boy's chats, a lot of people are talking shit about Meredith. He's alluding to taking legal action because what you've done is illegal.
What have I
He's
done
so
that's
mad right
illegal?
now. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just mad. If you're watching Aiden, you're just mad. You're just mad.
Wait,
He didn't do anything wrong.
did anyone see in real time when he was like freaking out that he couldn't see Meredith's Twitter? Did
No.
anybody see that?
Yes, yes, on the live stream he did. He's
That's
Yeah.
so
using his
funny. He's
He
so
was
face.
mad
like,
right
He
now.
didn't
That's so
Oh my
realize that
funny.
gosh.
she had changed her
She's
handle
changed it,
yeah.
and you
earlier.
blocked all his fakes, Meredith. So when he was
Yeah.
going on, he was going under his burner accounts trying to find you and to read your Twitter, and he couldn't. He was like, "Wait, it's got to be Chrome or Firefox, or wait, let me
Yeah.
go back in." It was
I'm
so
hacked. I'm
funny.
hacked. No, I didn't see it because I
No,
haven't
he
gotten to
was
that,
like,
but I heard
send it
about
to
it.
me. Everyone send it to me right now. Like
It
he
was
was like, you could
so
see it
funny.
was real,
Yeah.
that it
He
was
might need a
like,
straitjacket. They might need to
well,
put him in.
it's like that, like again, that narcissist. It's like, oh my God,
He's
like,
going
do I not
crazy.
have control
Like,
Yep.
again?
oh, I don't have
Like,
control. Like, he's so upset that you're doing this spaces, and like he doesn't know what's really going on, and he's like has to perform on his show, but he's like it's killing him
But
right now.
what
I
legal
mean, it's already
action could he be
12:30, but
taking? What legal
I don't
action?
know, but if he's scared of somebody, he shouldn't be looking for their Twitter either.
I mean, I haven't ever encouraged like people to. I haven't shared his kids' schools. I haven't done anything
he's
like
just
close.
talking shit.
Yeah,
Don't you?
that's
He's
just him
talking
being a
shit.
bully and
I've
going
shared.
back
He's
to
trying to
the
scare
trying
you,
to scare you because I
and he wants his audience. Remember all what like with Karen. Remember all the aunties used to be like, we're gonna sue. You know how many people told me they were gonna sue me because of my what I was saying when Karen Reed was going to trial. It's like, oh, we have lawyers. We're gonna sue you, and like to people on Twitter, like I feel like that's what it reminds me of. Like he's just saying whatever he can because he's so upset that like this is happening. You
Right.
know,
I
Because
it's
mean,
he
like
has
I've.
no legal
If
answer.
anything, it's the opposite. He's made threats to have people contact my work, and he's followed through on it several times. There's more than 3 instances now, and I've consulted with a lawyer. So, like,
Good.
if
and he
anything,
publicly
I've
said where
never
you work.
threatened him. All I've done is respond to his false accusations, his lying, his threats, his sending people after me with facts and just sharing texts. And let's just remind her how he got here. I never shared any of our texts like all over the internet like he's been doing for months. I never shared anything until he did it first. He's been doing
Yep.
this for months. He started all of this.
Yeah, exactly. You have more legal
He was
stance
saying
than he
Free
does.
the
speech.
illegal.
You have more
He,
legal.
And
You
he
have the
was
right to sue more than he does for defamation
no,
and libel. What he's done to you,
yeah,
outing
the
your
lying
job,
about
DCF.
the drug use lies,
Yep.
all of it. I mean,
That's
the
libel and
accusations.
All of
defamation
it.
and
All of it.
reputation to you and your job and your character. You have more reason to
And your
sue
daughter.
him
Yep.
than he has for you speaking out and defending yourself. You haven't done anything illegal.
And
but
the things he
he
lies
was
about.
saying about the recording. He was saying that you recording him is illegal, and then the revenge porn. He
You
called
know,
it.
revenge porn. It's so stupid.
I never
He
shared any
recorded
revenge porn,
Karen.
and I never recorded him illegally. Similar to what he's been saying for 2 months, if somebody is on the phone acting crazy, for your protection, you should record them, but you should do it legally, unlike he did with Karen. And he made actually somebody pointed out to me in a stream how he had said how apparently one of our calls like said you're now being recorded, and he was like, I just assumed after that she's recording me all the time. So like what's the issue? And you said it should be illegal everywhere. It should be nobody should be mad about recording them somebody when they're acting crazy for their own protection. He said that over and over again. Why is the script suddenly flipped, you know?
He records
Yeah.
everything. I mean, he had to record sitting outside your apartment. Like, what? Why do you?
I know.
Who does
And
that?
I'm sure he's recorded me, and he's like sitting on them. And I haven't even told anybody what day we spoke on the phone. The day that I finally decided to take a trip to Rhode Island just for my own protection, because mainly because I found out that he was trying to frame me for recording Karen. So it was important to have him on record admitting that he recorded Karen because he didn't put it in text,
Yep.
and he was framing me and he was extorting me and he was gonna try and take me down with that. So it was for my own protection, and also because he was threatening to have people call my job. And he's carried out that plan. I was afraid of that plan being carried out, and he did. That's all I'm going to say about the recordings now that he's trying to threaten legal stuff. But that's all I'll say, I guess, just to follow his lead on the decision about whether it's appropriate to record somebody. If somebody's
Hmm.
acting crazy for your own protection, I think sometimes it's justified. I don't think that's the case when he recorded Karen and violated her. Not at
No.
all. She was rightfully upset with him. He was lighting the fire to get her mad and remaining calm, and he totally violated her and proved himself to be a liability once again. She wasn't threatening him like he was threatening with my job or trying to frame her for something, or she wasn't trying to frame him for anything, like he was doing to me. So yeah.
Meredith, there's not a prosecutor on this continent that's going to prosecute someone for wiretapping Aiden Kearney.
I mean, that would be very. I would just say that would be very unwise because of the
There's
numerous
just
times
not.
he's wiretapped many people during our relationship and sent me that proof of him, like the actual recordings, and he has shared, like, proven to me. I know where he was during those times. There's undisputable proof of where he was, and that the person had no knowledge of recording of at least three people. I have documented proof, so it would be very unwise. I would just say to I would assume that whoever would be willing to prosecute against him would also want to have that same energy for Aiden's illegal wiretapping. That's all. That's really all. I shouldn't talk about this anymore.
No, it's so you're
And
right.
then through
Yeah.
through all of this, like, I just want to point out for everyone that's listening, there's still no proof that Meredith has done anything. There's still no proof that she's hacked
Right.
his account. There's still no
Yeah.
proof that she recorded anything. There's still no proof that she sent anything to anyone. There's no proof of anything. This is what he does. He uses other people to push the attention away from him, just like he did Joe Flipperhead. This is what he does.
Yep.
There's absolutely no proof. And this is why he's spiraling, because one by one, brick by brick, Meredith is knocking everything that he says down. Every single thing. There's no proof. Anyone who is attacking her really should take a moment and just think about it. Think about what he's lied about with Karen. Think about what he's lied about with Meredith. Think about it.
No, you're right. He does it. It's very disheartening, even if, let's say, you did have issues or whatever, to still be sending people after you. And the fact that he has all these women in this chat just not recognizing that this is abuse. He's literally bullying you. You've been so scared for a reason. He set it up like this so people fear him. They literally fear him so they won't speak out.
And you were doxxed. You were doxxed for speaking out. You were doxxed for taking a moment and changing your stance. You were doxxed by Chelsea.
Mm.
Oh,
She put
me.
your
Yeah.
full name out
No,
there.
Oh, I
So
was.
even what he did with Karen with the like, I just noticed with the Howie card thing, it's like, right. So he said on his live, I wasn't pissed off until I saw my supporters were interested in seeing her. They couldn't wait for it and blah blah blah. And that's when he decided to, like, it was like, oh, he felt Karen pulling away. Now his supporters can't wait to see this interview with Howie Carr, and he had to go after that. He had to
Yep.
stop that. And it was like, ever since then, that's been his attack on
Yeah.
Karen. And it's just, like, crazy to me. I don't know how he could, like,
I watched that
do what
happen.
he's doing
Yeah,
to
I watched
her.
that happen before I saw the missed call from him. Everybody thought it was great. Like, I remember Nurse Kim retweeted it and was like a bunch of like clapping
Yeah.
emojis about the announcement of Howie. Everybody thought it was great until he and Jess Machado went on and started saying like what, like outrage and stuff. And then it quickly shifted. The comments were negative and they were mean at Howie.
Yep.
But at first, everybody's reaction was, and I remember I retweeted it, and then I later took it down when I saw everything happening. They're like, "Oh, great! Now that everybody thinks they're gonna be like Meredith ex girlfriend is like cheering this on, like, and it's the bad thing." So I like undid the retweet just out of like, I don't know, not shame, but just I was just scared. So he
Right.
just
well, it
it's
was
just,
your
and it's
fault.
scary.
He
It's
said,
scary and it's like exhausting how people just blindly believe him. But I mean, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop telling the truth. I never wanted it to get here. This is all in self-defense, but some people who are like really important in all of this kind of what after I shared the first time of just of the recording where he was yelling at me and admitting he recorded Karen and nobody cared. Like one of the first ones, they'd messaged me and they were
Mhm.
just like, it made me feel really good because the same things happening to them with him and just that they were really proud that I was standing up to him finally for somebody to stand up to him and nobody can take that away from me and that's kind of why I've had the courage to keep going and not be bullied away from this. So at this point now I mean, I don't want this to go on forever. I just want to defend myself against the serious like lies that have been told by him. That's like my goal at this point, and I want him to stop going after Karen, stop spreading this false narrative. Like he did this. There was a world where people could support both him and Karen. He
Yes.
did this to
Yes.
himself, where it had to be one or the
Yep.
other. That going
Mm-hmm.
against supporting Karen was bad going against Aiden. He got us to this point. Like it did not have to be with us. They could have gone their separate ways, and that would have been that. But just the unchecked lies have gone on long enough,
Selfish.
painting Karen as this awful evil person, unchecked to the point where we're openly calling her the C word. It's just I won't let it stand anymore.
Well, he
And
also said that's your fault. You're the one that put the idea in his head. You're the one that said that he should be upset with Karen. It's all Meredith's fault.
no, he was whining about it, and I tried to control it, and I sympathized with him as his girlfriend. I also didn't know everything he done to her. I mean,
Right.
I've witnessed a lot of it, but I didn't
That's
know the
just
whole story, and I
absurd.
was
That's
I
just
was
absurd,
biased being
anyways.
his
He's a grown
girlfriend.
man. He's a grown man that can think for himself. To blame that
Well,
on anybody else is just insane.
but
I
you
mean,
could.
I was kind of going against Karen too in the beginning. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
was gonna say you
yeah,
can
that's kind of messed
empathize
up
with
that
that.
she's when
You
he
know,
went on
like
Howie Carr, I was defending him. And then I'm
Me
like,
too.
I was defending him. Then I realized what was happening. And I'm like, oh shit, you know what? This there's a lot more to this that I don't know.
Yep.
But
well,
So
when
listen,
he like lashed out at her,
Alan
it's
Jackson is
different.
one of the smartest attorneys in this country. He stood by her. His support for her has been unwavered. He's signed on to join this civil thing too. He's one of the smartest people. Do you really think if like so everybody must be wrong who supports Karen? No. Like absolutely not. She's been
yeah.
limited in what she can say. I have a feeling just from what Nick Rocco has said, it's not going to be too much longer before we hear from them directly, but that's up to her when she wants to. In the meantime, he's
Hmm.
trying to do the same thing for me. So I'll defend myself with the truth.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it was just like him attacking her is what kind of like I empathized with him in the beginning, just saying like, yeah, I guess like, yeah, I guess we'd want to hear from her. He would want to hear from her. You know, like just this like, we're living in fantasy world that like this great thing just happened, and whatever, and you can empathize with that, just wanting a thank you or whatever. But once he went on the attack like that, and it was like, who does anybody think they are that she can't make her own decisions about whatever she does? Like, it's just crazy to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because in his mind he had like he told it like he led up to his audience thinking that, oh, me and Karen are going to do this and this and this together. And I
Yes.
have a feeling that Karen never agreed to do anything with him.
Right.
I don't know, Meredith, you may know. You don't have to say, of course, if you don't want to. If you want Karen to speak to that, I definitely understand. But in his mind and what he was saying, that's what he thought. And I feel like he always knew. And
He said a lot of this stuff to convince his audience. And again, I like to err on the side of I'm not going to violate Karen the way Aiden did with sharing our conversations. I can talk about I'll talk about some of the things that Aiden has misled his audience about their conversations on. But I'm not going to ever talk about like what I'm not going to violate her about Joe and Aiden have with sharing their conversations like that. But there was
So
never
1.5
anything
million?
directly
What was
like
that?
agreed to or promised to, and like this also too was like you need to consider what Aiden's done to her and what a liability he's proven to be. Like, and the fact that he won't be honest about how much he's benefited from that relationship financially in the past couple of years. So I can't say for sure if there was an agreement. I know there was never any legal agreement, like nothing like binding them. Like, no, there isn't. He'd be waving that around like I don't know, the golden ticket, if that existed. But
yeah.
Well, he
anything like
said it.
conversationally at this point, too, the way he's talked about her and talked down about her, he's blown any goodwill like with her if she did
He
ever
called her a
agree to anything.
psychopath. He called
Yeah.
Karen a psychopath. He said Meredith and Karen are psychopaths. They deserve each other.
Yeah.
He will never have access to Karen again. He needs to accept it and he needs to move on. Leave her alone. Leave you alone. Leave these women alone. It's always women, and it's women that support him.
It's
I don't
scary.
understand. I don't understand it.
Well, it's always been about money for him. He set it up from like before the entire time, really. After it was done, him and Karen was going to be a team. She was coming on his show, and in his head, he made his followers believe that the only way she wouldn't be coming on his show was for money because he didn't
But
have the money to pay her. So that's the only way he was willing to accept Karen turning him down, and he was trying to put boundaries on her, like her doing a free interview on Howie is not acceptable.
Did you guys see the Boston Brandy interview that he did?
Yes,
So
Yes.
so I just want to
and that
say
So
was
good.
that was like I was like, I first of all, I really like her a lot, and
Mhm.
I've never actually heard her, like, do an interview. And I was a little nervous when he said she was backstage, and when she got on, I feel like she just was so good. And one question she said was like, "Where's your empathy? You have no empathy." And
yes,
he was like, "I don't have." He's like, "I don't have." And he got so like, "I don't have any empathy. What do you mean?" He's like, "I offered Karen Reed $1.5 million
I
for a
offered.
documentary." Like, he
that's not
when she said
empathy.
empathy, it's like he equated empathy to like, oh, like I gave, I offered her this documentary to do a documentary with me. And it's like he just doesn't get it. I
No,
mean, like, but listening to Boston Brandy was really, I really enjoyed
yeah,
that
she was
interview.
great.
I feel like he got him like a lot. She got him pretty good. And even he was trying to get her off. He was like, "All right."
It was
He was like, "All right, well, that's enough for." He was trying, and she was like, "Oh, no, no, no. What about the Wilbur?" Like she wanted to keep going, and I
Oh,
just
and
really
oh my
enjoyed
God, the
that.
way he was talking to her at some points of it, it was like giving me flashbacks, like actual. No, I'm not going to be like PTSD like him, but like actual back to our conversations where I would just give up arguing with him and be like, okay, Aiden, okay, because it's just like he just forces it down your throat, his narrative, and there's no convincing him when he's gonna just try. He's dead set on
Yeah,
convincing you he's right, and that's why like so many days I wouldn't pick up the phone because anytime I get on the phone with him and I don't get a chance to get a word in and like just logic won't get through to him. It's like suffocating with him getting in arguments with him because he just keeps forcing and forcing and twisting and
yeah. He
it's
twists his. The more words you say, the more he tries to twist and turn things. It's like you have to stick very, because he was trying to like throw you off track and twist
Mhm.
your words, and then I mean, like, yeah, he's a master manipulator,
you
right?
took the
So
words
yeah,
out of my mouth. I was just about to
yeah,
say that.
he
That's
is.
like the
I
only
was gonna
way
say
to
master of disaster.
No, he's a
He's
master
yeah,
manipulator, 100%.
totally,
Yep. So,
definitely.
but that
So
interview was
someone just
good.
said that his stream just has already ended, his show. So watch out. He'll probably be trying.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I
know if
don't
we can
need to
get on
hear
here.
like every time this person is making this threat and that. And I kind of at this point we're almost on going on 4 hours. I want to try and
Yeah.
like wrap. My throat's hurting. I
Here.
want like anybody else's feel free to talk. I kind of want to wrap this up soon and just
Yeah,
talk about
I'm
like next
ready to go.
steps moving forward. Like we've only gotten into just the background of the recording and what led to it. Like I haven't even gotten into specific like some of his things. I think at some point I just need to do like a live where I start from the top playing his live and pausing and stuff. I just need to figure out logistically the best way to do that because I don't have like a channel. I mean, I can get StreamYard and a couple of people have offered and I'll figure out. Or we can do another one like this, but it's hard to show things on the screen as proof. I know I've posted a lot of stuff, but I just need to figure out logistically the best way to do this.
I feel like this was a really good start, and
Yeah.
I enjoyed listening, and
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
think
we
I
have,
hit a lot of the points I wanted to start off with was just him framing me for the recording and like and what happened with Bettero and that. I don't feel like that has not been highlighted enough this week that he tried to frame me for the whole
yeah,
recording. The fundraising lie, like I was like the continuing to try and like deter people from donating to Karen's fundraiser when his is like most of his legal fees have been covered by his fund already. Hers is astronomically higher than his, and she has a lot to go. Just how selfish it is for him to try and deter people from donating. That was a big point. Just some of the real life stuff that's happened this week as a result of him and his followers, and just next steps too. And like I try to like respond to people like Chelsea as much as I can, but at the end of the day, she's like a very like bottom of the totem pole, as they say,
yeah,
priority. I think the big
Yeah.
people are obviously responding to Aiden's lies, and then unfortunately, his grifter group has made a lot of other enemies. So many people, like especially Jimmy, he's really hurt a lot of people, and a lot of people are ready to start exposing him as well. And after the way what he's done to me, after I was literally nothing but a friend to him, yeah, I can't say I don't feel the same. He's sick. I
mhm,
mean, Jess, Will, nurse him. I
yeah,
mean, I don't know.
Yeah, and I just want to add something if we're going to end the spaces soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, not the second. Like, I think people can do closing arguments, or if anybody else wants to start. But I don't really want
closing
to start.
argument. That's
It's almost 1 in the morning. I like
I
this is
like
way
that,
past my
closing
bedtime.
Yeah.
arguments.
I don't want to start any brand new topics at this point.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, well,
But
I just want to remind everyone, Karen is fighting her civil case. I think it's important for everyone to donate if you can, of course, or, to support her here or wherever you can. Last I checked, I had posted it in the last spaces that it was like $650 away from 10K. So if we can all just, send what we can, or if we can, we all got invested in the case, for her, for what she's been through. It is about her, even this space stems from her case.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm definitely
if you
gonna
guys
donate.
can, so if you can donate, if not, that's fine. But, let's just support her. It's a lot of women here, um, a lot of women that follow this case. I think we all know that. So I think that's really important.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree. I definitely will be making another donation soon.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it just like everybody, I really appreciate everybody who's like been standing up for me. I know it's not easy, and I don't blame people who are being quiet because they don't want this. They like I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I understand why even some of my close friends aren't publicly out standing for me, but at least they didn't go to Aiden and turn against me. So that's good. That's better than a lot of people who I thought were some of my really close friends this last year that I find out on through his live stream that have been actually going to him for a long time, which is really disappointing. But I'm not gonna publicly blast him like he expects. He's not gonna provoke me into that. So I really appreciate everybody who's like been standing up for me and standing up for Karen the last couple weeks since this happened. I really, again, didn't want this to happen or have to talk about any of this stuff. Like, it's embarrassing private details of a relationship, and it's not how I like to carry myself online. But unfortunately, it's just been in self-defense mode. So I appreciate everybody, and I think if everybody is just brave and doesn't let him bully you, this can't go on like this forever. So.
Yep. We got to stick
Oh,
together.
You got to
yeah.
start a channel, Meredith.
Yes. So Meredith, I just want to say, I am so proud of you. I mean, obviously, I don't know you; we're not friends, but I've loved like reading all your tweets and all your proof and all your evidence, and I totally 100% support you. And I'm not afraid, and I'm glad I'm not a Turtle Boy supporter anymore, and I moved to the other side, even though people don't understand why I did. But
You
if they
have
just listen to
TBDS.
you, you know. So I'm so proud of you, and you're so strong. And I mean, this is like awful what you've been through. So I just want you to know that you have tons of support. So, and I'm gonna be here, and I'll be tweeting and liking your posts, and they can put my name out there, and I guess who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also want to remind everyone, Meredith has to have someone from DCF come to her home. This is what
Yeah,
we have resulted to.
yeah,
This is where we
Yeah.
are now.
Which is gross.
And it's not right. It's not right.
no,
The job
This is her
collar,
real life.
the jo-
We don't know her, but it's her real life. She's having to go through this.
I mean, how would Aiden feel if somebody called DCF on his ex-wife or on him and he had to go through this, right? So,
yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pathetic,
how would he
disgusting.
feel, right? So,
yeah,
We need to
really
all
support.
because
pathetic.
she defended herself and
Right.
is
Right.
debunking his lies, and it makes
Right.
or a video clip. Like, I'm sorry, Jess, but this is the internet. Like, people can take clips and do whatever. That's not. That's that doesn't give you a right to call somebody's work.
She could have
Exactly.
just asked me too. Like if she told me she was going to do that, of course I would have just taken it down. I mean, again, this is like after months of attacks from her. My
Yep.
looks. She just recently spent an hour talking about me sexually in a disgusting way.
Yep.
I saw somebody sent me a clip the other night. Her husband's like, "This is like when we punch Meredith or something." They were like play fighting and punching, and he said my name. That's fucking weird that he even knows who I am. But okay.
They were making a mockery of DV and thought it was funny.
Yeah,
And she had said
it's
at one point, like, she don't believe that emotional abuse is abuse, and the only reason you would have to whine about that night, the night with all the videos, is if he actually drew his fist up and punched you, and then you would
Oh
have a
my
reason to
god,
whine. But
That's
that's
horrible.
but
vile.
but Aiden has a reason to whine and make these public for what he thinks is like emotional abuse. Like, how does that work?
right,
Yeah.
It's so disgusting.
And just looking back at like, and I probably more like noticed this because it was about me, but just the start of the attacks from her on October 3rd when her first space, and then calling me crazy, calling me ugly, saying she had now deleted post being like she has crazy eyes and all this stuff. Like this was not unprovoked, me posting a video with literally her own words. This was after months of her making like accusations of me, like false accusations about me committing felonies, about sharing stuff that I didn't do with no proof, just going after me, dedicating whole shows to me. And I posted a video and she goes like that. And she had the audacity to say she thinks she can get a restraining order against me, like the economic harm she's doing with me, with my calling my work, ordering her followers to do that. And then literally, I think she did actually make some violent threats that people have sent me. Like, if I wanted to go to the trouble, I think if there's any question of who could get an order on who, it's me. And I've already have enough for defamation. And she loves to complain how broke she is. Maybe don't do this shit to somebody who isn't broke, who actually does have assets and money to go after you, Jess. So
But if
Who
somebody
hasn't had
can't
a
see
car
that
recently,
it's
Beth?
emotional abuse that he's currently trying to like ruin you, and then also, oh, you have no friends, you're wearing pants, whatever, with the pantsuit and all this, all these attacks that have nothing to do with your relationship, that of course that's emotional abuse. It's trying to make you feel like shit so you don't speak out anymore, and that's all that is.
Yeah, that
yeah.
one live, he was actually going over her tweets and he read part of it and he went on about how Meredith just wants to be the first lady. Like, who does he
Right.
think he is? But, and wear her pantsuits, and literally nobody knew who she was. She only had this many followers until she became my girlfriend, and that's the only reason anybody likes you.
And if
No.
you're at
And
the
so then
point
he gets
saying,
on.
I was thinking about other women the whole time, every
Yeah,
time we had sex, he said, that is to make someone feel a certain way
but
or
he
gain
got
a reaction from you.
on
Yeah,
further
no,
down
he
her
thought
Yeah,
that was
he's
he thought
lying.
that was
He's
gonna
tweets where
hurt
lying
she
me.
about
actually
that.
said,
He's
He thought
yeah,
lying.
he
well, he
was
got
Beth
on
needs to get
further
Meredith
down her
mad. Meredith
tweet.
handles.
Sorry. He got further down her tweet where she actually typed those words and said, he told me nobody likes me other than for him. They only like me because I'm his girlfriend. And reading those words, he completely did a 180. I never said that. He literally just said it 2 minutes before
Right.
that, reading a different part of the tweet where those words were not written out by Meredith.
Oh yeah.
But that
See,
was how
that's so you
desperate
know
he
it's
is to
true.
discredit her. He went ahead and he's like, well, I didn't say that. I never said nobody liked her other than her being my girlfriend. I was saying, and that is exactly, if you back up 2 minutes, he said exactly that and then denies it when Meredith accuses him of it, which is just shows how desperate he is to make her a liar. It's
Right. And then she was
insane.
doing everything for attention. It's like, I never saw that. That was the exact opposite. Every live stream I've seen you on, you were never like overly speaking. Like it was just like, it was the complete opposite of what he was saying, that you wanted like clout, like that type of thing he was saying. Like it was, I never saw that
Never, me
once.
No.
neither. You were never trying to be in the camera. You always like went to the
Yeah.
side. You
No,
were
so the time
never
when I
Never.
saying,
And
actually
it's like obviously she was doing so much more behind the scenes. She didn't have to like
yeah,
say it or be vocal about like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Like, no, she was just a supportive girlfriend. And
exactly.
no.
unfortunately, he was a terrible boyfriend.
Yes,
Yeah, no. A lot of the stuff that like some of the things that have come up recently too with his legal defense that have come up were things that I thought of when we were still together. And I'm not like out there looking for credit for it, but just it's I didn't want to like it's funny though, the time when I actually did get a ton of followers was the time at CF McCarthy's when I actually was kind of speak the first time I ever really did speak out publicly, and that's when I got a huge like a few thousand followers in a couple days just because of that video where I was talking and everything. But I mean, yeah, sure. They probably only followed me because I was his girlfriend, but I also posted a lot of stuff just about like Karen's case and his case that was interesting too. And that was just something he told me to make himself feel better throughout it and to keep me small during the relationship. And it's, I'm finally, I feel like back to myself again.
I'm so glad you're back to yourself, and you gotta. I'm so glad you're so strong, and you're gonna. This is gonna be. I mean, this is so hard, and it's like, I mean, who wants to hear all this stuff, about yourself? It's like I can't even imagine how you're feeling. So I'm just so proud of you, and I'm glad you're defending yourself. And you've got a lot of support, and I'm here.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So,
Does anybody else want to talk before we end this?
mm-mm.
Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you, Val, for being co-host, and thank you, Meredith, and thank you everybody else who's talked. Astro and Bonnie was here earlier. I really appreciate all the support, and I appreciate everybody else who has given me message support, even private. I know like a lot of people are scared, so really appreciate it. And I can't, obviously, I'm not just speaking for Karen, but I can only imagine it feels a lot better going on and seeing people not just blindly believe his hatred against her, the things that he's saying against her, and seeing it just go unchecked and being acceptable for her to be called a con. And I think, I would guess if she's seeing any of this, she'd be encouraged by seeing people have the courage to speak up to him and question this false narrative he's put about her too. So thank you, everybody.
All right. You're welcome, Mayor. We're here for you.
Good night, Meredith.
Right.
Yes,
Good
we're here.
night. All right,
You
bye
know, we'll do
everybody.
this
Good night.
again
Bye,
soon.
guys.
Bye.